And we are live. Welcome to the Whatever Dating Talk podcast. Thank you for tuning in tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Okay. I don't know if that was a train or what. Okay, guys, we're coming to you live from Santa Barbara, California, every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. I'm your host. Is this? Yo, dude.
They probably know you're live.
It's a stream snipe. 100% a stream snipe. Wow.
They know you're live.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm your host, Brian Atlas. I'm joined by my co-host, Kiki. She's a bit shy. A few quick announcements before the show begins. Is it a stream snipe, you think?
Probably.
But
they timed that
away.
perfectly.
That's interesting. That's funny. Anyways, this podcast is viewer-supported, heavy YouTube demonetization, so make nearly nothing from ad revenue. So please consider donating through Streamlabs instead of super chatting, as YouTube takes a 30% cut. Hold on. Did I miss something here? Oh yeah. Shout out to our top. Sorry, the fucking stream snipe threw me off there, guys. Shout out to our top 3 big Ds of the month: Bads EXE, Ivan Jr., and Spencer Park. Thank you guys so much for all the support. So if you super chat 100, YouTube takes 30. If you donate 100, Streamlabs only takes 3. Donations and super chats $5 and up will be displayed in Stream Overlay. All super chats $100 and up will be read. 200 and up triggers instant TTS, text to speech. Please see the description for full details. TTS triggers only through Streamlabs now, by the way, guys. I'm pretty sure we're getting stream sniped, guys. I'm pretty sure we're getting stream sniped. Let's see, other triggers. We got air horn, fireworks, mute microphone, and making, making Madison put on a World War I uniform. She's already in it though. Guys, please keep the super chats, donations, TTS respectful. Playful roasting is okay, but if you go too far with it, we reserve the right to not show or read it. Guys, we also have channel memberships. To become a channel member, hit that join button. You get a cool badge next to your name in chat. We have 6 different tiers of support. Tier 1 is just $5 a month. You can also gift memberships. 50 gifted for a fit check. Guys, we're also live on Twitch right now. Do me a favor. Pull up another tab, go to twitch.tv/whatever mods. If you can just spam in a dozen times in the chat. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. If you have Amazon Prime, basically to get a Prime sub, Amazon Prime, link it to your Twitch. Quick, free, easy way to support the show every single month. You can sub totally free every month. From the back, thank for the Prime. Cat, thank for the Prime. Gooper, thank for the Prime. 218, thank for the Prime. Ben's Jammin, thank for the Prime. And thank you for all the follows, guys. Appreciate it. Yo, that stream snipe's throwing me off because I'm like anticipating that they're gonna fucking come back and do that shit again. So
we're good, bro.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so guys, we also have merch. Go to shop.whatever.com. The link for that is also in the description. Yep, we got some of the shirts and stuff. Follow us on Instagram at whatever. Yeah, that's ours. Thank you guys for getting us to 200K last show, guys. Really appreciate it. Any girls who want to be on the show, normally I'd ask you to send a DM to @whatever on Instagram. I have no idea what's going on though, because we're getting reports from most people that it's saying we need to follow the person to receive DMs. That setting is not turned on, so it's I think our account is bugged. So there's no way to reach Instagram. Like they don't have customer like tech support or whatever. So it's weird though, because some DMs are getting through, but most are not. And actually, chat, if you can, help us out, do an experiment really quick. Can I have you guys open up another tab and try to DM @whatever on Instagram? I want to see if we are getting DMs. If we're not, if you're getting the error where it says this account must be following you in order for you to message them. So mods, if you can spam the whatever Instagram, it's instagram.com/whatever. And we'll take a look at that later. So any women who want to be on the show, you're gonna have to DM my personal Instagram for the time being, BD_Atlas. That's my Instagram there, and I'll just handle all the DMs on my personal Instagram. It's also linked below. Should I grow the beard back? Yes or no? If you guys can't catch the full shows, we have a Clips channel. Link for that is in the description. Go subscribe. We have 2 Clips channels. So get us to 100K on the pink hair one. And we're 13K subscribers away. So guys, if you can, take a second, go over there, drop us a sub. We're almost, so we can get like another YouTube plaque or whatever. Before I have the guests introduce themselves, I just want to address a couple other things. and it's been ongoing for a while now, but I've been having like chronic neck and back pain issues for many years. Recently had one of the worst flare-ups ever for my neck. Even with that 3-week break I took, it's been really bad. So I'm not and have not been at 100%. Been dealing, like I said, dealing with it for a really long time, basically operating at 50%. If I was at 100, just be much sharper, quicker, probably do like 3 or 4 shows a week. But
You're still killing it, Brian.
thank you. Yeah, I try, I persist, even though I'm like in pain over here. But and honestly, anyone who's ever had any neck issues often comes with headaches and brain fog. So, I see the comments. Some people are saying like I'm really not on point. You guys aren't wrong. It's just like hard for me to be as well spoken and articulate as I'd like to be, just because I have like some brain fog and headache issues all the time. So sometimes I get lost, but I'm working on it. But appreciate you guys who still support me and watch the show despite that, which also leads me to this. So the last show Chase was on, because of the stress and because of some of the pain issues, I lost my cool, and I could have handled it way better. Basically, something came up that I didn't really want to talk about. It came up, and I kind of, I lost my cool. I got upset at Chase. I got upset at Sam. So I apologized to Chase after the show, just under enormous amount of stress. So it was a little misdirected. Wish I handled it better, but yeah. So good to have Chase back. We're the homies. It was just like a 30-second thing in the last podcast.
Yeah, I'm not tripping on it.
Yeah. So
Brian's trying to manage a lot here, fam.
yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and just trying to get 10 people to show up on time, all that. Actually, you know what? One quick note. There was a girl who was going to be on the show today, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to be 50 minutes late." And, I wish we could have accommodated her, but, I have the girls meet at 6 p.m. We aim to go live at 7 p.m. Oftentimes we end up being like 50 minutes late beyond that. But, she flew from Chicago. I don't know. I don't know what the details are. I guess she arrived in LA last night and somehow still ended up 50 minutes late. So we can't delay the show for everybody because someone's late. So sorry we couldn't accommodate you, but 50 minutes late's a little pushing it, Okay, anyways, without further ado, after that long-winded introduction, we're gonna have the guests introduce themselves. So please tell us your name, age, and occupation. Go ahead.
Hello, I am Nicole Mitchell. I am 39 years old, and I am known as the pastor turned stripper.
The pastor turned stripper, and OnlyFans. You do OnlyFans?
Yes,
too,
I do
correct?
OnlyFans, and I'm a life coach.
And did you say your age?
Yes, 39.
39. And you have kids, right?
Yes.
Previously married?
Yes.
Have you remarried or
No?
Okay, got it. Okay. And what religious denomination?
I was a Baptist.
Baptist. Okay, got
You
it.
said you were a Baptist?
Yes.
No longer.
No.
Do you consider yourself agnostic or atheist?
Yeah, more
or?
agnostic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. What about you?
I'm Kirsten, I'm 21, and I do OnlyFans and social media.
I'm Giselle, I'm 22, and I stream on Twitch for fun. I wouldn't say I have an exact occupation.
Okay.
I'm Brianna. I'm 23 and
Oh, closer to the mic, please.
Brianna. I'm 23 and same. I don't really.
Closer.
Brianna. I'm 23. I really don't have an occupation either. Exact.
What are you a student or?
Yeah, I'm currently enrolling back into school right now.
Okay.
What's up? I'm Elle. I am an OnlyFans model primarily, but I also did cosmetology school and real estate. So.
Age?
Oh, I'm 21.
Okay.
Freshly.
Hi, I'm Dominique. I'm 23, and my occupation is like I host at like poker games at like celebrities' houses, so they're legal, but not really, because they're.
Okay. So you hosted a legal poker game, is what you're saying?
Well, because they're at houses, so technically, like, you should be gambling at a casino, but like, so they're legal. But yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Fair enough. Air quotes. Okay.
All right.
What about you?
I'm Lila Rose. I'm 34, and my occupation is the president of Live Action, and I'm a writer and a speaker, and a mom.
Okay. What is Live Action, by the way?
We're a human rights organization defending children in the womb, mothers, fathers, and families.
So based.
It's beautiful.
I'm Chase, 28 years old, professional photographer and brand consultant.
Justin, real estate construction.
Age?
37.
All right, cool. So before I go around again and get everyone's relationship status and whatnot, need to address one other thing. Madison, do you want to introduce yourself? Wait.
Can you see me?
Yeah, there we go.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand the
Oh,
Seventh.
sorry, I didn't mean to get your name. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you.
What's your age?
139.
Jesus. Okay, from beyond the grave. Okay, cool.
A true veteran.
A true veteran of the was it World War I? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, announcement. I was banned off of Hinge. Shocker, I know.
It's so over,
It's
dude.
done. It's
It is
done.
over.
Now let me tell you why I was banned. Eric, can you pull up the ban notification? Your account has been removed. You've been banned from using Hinge for violating our terms of service. Okay, so let me explain it. The ban hammer finally came down. I was perma-banned from Hinge, and I was using Hinge to get guests to be on the show for months. So I'm actually surprised. For 9 months,
Did they specify what
they
the
didn't
specific
specify,
rule
but
was?
they didn't specify. But that was the only reason I was using Hinge, was to get guests for the show. Granted, that is a bannable offense, so I'm not surprised. You're supposed to be on a dating app for dating purposes, but it's kind of interesting. They don't mind if chicks are using it to promote their Instagram or OnlyFans. But I think I'm the sole guy doing the reverse finesse. So I'm doing what basically thousands of women are doing. They put their Instagram and the dating profiles, and I get banned. By the way, really quick thing. I got a full, so I paid for their premium thing, so I could just because I think on Hinge you can only send 8 messages a day, so I just paid for their premium thing, so I could just blast out the invites. I got a full refund on my $150 prepaid Hinge Plus or Premium, whatever it's called. Just some quick game for any of you gentlemen who get banned from the dating apps and you're paying for the premium. In the terms of service for Hinge, they say if you get banned, they won't refund you. However, and by the way, I prepaid, so 6 months, $150. So you could get banned for a week after paying $150, and they won't refund you. But if you paid via the Apple App Store, and Eric, if you could pull that up here. So it's against the terms of service on the App Store for an app. Actually, here, I'll pull it back for a sec. It's against the terms of service on the App Store for an app to deny you service you paid for. So if you do get banned on any of these dating apps and you paid for their premium thing, just saying, you can get a little refund, Just saying. Report that to Apple. They'll give you a full refund. Eric, pull it up really quick. You just go to this page. Just type that thing into the top, and you can do it. Anyways, I'm totally irrelevant, but whatever. Okay, going around the table, current relationship status. Are you single, friends with benefits, talking stage, situationship, relationship, married, engaged, whatever. And what's your longest relationship? Go ahead.
Ooh, I am currently dating / in my slut phase. And my longest relationship was probably my marriage, which was 12 years.
Wait, are you divorced currently?
Yes.
Can you, hold on. You're currently in your what?
Slut phase. If that's okay for you, YouTube.
Okay.
Did you just send the asteroid?
I sent a nuclear missile. Hold on.
We're back.
Let me send it again.
We're so back.
Oh my, sorry,
So
it went. Oh my, holy. Okay.
How
wait.
long ago did you get divorced?
3 years ago.
How long has your slut phase been?
3 years.
Did your slut phase start before or after the divorce?
After I got divorced. It's actually been really healing. After being super religious and super conservative and censored and controlled, when you finally get out on your own and ask yourself, what do I want? What brings me alive? What makes me feel connected? And I found out it's not being monogamous. It's not being married. It's actually being open and available for amazing connections with people. That's amazing.
By the way, Tate's now part of the stream. By the
I
way,
have so many questions.
I do too. I have so many answers.
Wait, so you said, did you say proud slut phase?
Oh yes, I'm very, very. It's been healing. Healing's the word I use for it.
What's been healing?
My slut phase.
What have you healed?
So for me, I've been raised in the indoctrination that my job as a woman is to please my male partner, my husband. And as a woman, I was not given pleasure because it didn't have to be reciprocal. Getting divorced and discovering my sexuality, I learned my pleasure is just as important of a right. And so now I get to have that with different people, find out what I like, what I don't like, have different experiences to find out what turns me on, what turns me off. And that's healing, to know yourself and to learn yourself and to feel good with your pleasure and not limit it because of what someone else thinks you should do with it.
Nick, was that presented as Christianity to you, that the man just gets the pleasure and the woman doesn't get any pleasure? Was
I
that
mean,
kind of
I think
part
it
of
was
what
more
you experienced?
it was more caught than taught. I think they would say it's equal, but in practice, it was my job as a woman to support the man and whatever he wants. And so you just learn this messaging of, well, what I want isn't as important. Though if I confronted them, they say, no, you're just as important, but not in practice.
But you didn't experience that in your marriage, it sounds like.
Not the way I think it should have been. Correct.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I think an authentically Christian marriage, the man gives his life for the woman, and absolutely equal sexual pleasure is very important. So I'm sorry that you didn't experience that in your marriage.
Yeah, thank you.
And did you say what your longest relationship was?
Yeah, it was my marriage, which was 12 years.
Okay, gotcha, 12 years. But you're currently single.
Dating, yeah.
Dating. When you say you're dating, what do you mean? You have a couple boyfriends,
yeah, I'm
girlfriends?
dating. So it's the first time I'm non-monogamous. So I'm dating a person, but I have sexual experiences with other people as well.
Okay, so would you consider that person you're dating boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah, my partner.
Your partner? Is it a boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah, it's a guy.
It's a guy. Okay, so how long have you been seeing him?
A couple years.
Oh, you've been seeing him a couple years? Like a month after the divorce?
Several months after the divorce. I've been divorced for 3 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, and then so you say there's other guys in the picture. What are we talking about
mostly
here?
women.
Oh, mostly women.
Yes.
Okay. How many women are in the picture right now?
As many as I desire. It really depends. Like it depends on the who I feel connected to, where I'm at. I go sometimes to different locations specifically for an experience. So it's just more flowy than I'm dating a guy and a girl. It's more like what kind of experiences do I want to have?
And are there any other guys right now?
No, not right now.
Okay.
When you got married to your ex-husband, how long into the marriage did you realize you weren't going to be pleased in the way that you wanted to?
Ooh, I think I knew even before we were married. So we had sex before marriage. And I had so much guilt around it because, that was taught that's a sin. And it wasn't good. But because I was sinning, I can't complain, right? And so then you get married and you think it's going to get better. But then really that taste of what I had before marriage was the substance. But at that point, you're married. And I would advocate for myself and say, I'm not getting as much pleasure. Can we focus on me? And there was some effort. But in the end, it wasn't reciprocated. For me, we were not sexually compatible, and I think that's part of why my slut phase has been so healing. Is I will never marry someone without having sex with them first, because if we are not sexually compatible, I am not signing up to being your partner for life. I need to know if we're a good fit, if we're a good match, if the pleasure is beneficial and mutual. Then I'm open to considering long term with you.
Are you looking at getting married again?
Not right now. It's too soon.
But maybe down the line.
Maybe someday.
So, when you say a slut phase, what are we talking here?
So for me, I guess it's me reclaiming that word. Usually it's used as an insult for a woman who is sexually empowered. It's used to make a woman think like she's too loose and has no morals and values. So it just means I have sex with who I want, when I want. And I don't have to limit it based on society's expectations, religions, rules. It's based on my desire and what's right for me.
Okay. So do you object? It sounds like you object to this term slut.
No, I love it. I love it when we can reclaim it. When someone tries to use it against me, that's when it's when people try to insult you with words. I think part of the power is when you take it back and make it yours. So I've reclaimed it. So you can call me a slut, and I'm like, thank you, I am. But that's just for me.
Okay. We'll come back to some of that stuff later. We'll give everyone the opportunity here to share. Current relationship status and your longest relationship?
I have been in a relationship for almost 2 years now, and this is my longest relationship.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm single, and my longest relationship has been 1 year.
Oh, sorry. One question for you. Your name's Kirsten, correct?
Yeah.
So you said your current boyfriend, is that you said you've been dating your current boyfriend for 2 years?
Mhm.
Okay. Because you wrote a note here, I think at some point that your first encounter with a boyfriend you were dating, you had a unique encounter where first time ever there was a pegging incident.
Yeah, so when I was like 16, this was my very first boyfriend, going to lose my virginity. He whips out this massive strap on and asked me to peg him.
No way.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
What was your response?
I just looked at him in disbelief. Like, I barely even knew what sex was at this point. And he hands me literally another dick. And he's like, can you shove it in me? And I'm like, what
Yes,
did you
please.
just say to me?
How big was it?
It was probably a good 8 or 9 inches. Like, it was pretty fucking massive.
Whoa.
So he's a
So
pro.
then what happened?
Oh, I didn't do it. I left.
Oh,
I left. I walked
Good
right
for
out of
you.
his basement.
it was,
And that
It was in a
the end of it.
basement too.
was
It
his
was.
mom's basement?
Yes, it was at his parents' house. And we
Bruh.
broke up after that one.
This guy's a
I'm
fucking
not surprised.
legend, dude. Asking virgins to peg him in his mom's basement. Like,
Yes.
what a fucking
Dude has to
dad.
be the
I'm
greatest
sorry
troll
you
of all
experienced
time.
That is crazy.
Don't get me
Awful.
wrong, I don't kink shame, but like, it was my first time. You're just gonna whip that shit out on me. It just caught me off guard a little bit.
Wait,
That's
so you broke
messed
up
up.
with him?
I did, yeah.
Wait, but okay, you said it was your boyfriend.
Boyfriend, kind of talking. It was like one of those awkward high school relationships.
How long had you been talking?
Couple months, maybe.
How old was he?
He was 18. So
How
he
many
was a couple years
other
older than me.
girls had he busted out that piece on?
I don't know. Elle, do you know? Because we went to the same high school together.
Yeah.
She's heard that story a few times.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's not the first girl that I've heard he's tried that on. So
The question is, what kind of pornography is that guy watching? I think that that's okay, right?
Fact.
I'm sure there's a category just
Pretty
for him somewhere.
Messed up pornography.
Yeah.
Somewhere
love
deep at the
pegging.
A
bottom
little
of the
warning
hub.
would have been nice.
Yeah, it's
Send it
pretty,
my way.
pretty messed up.
Justin, what do you think about that?
I think this show doesn't even need me. I think it's going just fine, bro.
Just like how he didn't need Kirsten.
No comment. No comment. Yeah, that's he could have at least saved it for like the third time, you know, like
Right,
to be a gentleman, like at
Right.
least wait a little.
Wait, how long had you guys been talking?
3
Just
months.
a couple
or some
months.
shit,
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't long at all.
That's such a bold move.
That's
That
Super
is
Bowl.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Giselle, sorry, what you said you currently single, and your longest relationship was a year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
In a relationship, and my longest relationship was.
Into the mic. Into the mic.
I'm in a relationship, and my longest relationship was about 2 years or so.
Okay.
I am single. Thank you for the reminder. I've been single for 2.5 years. I honestly prefer it that way. But my longest relationship was 5 years. The guy that I dated for 5 years, I was with him from before I started high school and then till after. It was very on and off. A lot of people in our high school called me a ping pong ball because I would go between him and his best friend.
Was that like your nickname?
Oh, I had a lot of nicknames.
Well, what were some of your other nicknames?
I'll let Kirsten do that one actually.
What were her nicknames?
The biggest one that I remember was, what was it, like the Hobgoblin or whatever?
Oh, Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin,
yes,
yeah.
yes. That was a real one. That's a real one. I'm surprised she remembers that.
Why? Where did that come from?
So my ex-boyfriend and his best friend and the other ones, they used to call themselves goons. And so because I was a girl in their group, I was a hobgoblin. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I was in the middle of nowhere surrounded by, cornfields and dumbasses. So I don't know.
The goon and the hobgoblin.
Yeah,
Very
no, they actually
romantic.
called their mom. This is why it was. They actually called their mom a hobgoblin, one of their moms. And so they always said that I mommed them, so they also called me the same thing that they called their mom.
What's your current nickname?
L? Yeah.
Wait, so you said you were going back and forth between your sort of boyfriend and some other dude?
So I dated the main guy that was for 5 years, on and off, and he usually would date one of my friends. So to rebel, I would do the same thing. I never said it was mature. I was literally like 15 to 17,
All right.
but
okay.
just being honest. But yeah, no, I'm openly pansexual now. So
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is it?
What is
it means that I'm
pansexual?
super attracted to kitchenware. I'm just kidding. It just means that I am like. It just means that I'm like open to anything. I'm not. I'm more attracted to intelligence. Than and like who a person is, the conversation I can have with them, their energies. Like, so like that basically includes like more than just men and women. It also includes non-binary, trans, any category of that sort.
I'm pansexual as well.
So wait, pansexual means that you date just anything based off just the vibe. So like it could be boy, girl, trans. Okay, cool.
How is that different? How is that different than bisexual?
Because bisexual, I don't want to get like dragged for this, but like bisexual usually is just like men and women. You like men, you like women. But being pansexual means that you don't care about gender or any of that. You're just into somebody for who they are. Despite that, I've dated non-binary people many times. So, and people that are in transitioning, whatever.
The West has fallen.
Okay. So, and you said you've been single for how long? 2.5 years?
Like over 2 years, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Last person I dated was a female.
Was a female. Okay. What about you?
Like, am I in a relationship right now?
Current relationship status, longest relationship.
Okay. So I am single. My longest relationship, I've only ever had one boyfriend my whole life. And we dated when I was 18, and until we dated for 6 months and then like broke up for like 2, and then we dated for 3 months, so 9 months total.
And you said there was a 2-month break in between?
Yeah. So like,
were you seeing other people during that break?
No.
Was he?
No. I was his second like girl ever had sex with. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't see anyone, and then like we got back together because like he begged me, and I gave him another.
He begged you?
Yeah.
Can like you reenact the begging?
Like, was he on his knees?
Like, was it like a knees thing?
Boombox over the head
Was it just
outside
like
your house?
Text messages.
Yeah, like it was like the whole boombox thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
What song did he play?
I doubt that.
Yeah, no, I was being
no
facetious, but
I was too.
I know.
Same.
I caught on. Great minds think alike. He. Yeah, no, he didn't do that. He just like begged me to get back together, and then we did.
How long did it last for after?
Well, so he was like, okay, he was kind of like, like
Closer to the mic.
Okay, I was like, I was young, you know, so I thought I was like in love, and like he was like kind of a bum, like because he was like, he got kicked out of his parents' house, and he was living in the back of his truck, and in his camper, and so I was trying to help him and like be like Captain Save a Ho, but like for a guy. So I let him like live at my house with me, and then like I was just like, okay, you gotta go, because he would like get fired from like every union job he had because he would show up to like set like late. Like you have to be there at 6:30 in the union. That like the most important thing is like show up on time. And like he was always late, so I was just like, you're kind of a bum, so like we're over. Sorry.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't marry a bum.
Yeah, no.
It's good advice.
Don't do it.
Okay, what about you?
The question's relationship.
Yeah, current relationship status.
I'm married, and the longest relationship is my marriage.
Okay.
Almost 5 years.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm currently single. Longest relationship is like 1.5 years.
I always keep that a mystery. 7 years.
All right, mystery. 7 years.
The 60 girls that Justin's talking to now don't have a clue.
You keep whether
no
you're married.
I'm kidding.
Do you have? Can you at least confirm if you have like one girl, or do you kind of date multiple people?
Cannot confirm. Man.
Cannot
I wish I
confirm
could.
or deny?
I wish I could.
That means
I
it might be
could.
multiples. It sounds like.
Is there? How about this? Confirm or deny? Is there a harem?
cannot confirm or deny.
Can you confirm or deny if you're voluntarily celibate?
What the fuck?
I can't. Yeah, I'm definitely not voluntarily
Bro, have you
celibate.
seen Justin? Hello?
Yeah, dude.
He literally has a welcome mat right under his nose. How would he?
Yeah.
What
I'm
the
good.
fuck?
I'm good. Says the Hobgoblin.
Oh.
Sucking
like
sucking dicks in
all over again.
cornfields.
Roasted.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's
Hobgoblin.
okay. I can take it. I can take the smoke.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's see here.
I
So
have a question.
Yeah.
Justin, do you ever see yourself getting married?
No, not on paper. No, absolutely not. I believe in love and marriage and in regards to taking care of a woman fully and your responsibilities as a father and a provider and protector. 100%. In fact, I think that's probably what's broken about the world. But in regards to letting the state get into all my businesses that took me over a decade to build, absolutely not. No.
That's a very
How do you,
smart.
how do you think you're gonna get to the place of that marriage you want with that family and that lifelong love that you just
I
talked
didn't
about?
say I didn't have family or children. I just said
I
it was none of
see.
your business.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
So you want to keep it private, is what you're saying?
that's
Yeah.
what I
I
said.
understand.
Justin has
I
enemies.
might have multiple family.
Oh.
You never know. I might like family more than you. So much I have 5.
Do you think that's a good thing to have multiple families?
I think it's good if there's one dad and there's not a bunch of step parents involved and the dad can be the hero and those 5 families live a 10x better life than they would have otherwise. Yes, ma'am, I do.
But you don't think that it will be ultimately an opportunity for jealousy or disharmony amongst
Women
two
are always going
different
to be
families?
jealous. What's changed
I'm not
about that?
jealous in
Women
my
have been jealous
marriage.
all the way through time. So
I'm not jealous in my marriage.
Well, I don't care about your marriage. I'm talking about mine. What my life is going to be. So I don't answer to you. So that's my answer. I'm going to run my situation exactly how I want to. And generally, when I do that, that's when I have the most happiness, let's say, in my life. So that's all.
And you would want that for your daughters?
Yeah. Yeah, I live my life unapologetically on my terms. So if my daughters that are overly spoiled and educated in every way and have friends all over the world and world traveled in the best schools in the world, if they have a problem with me at the end of the day, then they can kick rocks too. I'm not going to simp for my daughters. I'll love them fully. But if they grow up and turn into a person that doesn't want to get in line with me or look, here's my goal as a parent. Teach my children how the world works. Give them the skills so they can live on their own terms and give them choice. If they choose not to make me part of their life after I've given them those things, I've still succeeded as a father.
But I guess I'm asking if you're comfortable answering, obviously. But are you wanting to be a role model for your kids? Is that part of your
1,000%.
goal?
A father should show up in every way for his children. I think I'll be better than most fathers, regardless of how many children I have. I might have 100.
But you
So.
think part of being a role model, it's okay for your kids not to know even your relationship status with their own mom?
They will know the relationship
But they're-
status with me and their mother.
But you have other relationships with other women, too.
What does that have to do with anything?
But I'm just wondering if you think
I
that's a
haven't even
problem.
said that. I'm just saying, like, if I want to, I will.
But you don't think that's a problem for your daughter to know that about their dad? That he has multiple mistresses?
That's up to my daughter, man. You know,
But do you want your daughter to have a guy like that long term?
if he takes care of her in every way and she has a much better life because of it, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Wait, do you want to have 100 kids? Is that like low key?
I'm gonna have a bunch of kids. Yeah, I believe in having kids, man. So there's too many dumbass people having kids. Might as well have a smart person have some.
Dude, is Justin low key
Spread your
about to
seed.
repopulate the world?
Kids are awesome.
Is Justin
I
is
don't-
Justin about to
Single-handedly.
single-handedly reverse the declining birth rates?
They got all these single women out here talking shit about shit, man. Well, cool. I'll have babies with you. What's up? Now, part of it is being a smart ass right now, right? To be honest. But look, if a guy decides to have a bunch of children, I mean, you see it happen all the time. Guy gets married, he's a shitty father, shitty husband, ends up getting a divorce, and then goes has babies with the next chick, doing the same thing I'm doing, except I'm not a lying coward about it.
I hear you.
So,
I see that. I see
is
that.
what it is.
But I think the big question is, I mean, it seems like you're really focused on self-improvement, which is awesome. And so I guess my question would be, is it ideal? Like, what are we striving towards individually, right? And what do we think is best for society? And I think kids want to know their parents love each other and are committed till death do they part to each other.
Yep, didn't
And
say
so-
any of that wasn't true.
But
You're the
but
one
do you-
saying that's not true.
Okay, but do you think it would be a little bit confusing for one of your kids if they found out, let's say
No,
theoretically?
because if they
you
trust me
had-
enough to come to me, I'll just tell them the truth. What are we talking about? I'm not hiding from anything. I just told you.
I understand that.
It
So-
seems like you're challenging because you have a problem with it. I simply don't care.
So your kids, you're saying you don't care if they find out you have multiple mistresses?
If I had
Separate from their
multiple
own
women and then my kids came to me, then I would just talk to them like an adult. If they're adult enough to ask, I'm
What if they're
adult
6
enough to
years
tell
old,
them.
though?
Well, whatever they ask, I'm there for. You know, that's it. Find somebody else. I don't feel bad. I'm gonna live in truth. Here's the difference between me and most men. Most men are doing this shit behind people's back, right? Like a fucking coward. And they're not even giving the family the life that they deserve. So if I choose to do that in the future, which I have not said I'm gonna do, then so be it. But if I don't, I don't.
I hear you. I guess that you're saying you don't want to share your relationship status, but then you just said people are hiding it and being a coward. So I guess I
think there's a difference between not wanting to share one's relationship status publicly on a platform like this versus
when I have a big
family.
internet following and like offices that you can Google and all kinds of things like that. I don't want that smoke for people in my life.
I see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just one thing related to the, well, not related to this. Is the audio okay, guys? Because sometimes we have issues with the number 2, and I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear Justin okay? One in the chat if you can hear Justin okay, guys. I want to make sure that you guys hear him all right. One in the chat if Justin's coming through okay. Looks like a lot of ones. Audio is good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I have a question on this, Justin. So I know you can neither confirm nor deny the current situations, but it sounds like perhaps there have been times where you're seeing multiple women. So what is the pitch to a girl that you won't be loyal? Is it overtly communicated? Is it just an understanding? Like what's the sell? What's the pitch to a girl? Basically, because you say you're open with it with the girls. How do you pitch it?
I mean, first of all, generally they kind of know up front. You know, if they slide in my Instagram DMs and they see my life, it's like, they're like, are you really that surprised? Mm-hmm. And so there's questions you could ask to see if a girl's bi or not. I might joke around, ask her blondes or brunettes early on.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And see what she says, just to check see if she's bi or not. And look, I don't coach game. I'm just like super honest. And then another thing is, by the time a girl really sees me online, she's already listened to my content. Mm-hmm. And listen to things I've said. So they already, I mean, they would know the truth, you know?
Right.
I'm probably going to ratchet back, you know, some of these dating type shows just because I feel like I've had the same conversation a million times and just do more of the business stuff. But by and largely, my content is a filter, you know? And I get DMs from women all day, you know, just basically saying, hey, I at least appreciate you telling the truth. I got cheated on, got lied to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's not much screening I really have to do.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, but have there been any instances, I assume perhaps maybe some of the women you approached or they weren't familiar with you? I mean, because you say you're open with the girls and, you know, and, you know, let's say to all the G's out there that are trying to level up and they kind of want to, you know, they want to have
well, you know what I would say
women.
first? I would say first that having multiple women is not the goal. I don't think that's a good goal for a young man. You know, I think working on yourself completely and absorbing and having a lot of women come to you is a goal. For example, like let's say that you're married and you have a loving relationship. I don't think there's anything in the world wrong with that at all.
But I want that for you and every
Well,
person.
too bad. That's not what I want. So that's my business, not yours. But what I'm saying is that if I'm in a situation with a woman and she thinks she wants to leave because I have, let's say, more girls. Okay, cool. You can leave me for a man that you love less that will cheat on you anyway if he could. I'm not doing anything any other man would not do if he could. Maybe her husband could and doesn't, but... You know, for the sake of the conversation, I think most men, if they could, would have the option of having multiple women. Now, it has also been my experience that I can only love one person at a time. And so, that said, there's, you know, I think there's only one spot in my heart as far as, you know, long-term commitment. And when I look at long-term commitment, I look at protecting, providing, being there fully emotionally, a person's best friend. I mean, ride or die, like really there with them, even if they're upset or jealous.
Can I ask you one more question?
Fire away, honey.
Okay. If you have only one place in your heart for one woman, or you want to have one woman in your heart, I think you said, why don't you just commit to one and choose to be faithful to her?
I'm just not wired that way. I spent my whole 20s trying to fix myself. Thought something was wrong with me.
You're a man of self-control. You work out, you do business.
Yeah.
You can possess your own power and direct it the way you want to direct it.
It's just not how I am. It's not how I am.
You think that might be a limited mindset?
I think it's none of your business, but I don't want you to think I'm triggered by you. I'm not.
Okay.
I saw somebody say that, and I think that's interesting. I think you're annoying, but I'm not triggered. You know what I'm saying? No, you are. You're annoying in like this goody two-shoes type way, and that's fine. I'm going to live my life on my terms, unapologetically, like truly. So you can ask me this 85 different ways. At the end of the day, I'm going to walk out of here the same man. And any woman in my life, that you either accept that or leave. And that's not a threat. That's, hey, this is what I offer. If that works for you, okay. If it doesn't, you can go. There's plenty of people that are in hot wife relationships. They're swingers. They're gay. None of those people get questioned the way I do.
Yeah.
None of those people get questioned the way I do. I'm one of very few men that can actually come out and on the top of my head, there's probably a handful. The Tate brothers being some of them, and then a couple of my other friends that can actually openly say, this is how I'm going to live. I'm going to live on my terms. And guess what? Women don't leave us for it. I cannot think of a woman that has left me over telling them that.
Yeah, some women like that.
Yeah, some of them are like, oh my God, that's so sexy. So no woman wants a man that other women don't want. And by and largely, I think that women are attracted to it, that little bit of dread in them, that little bit of competition. And I don't mind providing that atmosphere for them at all. And I'm not sorry.
I kind of have a question.
Shoot.
So,
I hate that I talk about this so much, actually.
No. I genuinely love
it's
how
not that
outspoken you
because
are about it.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not trying to promote it.
No, not
You
at
know
all.
what I'm saying? Like if a young man thinks he wants to get married, I don't want him to see me and think, oh, I need to sit my wife down and tell her. If he doesn't actually feel that way, but I think you'd be shocked at how many men hate themselves over the fact that they want multiple women and they're scared that everybody's going to reject them and they're going to get kicked out of their family group, their church group, their friends.
And same with women.
Everything.
Same with women, yeah, exactly.
Right,
I was just
sure.
about to say that. You know, it's the same sense of you know, especially even from the opposite perspective, from mine, as even somebody that's only 21 years old, I've experienced, you know, like a man sometimes wants to be very protective. Is a good way of putting
absolutely.
it.
That's the
over
beautiful
their
part
woman,
about
what's
love.
mine is mine, and I understand that fully. And there are certain times where it's like it's hard not to be like the jealous type, and I've been in polyamorous relationships before.
Well, let me be really clear. I'm not polyamorous. Now,
yeah, that's why I was actually that was my question.
If there are some girls I'm seeing and I don't care as much, they I'm not watching them like that. I'm like whatever. But anyone that's close to that I'm trying to provide for or possibly have children with, no, it's shut down. Now you can help me bring women home all day long. I'm not trying to leave you out. But at the same time, like you're not talking to any other men, and those women are happy with that.
So it is like what I described, kind of like where it's what's mine is mine, but what's yours is also mine.
Well, I wouldn't say what's yours is also mine. I never thought of it that way, but so you're gonna be protective over your girl. Like if you really care about her, you really care about her. Like especially like if you're with a guy and let's say he takes you to a swingers club, he probably didn't love you. He's just trying to get a trade off, right?
I don't know about that because it can't go both ways.
It may be so for you. I'm just saying any woman I truly care about, like I'm not playing that shit at all.
Yeah. Well, in that sense though, like do you think it's fair?
No, I don't think life is fair at all. And this particular subject is super unfair. I want to be very, very clear about that. Number one, I am not promoting it. I'm not promoting it in any way.
Not promoting what?
I'm not promoting that men have a bunch of women.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm saying that for me in my life, the biggest struggle in my adult life was feeling out of place because of how I felt about it. It was almost like, hey, I'm coming out the closet. I'm super straight, you know? And then number two, I'm not promoting what I'm saying right now is fair at all. I don't think it's fair at all. I don't think the world's fair.
Yeah. But I might be misunderstanding you, but it sounds like you're saying that some men, maybe yourself, don't have the ability to be monogamous. And so you're saying
choosing to frame it that way. I'm telling you, I'm going to live my life how I want to.
How would you frame it?
I would frame it as it was more of me holding my breath and trying to be something I wasn't.
What
I was holding my breath.
I
You
get
understand
to that?
Look, I'm from the deep south. You Baptist, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I get
you know
that
that feeling of church.
Yes. You're trying to be who they told you to be.
And you're praying, God, please let me not leave this girl I love because I want to sleep with the volleyball team type stuff. Like the biggest heartbreak in my life was in college. I broke up with Miss Louisiana while she's getting ready for Miss America. Not because we didn't get along, not because the sex wasn't good, not because we weren't like best friends. It's because I wanted to sleep with other girls at school.
Yes,
and I thought I was doing the right thing, and I ended up breaking my own heart. You know what I'm saying? And so through my 20s, I thought something was wrong with me, and I was trying to fix it. And in time, I realized that there was never anything wrong with me at all. I just had to live my truth and find people, even if it's just a small group of billions of people in the world, maybe it's 3 to 5 people that love me for who I am.
I agree with you.
And then I'm at peace because then I don't have to be wrong. They don't have to answer to my conscience. I can just be myself. And for that reason, I'm able to put walls down like, oh, she might catch me. and just tell the truth. And so instead of loving her 80, 90%, I can love her 120% and take care of her every way. Yeah. So you can give your whole heart to somebody when you're not living in lies.
100%. And that was interesting for me because I was in a monogamous marriage because I was told that was the only way, the right way. And then I learned over the years that I'm actually non-monogamous. And that was even interesting when I started dating after I got divorced, being upfront about it, because I know, and I've said the same thing where people are mad at me because I do in public what they do in secret. Instead of hiding, I tell people like, hey, I'm non-monogamous. I can't be only with one person for the rest of my life. And if you're not cool with that, then we're not meant to date.
Right.
But if you are cool with
or
that,
you're meant to be in a
talk.
different position, like you, for example, over there with your titties out and everything, talking about you fucking, like in my mind, when I hear a girl say that, I'm like, okay, well, fucking, I take a ride on that, Ferris wheel. But you get put out of the wife bucket for a guy like me, but at the same time, like, I'm not mad at you for saying it, because a bunch of people were calling you haram and stuff like that, and technically maybe it's true, but it just, for me, when I see a girl like that, it just puts her in a different bucket.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be in whatever bucket, because it's like I know what I want, and if I'm not wife material for you, I don't want to be your wife. So it's like, to me, it's alignment, and that's not an issue, and you can call me whatever.
No, I'm not here to judge you about it.
You're at peace, I'm at peace, and I think that's the biggest thing I learned walking away from the church and religion is how unique every person is, and it's everyone has their own set of morals and values that works for them. And I used to think there was right or wrong, but now it's like if you're at peace with you, that's the most important thing. If I'm at peace with me, that's the most important thing.
And I've never been in more peace in my life.
Yeah.
So
and just treating others
it.
with kindness, like despite your disagreements. That's why we're in America in the first place. Like, you're allowed to disagree with other people and their opinions.
America.
So I want to pipe up here. I find your perspective interesting, Justin. I used to want the same thing. When I was about 18 years old, I realized, I was like, man, I want to have like 30 kids with like 10 different women. Like, I wanted to ball out, have as many kids as humanly possible. And this was when I was not walking with the Lord at this point in time. And I maintained that dream till about my mid-20s. And I realized after some conversations with some friends that were from like Mormon polygamy cults out in Utah. My buddy, he was in, his grandfather had like 20 wives or something like that. And he had like hundreds of grandchildren with all these different women. And I asked him about it. He was always turned off to religion because of his experience growing up in this family. And I asked him why. And he said the rates of alcoholism, suicide, all of these different things in his extended family were extremely high. A bunch of his cousins had committed suicide. They suffered from severe depression, all of these different things. And it was because of how big and difficult to manage that extended family was that came from their grandfather. And he looked at that and he just hated it, right? And that really hit home for me. And a few years later, I was reading through the Old Testament of the Bible, and one of the things that you notice about all the patriarchs in the Old Testament, right? King David, King Solomon, many of the different patriarchs, they would have multiple children with multiple wives. And what would happen is their kids would end up warring with one another, and they would end up at odds with one another. And so you would have this pattern of broken families from men who had practiced polygamy. Now, if that's your choice for your life,
I want to be really clear. I'm not defining what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to have multiple wives with multiple women. I'm just keeping it very vague.
Yes. Understood. And the point that I'm making is I just wanted to share, I personally used to want what you've been describing, and I wanted to make a ton of money to be able to support it. But I came to the point in my life where I realized, as a Christian, I'm a Christian. The thing that I can do to honor God personally is align myself with his prescription for marriage between one woman and one man. I understand that's not your choice, but I think part of the wisdom in embracing that and in embracing monogamy is you create a very healthy family long-term, right? And like, I get the desire to want to be with multiple women. It's in our freaking DNA. But for me personally, that's something I am absolutely willing to sacrifice because it produces more fruit in a family long term.
I know families in monogamous marriages
cool with that.
That's toxic. I know families that are in polyamorous and non-monogamous relationships that are healthy, and vice versa. So I think it's less about the structure is what determines the health. It's the health of the individuals in that relationship. You can have a monogamous marriage, and if the couples are miserable, that's going to affect their children. You can have couples or thruples or quads or whatever who are in their polyamorous relationship and they're healthy and they're connected and they communicate and there's boundaries. and that's going to provide more health. So I just push back on this idea that there's a prescription that for all humans, this is what you should do, when every human is so different. And like it's a matter of the health of the individual, and then who they're being with, then the structure that makes it healthy.
But if you're sleeping with multiple people, what is the point of saying I'm in a relationship with this person? Like, if you're going to say I'm committing to you, what is the point of being in a relationship with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it's different for every person. So for me, since I'm pansexual and I'm non-monogamous, I can have someone I deeply, deeply love, and I still want and desire other experiences. And before when I thought I was monogamous, I didn't understand that. I thought the same thing, like, oh, then it's a free-for-all and there's no boundaries and there's no priority. But for me, it's like, ooh, once I find someone I feel so committed to, I don't, like, that's set, that's good. And then I have these other experiences that actually nurture that. Mm-hmm. So I was told if I had outside sexual activities once I'm in a marriage or in a partnership, it would tear apart the relationship. Based on how I'm wired, when I have outside sexual activities with other people, it actually makes me fall more in love with my person. No one told me that, and I thought I was crazy, but that's how I'm wired. It like brings something alive, and it makes me want to gush love on my person, and it's the exact opposite of what I was
taught. So is your dude cool with sharing you with other dudes?
Yeah. We do women right now.
Okay. So it wouldn't be with other men, just women?
Not yet.
And why is that?
So the way we do it is we want to be very intentional about how we do it, because the most important relationship that matters is us. So it's not a free-for-all. So for the first part, it was just us. We built our foundation, we put our roots down, and then we reached a point where like, let's start having other experiences. And we would just do one, and then we'd reflect on it, talk, communicate. Was any boundary crossed? How do we feel? And we found that it actually brought us closer together.
Wait, do you guys have threesomes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So the threesomes with the other woman, so you and another girl,
mm-hmm.
and then him brought you guys closer together.
Yes, and even my own. So because I'm on OnlyFans, I make content with girls, so I have sex with girls for my work.
Oh, you do OnlyFans?
Mm-hmm. And that also brings us closer together. I have these amazing experiences, and I come home and I tell all about the things, and like I feel alive and energized.
And did you say you were a mother?
Yes.
And okay, I have to ask.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
7, 10, 12.
And because I went to school with, or there was a guy, his mom drove a pink Hummer and she was a porn star, right? And everybody dogged on him because, and like it sucked for him, and I felt really bad. Do you think that your kids would be affected at some point with like the fact that you did OnlyFans?
No, so my kids are very educated at their age appropriate level, but I've asked my teen boys how they feel, and I was like, do you ever get picked on by your friends? And they said, no. Why would we even have friends like that?
So their friends don't even know?
They know.
They know?
They do know, and they don't care.
What about other kids at school?
These are the kids at school that know.
Well, I mean, like your kids have friends, and then there's other kids that they're not friends with.
I mean, my little kids, I don't think their friends know, but as they get older, their friends know, because I'm friends with their moms or their dads or their families. And so it becomes knowledge, and they're just like, cool. And then some of my kids are like, here's how you can make more money. You should try this on Twitch. You should do this. Like, they actually like help me, and they...
Little Gen Zers. Or
like they're just so open-minded. They don't have the stigma and the judgment that I was raised with.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Earlier in the conversation, you made the statement, if I recall correctly, you put it, as long as you're at peace with your morality, that's what matters, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that this kind of sexuality would be sustainable if it was like all across our society, like if everybody operated this way?
I think a lot of people do operate this way. They just do it in secret or behind backs.
Yep, on accident.
Or on accident versus...
What do you think the percentage is? Like more than 10%, less than 10%?
The
I'd
people
say well over 50.
Oh yeah, the people who come.
You think it's well over 50%?
I think it's well over 50% of people that
do
would
what?
that would rather cheat on their spouse than be openly polyamorous with them and open the lines of communication.
I'm calling cap on that. I don't think
there
it's
was
more than
actually a
50%.
study done where 70% of men have cheated on their wives at one point or another.
So but I think 70% would drag a number up. I think 50 is probably a little high.
I think a big thing,
way high.
A big reason
Maybe.
I think it's
so.
been
at least
I think
in
it's-
my
I think
at
it's
least
way
in,
high.
at least in the generation that I am in.
Yeah,
and
your
that's
generation,
growing,
maybe.
for sure. We're all
well. This was,
But also
kind of
like
that-
your social circle, like of my friends, like most of my friends, they're not interested in doing that.
So this was
Yeah.
this was
I can understand
this
that.
was in part by design, because the sexual revolution happened right in the 60s and the 70s, and there was this sexologist named Alfred Kinsey.
Let's go.
I don't know if anyone has heard of him, but he's kind of known as the godfather or the grandfather of sexology today. And so his ideology has really influenced a lot of sex ed today and a lot of behavior today. And so what he did, he wanted to prove that everybody was sexually deviant, was the term at the time, sexually deviant. They weren't in monogamous relationships, or if they were, they'd lie, and they were in swinger culture and other kinds of relationships. And he wanted to mainstream this idea because he wanted to break down the natural family, single mother, single father, together, married together, and with children.
Yeah.
And so what he ended up doing is he created social data, research data, and he would actually survey prison populations for their sexual experiences, and he would use that and claim that this was representative of the entire population. So actually, he would ask, interview convicts or have people interview convicts and who were involved in all kinds of dark stuff, and they would share, we've been obviously in bestiality, rape, or we've been involved in having many different partners. And then he said, this is representative of, so 70% or 80% of Americans, he claimed, are involved in swinger culture or polyamory behind closed doors. But he was lying, is the thing. But
so you're telling me that stat she just referenced is total BS?
I don't know exactly where you got that stat, but I think it might be a Keynesian stat because a lot of his statistics kind of created the groundswell for that mentality. And then the problem is it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So if everybody thinks, oh, it's normal to have sex with a ton of different people, it's normal to not be monogamous, it's actually good to not be monogamous, right? That's the message of society tells you. It's good to, porn is good, sleeping around is good, sex is not a big deal. Then it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because more and more people get sexualized and get, start down that path. And unfortunately in our society too, a lot of young girls, I heard what you shared, Kirsten, right? Mm-hmm. It was horrible. Like with that guy, it's ridiculous, right? But he was probably watching porn, right? So he's being trained by his pornography to treat you like an object. He didn't even talk to you about it. He just did this gross thing to you and you're like, what the heck? You walk out, right? But he was trained by porn to do that. That's not normal. Like a little boy doesn't grow up and become that naturally as a man. He's trained to think and become deviant and messed up.
I disagree because if you're gay, you're going to want it in the ass. And as a woman, I love pegging. And I didn't learn that from porn. It's a desire I had. It's like, I wish I had a dick sometimes. And if I don't, I'm going to buy one. So to say that that's like to say it only comes from porn is like such a.
When did you first realize you wish you had a dick sometimes?
Probably since I was little. I've always been very sexual and have always wanted to fuck most people with two legs. Like I just am drawn to having sex. And in my 20s, maybe late 20s, I think the curiosity was there. And I didn't watch porn in my 20s. I was Christian in a monogamous marriage, but I had this desire. And I was afraid of it. And then I learned that this is actually a common desire. And I fulfilled it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. It resonates with me and it brings me pleasure. It brings my people pleasure that I do this to. But outside of it, it's easy to judge and be like, ew, weird, gross, wrong. But inside, it's been amazing for me and the people that we participate in.
But if you're, if you are happy having sex with the person you're having sex with, right? Yeah. What is the difference between you having sex with that person, you having sex with a different person? Why do you feel the need to have sex with everybody?
It's not a need, it's a desire. And I think it's learning that it's okay to have desires. It's okay if they're not mainstream. It's if it's between consenting adults, do what you want. That's the thing. No one's being harmed here. No one's being coerced. No one's being manipulated. It's I desire this. Do you desire this? Yes. Great. We're all on the same page.
Here's a question. Do you think all desires should be acted on? All sexual desires?
No. And so that's a common accusation. It's oh, well then you're going to, bestiality is always thrown in there, which is so ridiculous.
Can we not talk about bestiality?
Oh yeah, sorry, can't say that.
Avoid that conversation.
But they say people then assume it's all desire. It's no, it's checking in and asking. And what I teach my life coaching is the difference between surface desires and soulful desires. What's a surface desire of God, what would feel really good right now is eating an entire package of Oreos, dunking them in milk and watching TV for 5 hours. That might feel really good right now. But my soulful desire is just to feel good, not feel gross in about 5 hours. So it's checking beneath that desire. And so for me, I was always afraid of my sexual desires. What does this mean about me? Am I a cheater? Am I going to hurt someone? I'm oh, I'm just a very sexual person who gets a lot of pleasure and connection out of sex. That's actually a gift I bring. When I have sex with you, it's amazing. I bring my whole self to the table. And I've had people tell me, I've never had something like that. I've never been given pleasure like that. And to know that I could fulfill that for you, That's an honor.
So I want to go back to my original question.
Yeah.
If everybody had this same set of moralities across the table throughout our whole society, how quickly do you think it would take for things to completely fall apart?
I don't think that would ever happen. First of all,
You don't think that would ever happen?
No, and because I think
You don't think?
Hold on, Chase, one second.
Oh yeah.
If you guys curse in these, it doesn't trigger the robot voice. Wait,
Let's
what?
pull it back up and read it.
Yeah, I'll pull it back up. I don't know why this one came over it, but what the frick? Hold on, I'm re-triggering it right now. What is going on? Yo, Bad ZXC, thank you for the 200. Just when I thought the
$200. Just when I thought the depravity could not get any lower in modern women. All I can say is you can only impress me at this point. Old 304, you think your kids aren't about to get the soul bullied out of them because of your phase is completely insane.
Your response.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just like I've already told you, my kids and my teen boys have said our friends don't care and they know. So it doesn't stand any truth to that. Like,
so do you think if other families were practicing the same thing, their kids wouldn't get bullied?
I think kids get bullied no matter what. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Right, but
it's
you
not
can-
just
you
for
can give
sexually
them-
different families. That's the thing here. Is like we try to stigmatize sexually different families as though they're gonna be the only ones who get bullied. I have friends who are all kinds of monogamous, non-monogamous, married, single parenthood, and their kids are getting bullied for totally different reasons. It's not relegated to just sexually different
Right,
families.
but
It's also putting a target on their back.
Exactly. People will get bullied for all sorts of different things, but that's not an excuse to give kids more ammunition to bully.
Do
your
you
kids.
think do you think that their teen sons are telling you the truth?
Absolutely. I know their friends. Their friends know me, and we talk about it all the time because like we just have such an open family.
Like, what if they didn't want to hurt your feelings?
Would it weird you
They're
out
like
if your kids' friends were like watching your OnlyFans? Like,
Well, they can't.
Well, they can't because you
Why
have to
not?
be of age. You have to be
Can't you
18.
lie about your age?
You have to have an ID.
I don't know how
you have
OnlyFans
to get
works.
ID, but people like
People
rip,
can
yeah,
get around
bro,
it
rip
all the time.
OnlyFans.
They
They
definitely
put it
are.
all over the
They're
internet.
definitely
Of course, it's
watching
on-
your
for
content.
sure,
They're
but not
definitely
on
watching your
OnlyFans.
content. They're definitely doing things they shouldn't be doing to your content. But who hasn't done that to their friend's hot mom?
There's one
Like,
more thing. I think
like,
there's
come
one
on.
more. There's one more important thing going on here, though, because I think you said
Guilty.
something
No.
really interesting, Nick. You were talking about like sexual desires and the desire to act out on our different sexual desires, and I think there's this mentality in our culture today that if someone has a sexual desire, then that is their identity. That can become their identity if they have enough of a sexual desire in one direction. That's their identity, and so. But I don't think that's true. I don't think we're defined by our desires. I
For
think
sure.
we're defined by what we choose.
I love pegging, and I do not identify as a pegger. It's like I love threesomes, and I don't identify as a threesome. It's like I'm Nicole Mitchell, a woman who's alive and in tune with what she wants and lets herself have it with consenting adults, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I disagree.
have all kinds of experiences, but it doesn't mean I have to identify as each of those things. I love Oreos. I'm not an Oreo. You know, it's like we have to realize like these are statements we say as there's no substance behind it.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Nick, I got to make a point. Nick,
go for it.
You say that there's nothing wrong with it. You say that as long as you're at peace with your morality, it's fine. I completely disagree. Again,
fine.
I think if our entire society ran the way that you're kind of prescribing, where people just fulfill whatever quote unquote soulful desires they have, things would completely fall apart. Like the values that she was preaching to Justin earlier when he was getting a little bit annoyed by it, understandably. What she was preaching, I am here personally in the world to serve God, and I believe that one of the best ways that we can serve God is by sacrificing our selfish desires that might have negative impacts on ourselves or other people. And these statements like, as long as you're fine with it, it's okay. Like, there's ripple effects to our actions.
In that statement, though, the assumption is that the desires are negative and that they will create harm. So
But
I
how
have a
do you
belief
know
that
they won't
my
create
desires
harm?
are given to me by God, and by fulfilling my desires, it brings more good in the world.
You think that they're given to you by God?
Yes, I think the fact that I have a clitoris, which only exists for pleasure, not for reproduction, not for child rearing, purely for my pleasure, I believe there's a divine design where pleasure is our birthright. And so by me honoring my desire for pleasure, letting myself receive it, letting myself give it to others, produces so much good and pleasure and connection. It baffles me truly how people are so afraid of pleasure. They'd rather sacrifice and deny. And to push back on what you're saying earlier too, like if we did all the way you guys preach of like husband, wife, monogamous marriage and kids. That's how society has been, the past 100+ years. And women were trapped in marriages
for thousands of years.
Women were trapped in marriages. They couldn't get out, and if they got out, they were ruined because their worth and value was solely found in that marriage. They could only provide it. Yes, women didn't have the right to own homes, open credit cards, have bank accounts, buy property. The reason the divorce rate is so high now is more women we are capable to be financially independent.
So this is something I'm super passionate about, because I think there's been a version of maybe fundamentalist Christianity that people have experienced that they felt really hurt by, and so they've kind of lashed out against it and rejected it. And I see this a lot, actually. But the reality is, when I was raised Protestant, went through this kind of semi-agnostic phase, kind of like you went through, and then I ended up Catholic after doing a ton of study and a ton of research and just being convinced by the beauty of it. And it was learning about how men and women are equal dignity, they're equal partners, learning about sex, what God's design is, which is a beautiful one, that it is about pleasure. It absolutely is about pleasure, and pleasure, it's not dirty or shameful, but it's also about procreation and the ability to bring life into the world, and it's designed to be within marriage, where you're in a lifelong public commitment to someone that you're going to give yourself 110% to. And that's how you build a beautiful family of love and respect, and your children are secure in your love that you have with your spouse. And so, I don't know all of your experiences, obviously, and everyone has had different experiences, but the reality is the social data proves that monogamous, lifelong marriages make people happiest, they have the most sex and the best sex, and kids are healthier that way. And so that's why I know you're excited about that vision, Chase, and that's why we want to share that vision, not just because of some fundamentalist thing, but because it actually makes people happier and healthier in the long run.
Yep.
You need to talk to my people then.
We'll continue on that conversation a little bit later. I do have to read a couple super chats, and I need to touch on a couple other points here. So we have, let's see here, did I miss a few? Shit. Okay, I don't think so. All right, we have Jormungandr 100. Are you able to see this? Can you read this?
I would have to lean forward.
Top males are often referred to as alpha, but the term alpha comes from studies of wolves in captivity, not out in the wild, where they are more family-centered guys. If you could replace alphas and betas, what would you call these top guys? Justin Wallers and...
First of all, I think alpha and beta is the most cringy thing to associate yourself with. So I don't particularly identify as either. Hard for me to say.
Was that a question directed towards us?
It's asking the guys, I guess. I mean, I think the whole alpha beta thing's kind of cringe.
Super gay.
Especially if you call it, like, you self-refer.
Dude, there's no planet where I would ever call myself that. I hate it so much.
You got alpha, you got sigmas. You got sigmas that march to the beat of their own drum.
I feel like sigmas think they could be alpha, but there's a real alpha around, so they're like, I'm sigma, fuck that guy. That's just as nerdy.
You got betas, and then this is one I'm trying to bring into the lexicon, bro, the omega males.
Oh yeah?
Right? Yeah.
What's that? What is that?
So the omega male, right? This is you've got Christ, who said he was the alpha and the omega, right? And so you've got alpha males. The omega male, this is the archetype of the man who commands respect, he commands authority, but he also has his sights set on the end, the kingdom that's coming, right? An alpha male who's focused on the kingdom. He's focused on the end.
Service, right? In the end, he's a leader to serve.
Yes,
that's cool.
That's the omega
like
male.
That.
I identify as an omega male.
Chase is an omega male. Okay, very cool, very cool. All right, Mr. Max, thank you for the 100. Chase and Leela, how can we bring back morals in society, our society?
You just gotta live it joyfully yourself. Just be like proud and happy and joyful and live in it. And don't judge people. Ultimately stay the course of what you think's right.
That's a good answer. I would also add,
I've got a better one.
No. To add on to that, how to bring back morals in society. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, right? The morality that she's preaching has been around for thousands of years. Various societies have experimented with polygamy, pansexuality, so on and so forth. I think the best way to bring back morality in society is to be fruitful, right? God provided us the blueprint for success in relationships, in marriage, all these different kind of things. And I don't think a society that's based on that kind of morality is going to stand the test of time, right? But I think if people try to be the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be, raise the best families that they possibly can, raise up those families with good morality, and that dynasty, that lineage goes on to set the legacy in society. I think long term, that's how you bring morality back.
Rock and roll. Hey, Mr. Max, thank you for the big $100 donation.
Shout out
Appreciate
Steve Norman. He coined the omega male term.
By the way, we have about 10,500 people watching right now. So, the chat is
Let's
on
go.
fire. Thank
Let's
you guys.
go.
Oh, it's way too overexposed, Eric. Can you fix this? You hide that.
Just
hide
a
that.
question for Lila. Do you know who funded Alfred Kinsey's research?
I think the Rockefeller Institute.
You know how to do it,
Interesting.
Eric?
Interesting how much of society the Rockefellers have subverted.
A lot of messed up stuff. Yep.
Cool.
Rockefellers also subverted the
Is
American
it all the way
medical
to
system.
0?
You aware of that?
Put it to 0.
Share more.
Yeah, the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller in the beginning of the 20th century discovered that you could make pharmaceuticals from petroleum products, right? So he created this entire...
What are we talking about?
They asked me to expand on how Rockefeller subverted
Wait, who
America.
did?
They did. We can move on if you want.
Yeah, that's okay. We have Mario Garcia. Thank you for the 100. Chase is a Chad. Can you get a Deus Volt in chat? You guys are so focused on your passions, but they will always flee you. The religious person, however, in denying his passion, has the passion for eternal life. He who drinks from his well will never thirst.
Amen.
It's all about
Mario
directing the
Garcia,
passions.
thank you. And he
Amen.
wanted a Deus Volt in the chat.
Yeah, let's get
want.
if we have Christ respecters in the chat, let's get some Deus Volts in all caps.
All right. We have Doc Venablis, hide that. Clergy are at high risk for sex addiction. Pastor stripper situation is predictable and common. Unfortunately, you won't get help until you hit rock bottom. I pray for your children, whether you like it or not. Doc Venablis, thank you for the 100. Do you have a response to Doc?
Thanks for the prayers.
Okay, the prayers have been heard. Okay, and then we have Eric. Pull up the Twitch, please. We've got to shout out the Twitch homies. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Oh, sorry. Twitch.tv/whatever mods. If you could spam it in the chat, go check it out. Drop us a follow. Drop us a Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch. Quick, free, easy way every single month to support the show. Woody's, thank you for the Prime. Neptune, thank you for the Prime. AO Non, thank you for the Prime. Pat T, thank you for the Prime. Steph, thank you for the follow. Undefeated, thank you for the follow. Thank you guys. Twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow in the Prime sub. Okay, cool. And then we have a couple super chats here I want to just read really quick. Just a reminder, guys. What are the triggers? And whatever, I'll get it later. Okay, we have Dustin Bond with the big $200 super chat, man. This panel popcorn. Hey, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate the super chat. All right, that was a attempt at a slow clap start there. Okay, we have you seen, what's that movie? Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah,
Where
not
they're, like,
another team.
Where the guy tries to get like one of those group slow chats going. Okay, whatever. Matthew Self, thank you for the $100 super chat. The moment you have to say as a something inside the conversation, it means way less to the consumer of the idea. Chase, do you have a response to this?
Was that directed at me?
I assume because I think you said as a Christian.
Whatever. I don't care.
Okay. Matthew, thank you for the $100 super chat. Much appreciated, friend. Okay, so, and then we have a question here from Stifler. Asked everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. So we'll go around the table on this one. What do you rate your looks on a scale of 1 to 10? Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Maybe a 7.
I'd give myself an 8.
I got so yelled at last time, but a 4 or 5.
No.
You're higher than that.
You're much higher than that.
No, but that's why everyone yelled at me, because they were saying I was fishing, but that's just my own view of myself.
Oh, sometimes we're our own worst critics.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. So
It's usually 4 or 5. I would say 7.
I think I'm like funny, so I think it like boosts me to like a fucking. I think I'm like a 9 because I'm funny.
But it's looks.
Are we doing
just
looks alone?
Oh,
Just
just
looks.
alone? Like with makeup or no makeup?
How about both if you want?
Okay, so like when I wake up in the morning, no makeup, I think I'm like an 8, and then like when I do my makeup, I think like a 9.
But I thought you were funny. So with the funny, you were a 10?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Total package.
There you go.
I think you guys are all giving yourselves too low. That's my opinion. And to my husband, I'm a 10, and that's what matters to me.
But
okay.
But to you.
To me,
Self-assessment?
I mean, because I think his love for me just gives me extra joy, I would say, yeah, I see myself as a 10 when I'm with him.
Hell yeah, we're both 10s.
So, yeah.
Solid. 7.5, 8 on a good day.
Justin?
Oh, guys are doing this.
Yeah, we're doing it too, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I've never thought about this. I'm just going to have to be a 10 then.
Okay. All right. Okay. Kaiser Wilhelm III back there, what?
10.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck
Good
yeah.
times. Good times.
What about you?
I give myself 6.
Really?
That's
Wait, have you relegated yourself from
Just a
6.9?
Well, 6.9 on a good day.
Okay.
6.9 on a good day. 6, you know.
I think after seeing the
69.
beard on your Instagram, like you should definitely give yourself a little bit of a higher number. Most guys
Yeah,
can't.
I like
can't
the
grow
long
a beard like that. You
I
know?
like the long beard, actually.
Well, you know.
I just feel like there's always room for improvement.
We're giving you a 7.
You know?
No, we're giving you an 8. So you're an 8. Say 8.
Say
You went
it.
from 7 to 8. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm a 6. Okay, so I have a couple questions just to bring it back really quick to Justin. In terms of kind of your relationships with women, is it closed? It's closed on their end, right?
Yeah.
Like, you may have a couple girls here and there, maybe more than a couple, but they are exclusive to you. Is that correct? Just into the mic, if you.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
What would you tell one of them if they wanted to be with other guys?
It was nice to know you. It's not a problem. Yeah. Look, man, I'm not forceful at all. Like, this is a choice thing. If a woman sees it as a valuable thing, then so be it. And I honestly, I think the way the conversation's going, it's like I have like 80 wives or some shit. You know what I'm saying? No, if they want to go, they can go, man. No problem.
Do you
That was what I expected.
Yeah, you should always be calm and respectful. You never. I don't believe in raising your voice and getting angry, anything like that. You know.
I have a
Let 'em
question.
roll.
Do you think marriage should be public?
What do you mean?
Do you think that when you commit your life to someone and you're going to build a family with them, do you think that should be done in community, so public?
I think that's up to the people that do it. I don't think there's a right way to do it at all. So that's up to you.
So you think, like, for children, they don't have the right to know whether or not their parents are married and be able to feel that when they go out into society and share
Yeah,
that?
I think that if your kids ask, you should tell them the truth 100%. There's no lie or nothing I would ever keep from a child of mine.
Meaning the truth about, no, we're not married. I have other people I'm sleeping with.
Whatever they ask me, I would answer. Yeah.
I think as somebody that was raised by a single mom, like those things, they don't matter as much to your child as you think that they may. I mean, it did have an effect on my relationships growing up, but it's also something like you can learn from that experience through your parents, you know? Like you can, as long as you have open communication with your child, and I don't have any children, but I have younger siblings, and I'm openly communicative with all of my family members.
I think what's most important when it comes to kids is their love in the house. Do they see love between their parents? Not are they living the way of making people that go to church happy? It's a very downward deflecting question you're asking me, and I understand why you're doing it. However, I'll put love first in front of marriage every day of the week, because people get married in America every weekend, putting the marriage and the Facebook pictures before the actual love. So I'll take the love over all the bullshit.
I think that's probably true. There's a lot of...
It's definitely true.
There's a lot of hypocrisy out there, for sure.
There's a lot of
especially on social
hypocrisy in
media and all
Christianity
that.
as well.
Yeah.
Like Bible thumping people that want to beat you up with their views and ask silly questions about things that don't matter. Like, is your kid going to be upset that you have other women? All I'm worried about is being a good fucking father and a provider and giving them a life full of love. And if I can do that, I've been quite successful. In fact, I'd say more successful than most Christians.
So my understanding of
Shots
love...
fired.
My understanding of love is that it is totally wanting the best for the other person, and that it's committed, and that it's sacrificial, and that it's exclusive, it's faithful. And fidelity, I think, is a really important part of love. And if you don't have fidelity in love, then you don't have the security and the opportunity for full vulnerability.
Can I throw a hypothetical at you?
Yeah, please do.
And this is a hypothetical, please don't get offended, but if your husband were to do something that was not okay with you whatsoever, to the point where you did not any longer want to be with him, whether that's cheating or something else that's just a no for you, would you leave
She
them?
would stay.
Would you leave them to just please your children and to keep your family together? Is that like you're willing to risk your own happiness and well-being, or even safety, if it was something that was that extreme?
Are you talking about abuse?
I'm using a hypothetical.
Okay.
Whatever it is that would be like a straight, like, I need to leave this person. Would you stay with them just for the convenience and also the toxicity that it could bring into your household, inflicting your children, you know?
So my position is and it's the position of the Catholic Church as well, which is that if you're in a situation in a marriage that's abusive, right, it's causing harm to you or your children, then you definitely should create separation. You should leave. You can actually get a legal divorce if you need to separate your assets. But the position of the church and my belief is that marriage is forever, until death do us part. Until death do us part. So you can marry someone and they become a screwball. You know, they totally mess up. They do bad things, and you should separate yourself from them for your protection or your kids' protection. But you then don't go on and just remarry and try to live another life. Now, there's something in the case if you were lied to. So there's something called annulment, which some people say, oh, that's Catholic divorce. It's actually not. Annulment is when it's as if the marriage never happened because people were lying typically when they go into the marriage. So like typically abusers don't just start abusing after marriage, they're abusing before marriage too, or they're lying. So if they're lying to you in a serious way and you go into a marriage, you weren't able to freely choose that marriage. And so afterwards you can request an annulment from the church and be like, hey, I don't think I was even married because I didn't freely choose this. I didn't know this guy was a liar and, you know, addicted to pornography and abuse and all these things. And so in that case you could nullify the marriage and then be free to actually get married.
I want to say something just to be completely fair to you. I think what you have in your marriage is absolutely beautiful. No problem with it at all. I think that if you two are happy and like living together in the Lord and like you see a future that goes past this life to heaven, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. No issue at all. Well, and you should be commended for doing it, you know, properly.
Well, but
not properly in regards to your religion. I don't mean to cut you off, but properly in regards to like what you are setting out to do with him. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Well, we're definitely imperfect people figuring it out, right? And that's what part of marriage is becoming better together, you know, in that total commitment to each other. But the thing is, like, I'm passionate about not just wanting it for myself, right? Like, I'm very grateful to be married. It has rooted my life. It has anchored my life. It has changed my life. But I don't want to just keep that to myself and be like, oh, this is just my personal thing over here. I want other people to have the opportunity for that too.
What do you think it takes for women to get in a position to find a husband that will commit to them fully and give their life to them? What do you think that takes?
Well, I think the first step is working on yourself and your own development as a woman, becoming the best that you can be, and then having good standards for the man that you're going to be with. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I would not ever date a guy who I thought would be unfaithful to me. Not even date him. Never. If I found out my person I was dating is sleeping with other women or sleeping with anyone, honestly, because we didn't have sex before marriage, I'd be like, no, I'm not interested in that.
But I ask you what you think a woman needs to do.
I think the woman needs to become the best she can be. She needs to grow psychologically, be healthy. If she needs to heal from trauma from her childhood, a lot of us have baggage. I had baggage. Go get the therapy that you need. Really understand.
Do you not believe that therapy is in the church and Christianity?
Do I not believe what?
Do you not believe it's everything that you need is at church? You can't just find that in the Word?
Well, the beauty of Catholicism is it's very much focused on the whole person, right? So it's not like we're just spiritual beings, right? We're also bodies with desires, with traumas, with experiences. And so the psychological world and, you know, psychological health is an important part of bodily health. And it connects to your spiritual health. So therapy is great. You know, obviously we totally promote therapy for those that need it. Mental health is really important. So just because you're doing the right thing spiritually doesn't mean you're necessarily mentally healthy. You may need to get mental health support too. I think this is actually something a lot of people who are really spiritual fall into. They think, oh, if I'm just pray enough, I can make my depression go away, right? And yes, sometimes God does just heal depression like that, but a lot of the time God uses natural means like a good therapist, you know, a good psychiatrist to help somebody through that.
Or a good threesome.
Oh.
Haram.
I would say that that's going to decline someone's mental health in the end, would be my
for some people, but that's again like it's so unique to the person. And I think so you're talking about like spiritual, you're talking about bodily, mental, we're also sexual, and I think
absolutely are.
That's the part, and like we have to find a way to healthfully channel that desire. And for you that's through monogamous marriage, for me that's through non-monogamy, and trusting like what is right for me is right for me, and what is right for you. And back to your question too about, you know, what if all society was like you? But it's not. It's a spectrum. We have people all the way on the one extreme of monogamy. We have other people on the other extreme to polyamory. And like we're all somewhere across there. And I think there's beauty in all of it, depending on who you are and what's good for you. And so I don't think it has to be one or the other.
But Nick, you're 3 years in, right? You're 3 years in living this way. So look at 90 years. Look at 80 years. I don't know how long.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I don't know how old you want to live to.
$200.69. Madison and Giselle, is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's move things along a little bit here. Kaiser Wilhelm the Third, you got anything?
It's okay.
Yeah, Chase, do you want to pull up a little bit more to the table?
It's super hard.
Not particularly. It's not comfortable.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm sitting sideways.
You guys are good. You guys are good.
Kaiser Wilhelm the Third, do you have anything to say? Okay, I guess not. Giselle, what's up?
Oh, I mean, I've mainly just been listening. I'm not too into religion, but I really am into love and monogamy. And I think it's very special because I think all of us could have sex all the time if we wanted to. Yeah. And I think that's what makes having sex with a special person so special. Mm-hmm. And that's just my viewpoint on it, but I understand that we all find happiness through different ways or through different means. But I guess this is just how I choose to live my life.
I commend you for having that point of view. I really do.
Thank you.
I have a question. Do you think that like your hypersexual like has come from, and I don't want to like pry, but like trauma from like maybe getting like molested or raped, like as
Bro,
a
what the fuck?
Not at all. That's a common question that most OnlyFans models get.
Yeah.
It's like you have childhood trauma, and like that's how afraid of pleasure we are. That's how afraid we are of women who know what they want and let themselves have it. We have to couch it in terms of she was probably traumatized as a child. What if she's just a powerful woman who knows what she wants? Like we don't know what to do with a woman like that, so we have to couch her in terms of something had to have happened to her. But when
no, it was just a question.
No, I'm just saying this is common in the OnlyFans world. But when you see a man with a strong sexual desire sleeping with a bunch of women, it's like they're looked up to.
Well, a lot of times they
admired.
call it the ego. They say it's his ego that needs it. When
right.
Truly, he just wants to have sex.
Yeah, it's like it's not.
Okay.
It's
well,
so
maybe
simple.
some guys, because they're the ones that
any-
brag about. Dude, I will never brag about women I sleep with ever. I
Exactly.
think
Like, that's so
that's in the
cringe.
Chad and the alpha male category.
Yeah,
It's
that's
cringy.
super cringy.
Yeah, so
I agree.
I think those things are misconstrued sometimes though, because I think some men just like literally have that kind of drive in them, like physically like coming out of them. It tortures them. I tell people all the time, if I could stroke a check for $1 million right now and it clear and that feeling never come to me again, I would write the check.
Okay.
1,000%.
I think that your drive, whether it's your sexual drive or your drive for whatever you're aiming at, right? Wealth or friendship, you're lonely, whatever it is, it's powerful, right? And it can be channeled. And so, to what you were saying earlier, Justin, is like you can channel these things towards the end that you choose. And so I think the big question is, what is the end that we're going to choose that when we're 80 years old or 90 years old on our deathbed, we're like, are we going to be surrounded by that lifelong partner, that spouse that we were faithful to our whole life, and our kids who grew up in that intact home? Or are we going to be alone, or are we going to be, what kind of life are we aiming towards?
A polyamorous woman would not be alone at her funeral. I'm gonna let you know that right now. She's gonna have hella hoes.
But that's what they'd have you believe.
Let's be
right?
real. Like,
I'm just making a joke.
You guys, like, let's be real. How long is this merry-go-round gonna last, right?
In my opinion, I think. Oh, go ahead, Kirsten.
As women too, we are also more wired to have an emotional connection
to sex.
I can still have a high sex drive, but have sex with one person. If you start having sex with so many people, and don't get me wrong, I'm an OnlyFans model too, so I don't give a fuck about that. But like when you're having sex with so many people, that as a woman there is no more emotional connection, that clearly is some kind of issue.
Well, one thing I can say as a man is I know for a fact that a man can love a woman and sleep with other women and not be in love with those other women.
Men and women are also wired,
completely
very
different. And I agree with you. And that's
I
and
cannot
that's
have sex
that's
without
why it's a
having
problem for me.
connection.
That's why it's a problem for me. So if I love a girl, there's no having sex with other guys because if she loves me, she doesn't even see other men.
Yeah.
Other men are invisible. If you're in love with a man, other men are invisible, and that's no disrespect to you. I'm just saying.
And that's
it's
assuming
been my
that all
experience.
women have to have an emotional connection to have sex. That's not true.
And in that same sense, I feel as if like, her and I, we see a little bit eye to eye on certain things, but I see eye to eye with a lot of different people here because I'm able to see different perspectives. But I do want to point out the fact that she was in a marriage for, you said, 12 years. Of course, when she becomes single, she's going to want to experiment and see what's going on outside of that. I'm 21 years old. I wasn't in a marriage, but I was in a very toxic, bad relationship for 5 years. When I got out of that, I wanted to just see what could happen for me.
Maybe it wasn't even
but
that it was toxic. It was just a long time.
Forever. That doesn't mean that it's going to be this way forever. That doesn't mean that I can't meet the right person and put all my intentions into just one person. That doesn't mean I'm incapable of commitment. It just means that I'm 21 years old. I'd rather focus on myself, focus on what is best for me in this moment and not focus all my attention onto a man or woman or
Yeah,
anything
and
else.
Rollo calls that the party years in his book. So it's right in line with where you are age-wise. I would argue, though, that you're not head over heels in love with your partner. You know, not like obsessed, you know, that kind of love I'm talking about.
Just one sec while this comes in.
Shooting shots, love you, man. You are saving men. Get out there and make money and be better men.
Thomas, thank you for the donation.
Thanks, Thomas.
Did you want to continue your point?
No.
Okay.
I do want to know the answers to the question, though. How long do you think this merry-go-round is going to last? Like,
As long as the merry-go-round of monogamy lasts. It's
What?
how people are wired. When people who are wired for monogamy are going to be monogamous, people who are wired to be non-monogamous are going to be non-monogamous.
But,
I
no,
push
but
back a little bit
the root of my question is, like, right now it's fun because, like, there's a lot of people that want to have sex with you and, like, you're enjoying that companionship and all that kind of stuff. But, like, what about when you're in your 50s and 60s and, like, 70s and all the
bring 'em
people
all on.
people that want to bang you now who don't want to commit to you, like, they're probably not going to be around.
Please don't commit to me. I'm not open for that.
But, like, don't you want that companionship when
I
you're
have
older?
it.
With who?
With my person I'm dating, my partner.
So you think they're going to be around when you're in your 70s and stuff?
Yeah, and if not, that's okay too. I don't put pressure because this is a big thing coming out of monogamous marriage where we vowed to be with each other until death do us part, and then we parted long before death, and it was really traumatizing because I'm like, wait, we said this, but we're doing this. So I've told anyone I date now and my person right now, like, I don't even want you to say that to me. That is actually really alarming to me, that because I don't know what you're going to be 30 years from now. I don't know who I'm going to be 30 years from now. And what if we could become totally different people? I am not going to hold you to a promise you made 30 years back. I'd much rather, instead of saying to me, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, I'd rather say, I am so excited to wake up with you tomorrow morning. I want to take it one day at a time, make sure we're on the same page, we're in alignment, we are vibing, things are amazing. But if we start veering in different directions, it is not my job to rein you back in and force you back. Kind of like what Justin is saying, like, you're free to leave. Like, I don't control you. You're your own person. I'm free to leave. And if I desire a long-term companionship, I believe I can have that. If I desire to have many partners over the rest of my life, I believe I can have that. I truly believe we get to have the desires of our heart.
I think the human condition is that things aren't always amazing, right? We have bad days, we get sick, terrible accidents can happen. And so that's where the power of love comes in, a love that doesn't leave, a love that isn't based on feelings or desire, but a love that's based on choice. And I think deep down, we're all wired for that. Even men that like you were saying, Justin, like, I want to be with multiple women and everything. I think deep down, we want a love that stays, a love that lasts. And it is possible for everyone, every single person at this table. I guarantee you 1,000% it is possible for you.
Not for asexual people.
Yeah, but I would
or
argue that,
aromantic
like, who are you to tell me that I'm not going to be happy because I don't choose your path?
Yes.
I don't think I said that.
Pretty much, you reframed it in that way. So who are you to say that?
I will
Or
say,
do you think I'm going to be less happy than you?
I think that if you live your life, and you said you're not sharing whether or not you're doing this, so we're all talking in hypothetical, so I don't know exactly how you're living, right? You didn't share that. But if hypothetically you live your life where you are starting multiple families with multiple women.
What if I have one family and 50 girlfriends?
I think in the end it will bring great unhappiness to
Okay.
your family, to your children, to the mother of your children,
Okay,
and to
cool.
you.
Okay, cool. Just want to clarify what you're saying.
So kind of related to this, let's speak a little bit on marriage really quick. So I agree with you, Justin. I think marriage is an L, especially for men. I mean, you're an incredibly successful guy, and I think you previously stated, hey, look, I didn't get to my position in life to marry someone and it be a liability where she could potentially
change your
half my
mind.
shit.
Yeah,
And
no fucking way.
so
man.
I agree with you there, and especially, I mean, with stats as they are, I think it's something like 80% of marriages end in divorce. Or sorry, excuse me, 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of those are initiated by women. So men are disproportionately impacted by the negative. Well, it's almost entirely negative outcomes of divorce. So but Chase, I know we've kind of had a back and forth on the whole marriage thing, and I think kind of my point is that you could have a long-term, even life partner with someone and not get married to them. And I mean, I think the two things I'd point to recently, granted this one isn't as strong of a case as I previously thought, but you look at, for example, what happened with Steven Crowder. Now there's been some videos that came out and that don't exactly paint him in the most flattering light, but you know, Steven
It makes it easy to understand why his wife would leave.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's a 3-minute clip of an otherwise multi-year long marriage. People have bad days. He doesn't look good. Granted, he does not look good in that moment, but you look at the context of his marriage. They were both virgins, both religious. Even they got divorced. We have you. You're a
Brian, I gotta say something.
Hold on. You're ex-pastor. I imagine you were quite pious when you were a pastor. You were you got married, I assume, to a pious man. Were you when you got married? Were you both virgins? I don't know if that's too prying, but
No, we were not.
But you were both deeply religious.
Yes.
And so I look at that, and I look even at a deeply religious person where, there's people who are agnostic or who are secular who get married, and it would occur to me that people that are religious have even like at least logically you would think, well, there's the religious component to marriage, so those are potentially stronger. But you look at, and I looked at the data. I think religious people edge out secular people a little more in terms of staying together, but it still ain't looking great, even for people who are religious.
Brian, the data on people who are actually attending church and they take the religion seriously, they don't just call themselves Christian. There's a big difference in those data sets versus the people that actually take it seriously, right? And to call her marriage pious or to call Crowder's marriage pious is not actually fair to people that are truly honoring what the Word of God tells us to do. For example, no offense, but female pastor, not living in alignment with the Word of God, right? Paul was clear. We're not supposed to have female pastors. Okay, so that's not an example of piety. Stephen Crowder, right? The way that he was speaking to his wife, look, it's one moment in time. It's 3 minutes. It's there's no way to extrapolate that out to the rest of their lives with certainty. But if those 3 minutes were a representation of the rest of the way that he was approaching his marriage, it's like, that's not how we're called to treat our wives when we're serious about our walk with Christ. Like he was speaking to her in a very aggressive and like, I don't know, man, like she was just asking to like use the car and go get groceries and stuff, and the way he was speaking to her was so like condescending and rude, and he was treating her like shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I watched that clip and I'm like, I'm not surprised she wanted to leave him. If I was a woman and I had been with a guy like that for years and he had been treating me like that for years, I'd be like, yeah, I probably want to get out of this marriage, right? It's like it's verbal abuse, but there's a difference between that versus somebody who is actually striving to live by the tenets of the Word of God, and who is loving their wife as he loves himself, and who is sacrificing for her, and who treats her like gently and with compassion. And if the wife is doing the same to her husband, and she's submitting to her husband, and she's loving him effectively, and she follows his leadership, and he is a good leader, you're going to have totally different marital outcomes with couples like that, right?
Well, and it's really interesting because when they do studies about sexual satisfaction for women, they find that women who are married in monogamous, faithful marriages, and they are going to church regularly, like weekly, share that they have the highest sexual satisfaction.
And super low divorce rates.
That is so
super
made
low
up.
Divorce rates.
There's so much data out there that women get more orgasms and more pleasure from women than they do to men.
But that's because that man is probably not a good lover to them. That's
the majority of the situation.
But that's
so
because the man needs to learn to see. That's the beauty of a lifelong marriage. It's like you learn to love each other, not just like in doing chores for each other or doing fun things together, but in how you have sex. You learn to really love each other.
Like, so what do you do if one partner? What do you do if one partner has a high libido and one partner has a low libido?
Well, you work through that.
So one has to starve sexually, and one feels guilty for not.
Sacrifice.
Are you speaking to, like, was that the case in your marriage?
No, but I just know examples where men, like either gender, one gender's like, I have no drive, so I can't.
Well, if a guy, I'll answer that. If a guy has no drive and the woman has a high drive, he should go get his testosterone levels checked, right? Because a guy who's healthy, he's gonna want sex, But if he has no sexual drive,
or he's super stressed out, or he's not eating well, he's not sleeping.
Or even vice versa. Like if the woman isn't having the same sex drive, like that's, I don't know. I mean,
I think what it comes down to,
then is there something wrong with the woman?
I think what it comes down
to,
as
emotionally into the relationship if she's not doesn't have that high sex drive, because when with my ex, he had a really high sex drive and I really don't care for sex, but with him I was down to do whatever
because you loved him
every single day, however many times.
And that's the design of monogamous love and marriage, is that you learn to love each other. And this idea of like sexual incompatibility, I think, is a total myth. I think it's a lie, and people people believe it, and so they have sex before marriage. But people who have sex before marriage and sleep together or cohabitate actually have worse outcomes once married. They're more likely to divorce. Not a lot of people know that. That's what the social data says. But that's because when you're in it for life and you're in it to really love this person, be committed and learn them and do whatever you can for them, you learn pleasure with them. You learn how to love not just sex with them, but your entire life with them, and you work at it together.
I think it's because when you're like monogamous, like when you're with someone longer, like just them, you learn to communicate like what you like and dislike in the bedroom, like
So
your
what
pleasures.
do I say if I like non-monogamy?
No, I'm saying like.
You know what I mean?
No, but like I'm saying
like
like when you're with.
It's like I love you and I want group sex.
Well, I think if
Let's
you
talk
want
that through.
if you want to cheat on somebody and you're married to them, I think you make the decision not to.
Yeah, and that's where I have different beliefs from religion, which is about sacrifice. I believe in honoring desires, and like again,
do
not
too.
saying
I think
go out on a whim and just do whatever, but I think that actually is true love. Can you love me in my fullness? And in my fullness, I'm non-monogamous. In my fullness, I want to have sex with other people. In my fullness, I'm very sexual. If that's too much for you, I can't be with you, and I bless and release you.
See, I think you're making an identity out of your desires, but your identity is not just what you desire.
You're making your identity out of your desires. Just because mine are sexual, you're making that about me, but you make an identity out of your desires for monogamy, for marriage, for procreation. That's your identity. We all make our identities around our desires. It's not just for sexually weak people.
I think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. The question is, what desire? Will you be defined by your sexual impulse and urge, or will you be defined by something much bigger,
or
transcendental like love?
Or is your identity based on controlling your desire?
I think
that's actually harmful.
It's about channeling it.
Make sure that you don't let him take advantage of your compassion towards him.
I'd add one quick thing is find a good mentor, like a man that you can respect and that is living a faithful, fruitful life, and try to learn from that man. And there are good men out there, even when we're hurt by bad ones.
Yeah, I didn't meet him until I was like 12, and he was never a father to me either. And so I'm so sorry you lent like all your savings to your dad for that. And I hope you find a guy that can be a father figure in your life. That's super sad.
Have you guys been reading the super chats, or was it just that one popped up?
That was the first one that we read.
Okay, cool. We'll do a couple super chats right now. We have Sausage Jimp 101. Go ahead, Giselle, if you want to read this.
Let Giselle know the silly crew's watching on Discord. We love her. And can we get a meow from everyone on the panel?
I'm not doing that shit, but if Giselle, if you want to meow.
That sounded exactly like a cat.
I love cats.
I'm not meow.
Anybody else want
I'll meow. Okay.
Okay,
ready?
let's hear it.
Okay. Meow.
I give that a D-.
It was like a very lackluster
mediocre.
meow.
Yeah.
On purpose.
You gotta fully commit.
Pastor,
Okay,
are we gonna get?
Meow.
Wait.
I'll give it a C. C minus.
Justin.
No.
No go. No way.
No go.
Can we get a rough? Can we get a bark?
Just do it!
Shia LaBeouf.
Can we get a bark?
Okay.
Yeah, for Alpha Dog. Woof.
Hold on, send
I know, that's why I said it was a joke.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just asked Justin Waller to meow. Okay, I apologize. All right, we have Hearn with the 100. Go ahead, Giselle.
Chase is right. All pharmaceuticals derive from things that ultimately occur in nature. But you can't be patent, aka make money if people know they can get it from there. Nature, hence why farm companies chemically remake or structure drugs so they can patent them to profit.
You read so much quicker on your live stream, by the way.
Because it's closer to her, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
I'm
That's
a little
fair.
blind.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Big Pharma is profiting off the sickness of mankind.
Can I say something? Because my brother is a raw vegan. I was a raw vegan for about a year, and it can cure cancer, dead ass. Like going raw vegan can literally cure cancer. Like Big Pharma profits off of chemotherapy. They want people to stay sick because chemo is not curing cancer. It's just killing all your cells in the hopes that the cancer doesn't come back, but the remission rate is like very low. So like I'm very passionate about like how Big Pharma is just trying to give kids meds. Like kids don't need to be taking Adderall. That's like prescription meth.
While we're on that topic, do you want to talk about any Turkish border disputes? Huh? What?
What do you mean?
Azerbaijan. Okay, all right. Never mind. Okay. Rodrigo Lares, thank you for the $100 super chat. Go ahead. Giselle.
Oh,
Wait, we already
we
did
did
this one. My bad, my
yeah.
bad. All right, we have some over here. We have, oops, hold on. Hold on. It's about to trigger. One sec, guys. Push Hut 50, thank you for the 120, man. Thank you so much. 6'8 Deer Slayer here again. Justin and Chase are both good role models, similar messages, but different paths, both focused on self-improvement. Men need to stick together and support each other, work hard, and lift us all up.
Amen.
Thank you. Oh, whoa. Thank you, Bad ZXC. Thank you, man.
Donated $200. The more I listen to this old 304, I am genuinely convinced that you are mentally not well. There is no shock to your morality and decency. I feel super bad for your kids, and why don't broach the subject of a three-way with dude and your BF and see the tone shift?
I'm not
Do
sure.
you have a
that-
response to bads_EXE?
I'm not sure what your last sentence means, but that's okay. You can feel bad for my kids. That doesn't bother me in the least.
Okay, and then we have, let's see, we have Slow Joe. Oh, that one, did that one already trigger as a TTS? Yeah, we did that one. Shooting shots. Okay, we have Frankie K here. Thank you for the $100 soup chat, man. I think it's about to cut. Oh, wait, this one's
Leave Big
Suk
Pharma
Madeek.
alone. Biotech stocks are my bread and butter right now. Yo, Big Pharma.
Suk
they
Madeek.
suck, dude.
Thank
Profiting
you,
off of the
Suk
sickness of
Madeek, for
mankind.
the 100. Suk Madeek, very, very much appreciated, Suk Madeek. All right, we have Frankie K. To the pegging enthusiast, you left your husband, kids, and religion because your ex couldn't lay down pipe to your liking. If getting laid is the most important thing in the world to you, what are you going to do with yourself when no one wants you anymore?
I will always want me, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
Wait, I thought she was the... Oh, no, you're the pegging enthusiast.
I love it. I mean,
You
maybe there's another pegging enthusiast.
I just had a bad experience.
Yeah, that's right. That's
What
right.
is calling myself an enthusiast?
She got that pagan trauma.
Pegging trauma. All right, let me see. And then we have...
PPTSD.
Yeah.
Post-pegging traumatic stress disorder.
There we go. And then we have Liam LA. Go ahead, Giselle.
Chase and the girl in the white shirt. Where in the Bible does it say that having multiple wives are bad? Can you give a specific example? Also, David and Solomon differ?
You want to take this one?
Well, Jesus himself says that we allowed you to divorce and that was wrong, and marriage is between one man and one woman.
Says the man that never got married.
Wait, what?
That's true.
Oh, Jesus?
Oh, Jesus?
That's true.
Yeah, he was also the Son of God and the ultimate authority on mankind. So, also in Genesis, it says the same, right? After God creates Adam and Eve, he says, this is why, how does it go? This is why a man leaves his parents, or a man and a
cleave
woman.
to his wife.
Yeah, and the two become one.
One flesh. Mm-hmm.
So
the polygamy thing was actually not God's original design, but people did it because they have free will, right? People can choose to do things like that, and in the end, it wasn't God's original.
Who did
design.
Adam and
also
Eve's
add
kids
to-
have sex with?
I will also, hold on. I will also add to one of the God told the Israelites not to accumulate three things: wealth, chariots, and wives, because he said that the three things would, to collect those three things would turn their hearts from God.
Chariots?
Yeah.
So like cars and shit?
Basically growing their armies, right?
Oh,
So
I
if-
thought chariots are like cars, but like olden cars, like with wooden wheels
ancient,
and shit.
ancient whips, bro. So if the Israelites
How many
collected,
cars does Andrew take?
I'm gonna keep buying Lambos.
yeah, the point was he was telling the kings, don't put your faith in your armies rather than me, right? And he was also telling them, don't collect multiple wives because they'll turn your hearts from me. And you look at the kings that did that, Solomon being the best example, it turned his heart from the Lord.
On the topic of chariots, Justin, how many chariots do you have?
I own quite a few chariots.
You said you had a Lambo?
No, I actually just gave myself permission after I bought my last big property to buy a Lambo. So I'm going to pull the G Wagon back to Louisiana with the King Ranch and put a Lambo in Miami.
Let's go.
Justin, what's
not sorry.
Yes.
Not sorry about anything. What's up?
What's your favorite whip?
My favorite vehicle that I have is my G Wagon because it's 1 of 200. It's special edition. It's just it's nasty, bro.
What color is it?
It's great. I'll show it to you.
Did you what's special about it? Did you get it like bulletproof or like what's up?
No, man. It was just a special model, 1 of 200 in the world, and I saw it and I fell in love with it. It's just sick, bro. If you've ever wanted to fuck a vehicle, that's this G Wagon.
How's that stereo system in it?
It's good. All is good, bro. I don't know why. Yeah, it's good. For sure.
That's the one place he'll give his whole heart to. that car.
Hell no.
Just playing.
No, I'll just buy another one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just curious. So are you part-time in Dubai, part-time in the South, and then part-time in Florida?
So I have my place in Florida. I have a big house in Louisiana, and my house in Dubai is being built right now. It's 11,000 square foot. I'm super pumped about it. It's gonna have a gym, cinema, private beach, infinity pool, and across from the Tates, so I can wave with my multiple wives or one wife, depending on what day.
Is it on that island or whatever?
No, it's not on the Burj, but they're building it that way. So it's a whole community that is going to mimic the Mediterranean. So we're going to live in the neighborhood Venice, but they're going to have Morocco and all the different, Mediterranean cities in the development. Outdoor movie theaters, coral reefs. It's going to be incredible. I'm really excited about it. It's called the Lagoons. If you look it up.
Oh, the Lagoons. Okay.
Lagoons in Dubai.
Are you going to become a citizen of? Is it the AU?
No, I'll get the golden visa because of the investment in the country, but I have no interest right now in renouncing my citizenship. I'm very patriotic. I believe in America. I think America's a GOAT. I believe that anybody that doesn't love America can get the fuck out.
Let's go.
I'm very, very much for America starting to come together and stop hating each other and writing from within. Yeah. Let's let go of the gender, the race wars, the whole thing. Like, we are the fucking GOAT, and nobody wants to smoke. So if we can fix that internally, we'll stay the greatest. And I'm not coming off of that until they take my gun rights away.
Let's go.
Based.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Chase.
I don't know if you intend to have more kids. If you do, how would you would you intend to shuttle them between your properties?
Yeah, like one of my daughters has been to Dubai multiple times. I fly my kids all over the world. FaceTime and watch them go to sleep at night. Now, I'm a good father. When I'm home, we're playing basketball every night at sunset. I'm making birthday parties. I'm doing all that shit. I'll be the best dad on the planet. I have a lot of free time if I need it, because of the way I work in the career that I've built, and I'm getting paid in my sleep. So I'll be there as much, if not more, than the next guy. And most importantly, in a world where men have gone to war for years and years and years, or I have 200 employees in my construction company that live on the road, I'm going to be a very impactful father. They're not going to forget their moments with me, because they're going to be moments that they'll never forget. And I'm trying to create that kind of magic in my children's lives. And then when they get of age, I'm going to start, teaching them how the world works. Like I said, make them competent enough to create choice in their life. And whatever choice they choose after that is fine with me. They can go whatever route they want. I'll still love them. I'm not here to dictate their life. I'm here to be impactful in it. Whether you can get behind it or not, or whether that's what Jesus wants me to do, I don't know. But there's going to be love for sure.
I got to ask another question. Hypothetically, you have 100 kids, right?
I'm not going to do that, by the way.
Where would you set the max at?
40.
I'm
talking shit. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have plans to, I don't have this big plan for kids. I'm just keeping the amount of kids I have vague. Maybe I have 4, maybe I have 10. I'm just trying to keep it vague.
Question: would you adopt if you wanted?
Hell no, wouldn't adopt. No.
Oh, okay. Damn it! I wanted a trip to Dubai.
My genetics are way too fucking good to adopt. No way.
I think adoption's beautiful.
They're good for you, not me.
Is Dubai really pretty? I've never been.
It's beautiful. It's a society that sustains itself, unlike Southern California. There's no homeless on the street. There's real order. You fuck around. I could leave my watch on the sidewalk. Nobody would pick it up.
I've heard that.
Whether you get behind Dubai or not, you have to respect Dubai. Yeah. And that's something I've lost a lot of respect for is some of these beautiful places like South California. I walked through Santa Monica the other day. You couldn't go one block without somebody screaming F-bombs, homeless. Clean your, and that's what I talk about when I talk about America. We need to clean our shit up. We're placating to less than 1% of the population so we don't hurt people's feelings. But what about the children walking down the street that want to see the pier? What about those moments with family?
We actually cut checks for homeless people here in California. It's one of the things that needs to end. California pays you to be homeless.
But wait, why is Biden giving money to the Ukraine? Why can't he just get all the homeless people off the street?
Because war is profitable, and Democrats like to do that kind of shit and inflate the money. That's why we left weapons in Iraq, Iran. The whole thing is bullshit. I don't want to say too much because I'm not trying to get my channel taken down. Yeah. But don't believe what you see.
I don't.
California has a lot of issues, though. It's really sad because I grew up here and watching it go downhill has been pretty sad.
Coming to you live from Santa Barbara, California, by the way.
Beautiful here, but we don't
California stand. California stand. as it's called. Okay, so I think we have this one here from VD Cars. Thank you for the 100. Giselle, go ahead.
At Liam LA, the Bible describes polygamy. It does not prescribe it.
Okay, VD Cars, thank you.
The
Venereal
Bible actually does an excellent job showing the downsides of polygamy too.
All right.
The what side?
The
The downsides.
downsides.
Okay, we had something here. We got to pull up. Hold on one sec. So, Nicole, you were on Dr. Phil, and in that interview, you said you never felt more holy, sacred, or true after your nude photo shoot.
That is correct.
Holy?
Yes. It's like
I can
literally, I like, as I peeled off my layers, and it was like literally me before God. No hiding, no shame, nothing. And I never felt more alive and connected to who I really am in that moment. And I got in my car afterwards and I bawled because I'm like, I found that this is how I was meant to live. I joke, but it's kind of serious. I was meant to take my clothes off. And my whole life I spent covering up being modest by someone else's prescription for me, when I found that the truest version of me is when there's nothing between me and God.
So you don't believe that God is the God of the Bible then?
No, I don't believe in the Bible anymore. Correct.
So who do you think God is? Like just some impersonal?
I don't know if there is a God. Maybe there is. Maybe there's not. I'm open.
So you're an atheist?
I'd say more agnostic.
Okay, and you also said in that video I saw, you said sex workers are typically the healthiest humans. Does that include the herpes and HPV?
You know, it's interesting that that's a stigma because most people, the common person who's not a sex worker, never gets tested. Versus sex workers get tested every single month or depending how active they are and are the most on top of their STIs. But there's nothing wrong with STIs. STIs are common. If you're a person who's having sex with another person, you're at risk of getting an STI. And so we have to drop the stigma that somehow it means you're gross or icky. It's just like we're all at risk for it. And it's just knowing that all STIs are manageable or curable and just get tested. It's not a problem.
I mean, no offense or anything, but I mean, I think herpes is disgusting.
You might have it. Most people carry herpes and don't even know.
You're talking about the HS1 virus, mouth herpes.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking
both
like
of them.
I'm talking like genital herpes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't
Most
have
people
that.
don't have genital herpes.
They
I
actually
don't
do
have
the
her-
data. Most people do, and because it's asymptomatic majority of the time, and it often gets mistaken for a pimple that people don't realize that they have it.
Herpes breakouts are much more severe.
Yeah,
than
Some can
just
be, but some can
pimples.
be just,
Sure, some people are asymptomatic. However, if you are symptomatic, my understanding and from the literature I've seen and what I've seen online,
It's
especially
mostly
some
a scare tactic.
Some photographs.
It's part of the. I'm in the sex work community. We talk about STIs all the time. We're very educated. Versus the research that's passed around is to scare people like this could happen to you when it's often just a pimple. But people don't talk about that because that doesn't scare people away from sex and into abstinence.
Well, I think you're now on the opposite side of the propaganda because to conflate a herpes outbreak with just a pimple, I think there are people who have like pretty debilitating breakouts where they're in like severe pain. It can cause scarring. I mean,
that might be an extreme case, but again, majority are asymptomatic, never have a flare up. And then for most people outside of that, when you have a single flare up, it is the only time you'll ever have it.
Are we defending herpes? Like, I'm just...
Yeah, I'm trying to
herpes, like-
destigmatize people having STIs because we're making it sound like it's horrific and it's because you're sleeping with all these people. You can get it sleeping with one person and not even know.
Yeah, but if you sleep, sure. I actually knew a girl who the first time she ever had sex was a virgin, hooked up with this guy, she got herpes, right?
Yeah.
Tragic. That's pretty rare though, and I would say the more sexual partners you have, the greater likelihood you are to eventually get an STD.
And that's why you do protection. That's why you get tested. That's why you communicate up front. Do you want to use barriers? If so, what kind? There's all kinds of conversations, but I find people who are not in the sex work industry just sleep around and hope for the best and never get tested.
You said that, but that's not true. I don't sleep around a lot. Like, my body count's not high, but I get tested every time I have sex with anyone. Like,
everyone do that.
And
That's
also,
smart.
just because you're in the sex industry doesn't mean you're automatically going to catch something. I do OnlyFans, and I'm still only sleeping with my boyfriend. So it doesn't mean I'm sleeping around with other people just because I have an OnlyFans or I'm in the sex industry.
It's a common just misconception that if you do adult work, if you do OnlyFans, you sleep with everybody, you're accumulating STIs, but that's not true.
Sure, not necessarily. I mean, and I think sex work is kind of a
Vague term.
It's
Vague.
it's like that's anywhere from like tasteful lingerie to being a street prostitute.
Yeah.
I think it's not a particularly helpful term, and I don't know if lumping these two groups of people really is doing them any favors. But when it comes to, like, for example, STDs, I would say that they have done studies, and my understanding is, like, for example, if you're doing traditional porn, where you're doing a new scene with someone every week, whatever, maybe, I don't know the frequency that's average in the industry, but you are at a much greater risk, even with all the testing that they do, of getting HPV and getting herpes. So, and additionally, you said protection. You can get herpes even if you're wearing a condom.
Then you use dental dams.
Yeah, of course
It's
you can.
that it can be like on your hip, or like herpes breakout can be not on the shaft, or so you can still get herpes. And look, I'm not trying to get herpes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get that shit.
Don't have sex or use protection, and don't do it when someone's active.
Using protection does not preclude you from getting herpes.
So then be abstinent.
or
to
take
make
you away
your
from
choice.
getting ones like syphilis or things like that. Those can be transmitted as simply as me sharing the cup with you. Like, it's saliva. Like, you can kiss somebody and get an STD.
Sure.
It doesn't define you as a bad or doing something wrong or being icky or being gross. And another thing is in schools, all they tell you is sex, big red button. Wear a glove if you're going to press the big red button. Like, how is that going to teach anybody how to actually use protection? It's just telling kids, don't have sex. If you do have sex, wear a condom. And then just sending them out into the world, not giving them enough information at all whatsoever.
I don't know. Like, I think sexually transmitted diseases should kind of be stigmatized. Hot take.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree,
think
Brian.
it's
I've got your
ideal.
back.
It's not
I've
ideal,
got
but
your
it
back,
shouldn't be.
bro.
I don't know.
Add
Like,
to that one.
look,
I
if
don't
you
think it's ideal,
if
but
you have
it's not like you should
I mean,
put
people-
people
okay, hold
down
on,
for
hold on.
something, you know?
If you get an STD that's incurable, you shouldn't be like excommunicated. You shouldn't be excised from society. But like, you have to this idea of not stigmatizing it. I wouldn't like talk shit or be like, oh, look at that fucking herp derper. You know, I wouldn't say any shit like that. However, I don't even know what the terms are. However, like, if a girl disclosed to me that she had herpes, and I think most men would agree,
Yeah.
most men are going to be like,
fuck no.
I don't want to deal with it. And me personally, like, I think dating is hard enough as it is as a guy. Bro, I'm not trying to fucking, like, if I were to get herpes, bro, I'm gonna fucking be, that's an additional handicap. I don't know if any of you play golf. Bro, you're handicapping your shit if you get herpes. I'm just saying, it's hard enough as it is getting chicks. Like,
yeah, I mean, the STI rate
unless you're Justin Waller.
STI rates have just spiked more and more, that people think hookup culture is okay, and, you know, having sex before marriage or having sex with multiple people is okay. So I don't know, it's really sad actually, because we could solve that with deciding not to just have sex with multiple people.
But
I mean,
he just
there
said a
is
woman had
solution
sex
to it.
one time and she got STI. So there's no 100%
had-
full proof that you cannot get an STI.
It's
and again,
possible.
Yeah, but
But you
it's
can
possible.
lower. You can lower
you
the
can get it
possibility.
having sex one time, but again, this goes back to the point that I was making earlier in the conversation. What would happen to society if everybody had the same values
who
that
cares?
you did?
If-
Who cares?
if someone-
I care as a
then don't
member
have
of
sex.
society.
Don't have sex.
I'm
If I wanna have sex with
already
people,
being abstinent, but my point is
Great.
you're advocating for, like, hey, everybody just fuck whoever you want.
I
Don't
didn't
care
say
about
that.
the STIs. Everybody would just
I
get
didn't say that.
everybody would get diseases. Like, that's what you're proposing
I
here
love
essentially.
that you project that. I'm just saying.
You're saying we should
people-
destigmatize it, and
Yeah.
society would run fine if everybody had these beliefs, but it
If
wouldn't.
you let me finish, I can tell you what I would say is that
I've been
people get to
listening.
choose the risk they're willing to take. So if you want no risk, choose abstinence. If you want some risk, you're going to choose some sexual activity. If you're fine with more risk, you're going to expose yourself. Like, there's no one right or wrong when it comes to risk. It's knowing your risk tolerance and making informed decisions. And then if you are sexually active, get tested regularly.
Can
There's
I
nothing
ask
wrong
you
with that.
something?
I mean,
yeah.
Hold on. Go ahead.
So
Let-
happy.
But you're happy with everything you're doing.
Yes. I've never been happier.
So you don't feel like there's nothing wrong.
No, I used to feel like something was wrong before, kind of like what Justin was saying, before I finally honored the fullness of who I am. When I kept trying to be monogamous, when I kept trying to lower my sexual libido, when I kept trying to be who everyone else told me should be as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, I was miserable. When I finally got clear on who do I want to be as a person, as a woman, as a partner, as a mother, my happiness went through the roof.
I think if everybody lived in a way where they were honoring the fullness of who they are, we would have a disease-ridden society.
Well, but I think that
amazing.
fullness of who we are changes depending on our feelings, our experiences, and even our traumas. And so I think that can be very misleading. Like, what does it mean? You mentioned soulful desire versus like a surface desire. And I think that how do you discern between the two? And the reality is our hearts can mislead us.
My heart
Yes,
we
they
can be
can.
misled.
And it's
Yes,
the way you discern
And
is
that's
like
why moral
each
realities
person.
matter.
No,
Because
I think each
if we
person
just
has to
make up all of
discern
our
for themselves.
If we just make up all of our morality all the time, we're inevitably going to hurt other people.
What
and
if
we're gonna
I
hurt
make my
ourselves.
non-monogamy the societal rule? You have to
You
be
have a
non-monogamous.
chaotic and broken society. And a lot of miserable
Civilization
children.
would collapse.
I love it. That's how we feel about monogamy. When you try to force your values on someone else, people will cheat, people
No,
will lie,
let
people
me
feel
just
trapped.
be clear. I don't think Chase would want to force anybody to get married. Absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely
100%. Marriage should be freely chosen. So no one should be forced to be monogamous in that sense. But I do think we have a responsibility, and that involves the choices we make with whether or not we have sex. And that's a choice that we make. We're not doomed to have sex or not. We can choose, no, I'm not going to have sex because I know that there's consequences that can result from that.
Like really good consequences, like
Or
connection,
really- or really bad
or
pleasure,
pregnancy that you're not expecting.
orgasms.
Exactly.
Like there's so much good. We only focus on the bad because we're so afraid of
Pregnancies that
pleasure.
you're not expecting, fatherless
I mean,
homes,
birth
There's-
broken
there are
families.
vasectomy.
There are
There's
2,500
all
babies
kinds of
killed
things.
every day in this country because they were unwanted, because people had sex that weren't ready to be parents with people they didn't want to actually be with.
People
the
have
rest
used
of their lives.
contraception and it's failed. It's not because they
That's
weren't.
the point.
So they have to have
Exactly.
options. To, if they don't want the baby, they do everything in their power to not have to have it. If that's their choice.
But why should children have to die because adults just want to live
They're
out
just
sexual
cells
desires?
before they're born as a baby.
You're just cells right now.
Okay. Cool.
What?
But you have a right to live, and the child has a right to live in the womb.
Sure.
Do you guys want to continue that discussion?
No, it's old. It's done. No.
Well,
I'm happy to.
Not interested.
question for the girls: would any of you date someone who is pro-life?
Yes.
Since we're on the topic.
I guess my question is, what do you mean by pro-life? You mean pro-forced birth? Not interested. If you mean life from womb to the tomb, you care about all degrees. You care about children who are born and have no resources. You care about homeless children. You care about immigrant children. You care about children who don't have protection or provision. Then I'm all about that. But if you only define as
you are
pro-birth,
very good at manipulating language, Nick.
Oh, sure.
You're very, very good at manipulating
That's
language.
what you call it.
But I think
well, that's. I mean, you just did it. Someone asked if you're pro-life or if you would date somebody who's pro-life.
Because pro-life only means pro-forced birth in
okay,
America.
So that's my point. Pro-forced birth.
Because once a kid is born in America, do we provide resources? Do we have universal health care? Do we provide schooling
Nick,
or daycare
please,
for our children?
please,
We don't.
Please hold on
once
for a
they're
second.
born,
Please
they're
hold
on their
on for a
own.
million
second.
couples waiting to adopt right now.
With the
Then adopt
exception,
them.
Children could be
Nick,
adopted.
with the exception
Don't
of
have kids and
with
adopt.
the exception of rape, nobody's forcing somebody to give birth. Okay, when people
that's what these laws
stop,
are.
stop. Please
No,
let me
you don't have
make
to
my
tell me to
point.
stop.
Please let me make my
I
point.
can interject.
Yeah, you can, but it's incredibly rude and disrespectful.
It's okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay with me. As long as you continue doing it, I'm going to tell you to stop. People, when people get raped, then you could call it forced birth. Okay. If people choose to have consensual sex, nobody's forcing the birth of that child. They made the choice to have consensual sex, and
Sex and procreation are
then the
two
birth
different
happens.
things.
What'd you say?
Sex and procreation are two different things.
Right, but when somebody
That's
has
not right,
sex,
actually.
when
Sex
somebody
can bring life into the world.
Exactly, when somebody has sex, they are risking procreation. So the two are obviously intertwined.
By the way, I think the whole framing is so sad. Like I know you're saying that, Chase, because it's like that's the way people think today is, oh, I'm going to have sex and risk procreation. When creating a new human life is so amazing.
Not
and
if you don't have
beautiful.
resources, not if you don't have
beautiful,
money,
but
not if you
Lila,
don't
the
have
thing
support.
is people don't think about the fact that they're risking procreation.
I know.
Which is why we're in the situation we're in.
That's true, but also, what if people chose not to have sex until they were in a relationship publicly with someone they were committed to for life and prepared to have children that might come from that
We'd
sex?
have a lot less
Our
murdered
society
babies,
would
that's
be
for
I wouldn't
sure.
have a
amazing. It would
job.
be much.
I would not
much
have a
different.
job. I would not have a job.
You're a talented woman. You would find another job for
Oh,
sure.
I have many different forms of revenue, but I would not have my favorite one.
Yes.
I think you're better than the job that your favorite job.
I mean, I don't think that there's a sense of, oh, I'm better or worse if I do or don't do what I'm comfortable doing with my own body.
Yes.
I just think you deserve more than men.
I
looking
think
at you on
that
the
I
internet.
deserve the world, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it. And
There we
if
go.
that means that as a woman that is independent and on her own since 17 years old, and that's what I want to do, then that's what I'm going to do.
I have a question for both of you guys. For Elle and Kirsten. Kirsten. How long do you guys plan on doing OnlyFans for?
I personally want to do it until I do decide to kind of settle down, have a family and stuff like that, just because I do see the target it's going to put on children's backs. I had an old management who, she was huge in the porn industry, and her kids and everybody knew that she was in the porn industry, and her kids were severely bullied for that. And I think at that point, it's like, I love the fast money that it is now, but I don't want to do this my entire life.
Do you want to marry your boyfriend that you do OnlyFans with? So, to my knowledge, you just do it with your boyfriend, right?
Correct.
And you make sex videos?
Correct.
If you don't mind me asking, I don't know how it works.
No.
Okay, so you guys don't like show your face or anything. You just do.
It depends on the video. I figured
okay.
I decided to go all in.
Okay.
I wasn't fully explicit until about a year into it when I was with my boyfriend, and I just decided, you know what, I'm already doing this. I'm already being stereotyped to do this. I might as well make as much money as possible now
so
until I can just use that for the rest of my life.
But you want to marry him,
Hold
right?
on a second. Are you concerned at all about like the fact that you already have so much stuff out there and your kids could be bullied for that one day?
I mean, that's definitely obviously a concern, but I think it's one thing, you take it one step at a time. I already made the decision to do OnlyFans. I'm already going all in on it. I might as well. Like, again, it's always a possibility, but...
What are your long-term goals?
I want to own as many businesses as possible. I'm investing a lot of my OnlyFans money currently, so I don't have to work a day in my life. I don't like being told what to do. I want to be my own boss, and I just want to run a shit ton of businesses and have people work for me.
But like in terms of family and stuff.
I do want a family.
With the boyfriend you do it with now?
I mean, ideally, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Elle, how long do you plan on continuing?
So I don't have like I don't have like a cutoff date, but I also don't I'm not like delusional in the sense that I believe that that's what I can do forever. I'm aware that my appearance is only going to last so long, in the sense that, you know, I'm not going to be 55 years old doing OF personally. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I do want to have like a family one day, and maybe an alternative way or a way like you know. I'm not sure. It depends on the future and what it holds for me, but I definitely have my own moral compass, and I have other sources of income and other things that I can turn to for income. So it's not that I feel trapped that I have to do it. It's something that I enjoy for the time being.
I have a question for Mr. Waller here. Do you think OnlyFans is a net negative, net positive, or neutral for society and the health of society and women and men?
I think it's a net negative, but I can see where a lot of young women feel like they have nowhere to go because men are so fucking weak these days, and they have this opportunity to make this easy money. And regardless of my opinion of it, which I do think is a net negative, I think it's going to continue to grow as men continue to bend to it. It's everything that's wrong with society right now is men's faults. It's weak men's faults. So we put up with certain things. We don't show up in certain ways. So women don't feel safe enough to let go. So they want to be bad bitches and all these other things, instead of taking the traditional feminine frame inside of a relationship with a man that's a man that she can trust to lead. And the reason that women are doing these types of, most women that had an OnlyFans account, in my opinion, if they found a man that was strong, that they knew would support him, and they trusted him to be inside the frame and let him lead the mission, they would put the OnlyFans down.
Do you guys agree with that?
Absolutely. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom.
I wouldn't do it.
Long
So if
term,
your
I would be a
boyfriend-
housewife. I'd be a stay-at-home mom.
If your boyfriend was making enough money, would you just stop?
I would gladly do that. If they decided, I want you to just stay home, you do all the cooking, you do all the cleaning, you take care of the kids, I would gladly do that.
And get behind the mission completely.
Absolutely. So you're making all the money for your
No, not at all.
So let's zoom out for a second. He just touched on an interesting subject, which is the masculinity crisis. Do you guys see a crisis in masculinity in the world?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
That makes such a good point.
We'll come back.
$200. Chase, can you quote some passages and names from the Lesser Key of Solomon to see if we get a reaction from that upstanding mother?
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Anything passages?
He's basically
Like
in the
Proverbs
Testament
and
of
Genesis?
Solomon. He's talking about the fact that there are demons, and he's implying that she's possessed by demons.
Confirm or
Love it.
deny.
Take it.
Confirm or
Call me
deny.
whatever you want. It's
So
fine.
I agree.
Hold on. Confirm or deny possessed by demons.
Depends what you call a demon. Demons a liberated, empowered woman? I guess so. Like, it's, what is your
Well,
definition
it's
of
funny
it?
because the liberation and empowerment of women actually has occult underpinnings, and many of the early feminist authors actually explicitly worshipped Lucifer and Satan as the liberator of women.
I love these conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory. They openly wrote about it. There's a book called Satanic Feminism. Look it up, people. The early feminist writers openly worship Lucifer and Satan.
Chase, the crisis of masculinity.
Yeah, so to get back to that, so do you guys agree that there's a crisis of masculinity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elle, you seem not to think so. You don't think that there's too many weak men in the world? Or there's a decline of healthy masculinity?
I think there's too many. I mean, it depends on what you think weak is. I mean, I've been in the strip club industry before. For
I mean, come on.
years.
We know what weak is. We know what weak is.
I don't think you're weak for having a fantasy and somebody being able to provide that for you. I don't think you're a weak person for having a fantasy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, I don't think.
Do you think men today are weaker or stronger than 100 years ago, on average?
Oh, I think everybody is weaker on average.
You think everybody's weaker?
Yeah.
Do you think,
Everyone's way too sensitive now.
Yeah, everything's so
Everyone takes
sensitive.
everything way too far to heart.
Yeah.
And they can't just, to my opinion, if it does not affect you, why the fuck do you care?
Exactly.
And if you have nothing nice to say, then why
let's
say?
zoom out a second. I would say one of the things that's making men weaker is the addiction to sex. Well, not sex, the addiction to pornography that many have nowadays. Would you guys say that that's accurate?
Yes.
Yes. Elle seems not to think so. Do you think so? Do you think addiction to pornography makes a man weaker?
Me?
Elle.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think you're weak, Daddy, if you like porn. I'm just gonna say that like that.
Of course, she's got a conflict of interest here financially.
Hey, Elle, since we have your attention, can you? I don't know if you see your angle here. Can you scoot Kiki like into frame? Because she's like kind of like been. You're gonna have to use your muscles though. So if you push her. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Wait, too much. Wait, back. Just. Yep.
Push myself back.
But you got to scoot back into your spot.
Okay.
No, you right there. Scoot that way. Can you scoot that way?
Me?
That way.
Oh, okay.
And then scoot your mic along with you if you can. All right, cool.
May
Kiki's
I finish the point that I was getting to?
Go ahead.
And then I have a follow-up point.
Okay. It's your water cup. I keep grabbing it.
Don't drink it.
Yeah. Do you guys think it would be better for the world if there were more strong men?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I personally, like, I just want to, like, serve. Like, I'm very submissive to men. So if I had a strong man, like, who, like not like how they are now, but, like, a masculine man who would provide and, like, make the money, I would stay home, cook, clean, do everything, like, raise the kids, like, everything for him. Like, he would leave with, like, breakfast. He would go to work with lunch and come home to dinner and like whatever else he needed. But like men aren't like that today.
Will you marry me?
Yeah, let's do it. But like,
can I just like chuck this at you or something?
Yeah, totally. Like I hope it lands on my finger.
Catch.
Okay, boom.
Bro, what are you doing, bro? You're dropping my ring that I paid for.
Damn it.
Is it broken?
It was so beautiful.
I mean, I think there are men like that out there today.
There certainly are.
But there's also a huge decline of them.
There is a huge decline
But there is,
of them.
and I think it's because of something in addition to what you guys are saying, which
What
is
am
the
I
crisis
saying?
of masculinity. There's a crisis of femininity,
What?
and it takes both of us.
Before we get to that, the point that I'm trying to make. So you think, what did you say a moment ago? You think that there needs to be more of them? What did you say just 2 seconds ago?
That there's a decline in it.
There's a decline in it. Do we think that by increasing the amount of pornography that is available on the internet, we are potentially contributing to the decline of masculinity?
Yes.
Yes. That's one yes. That's two yeses. What do you think? Yes?
Yes, and here's why. Because men being able to purchase a girl on OnlyFans is really not like empowering to women, because it's saying, hey, you can just buy a picture of my titties online for $10.99 a month. And that to me is like, yeah, it's the opposite of like feminist and empowerment. It's like, hey, a guy can purchase my boobs for $10. Like, these are priceless. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's really hurting. Like,
I think telling women that it was empowering to sell their bodies online for $10 a month is one of the most hilarious scams of all time. It's
that's
ridiculous.
totally
There's no good role models for women
It's back
nowadays.
to the Alfred Kinsey guy, and Hugh Hefner said that he wanted to be the pamphleteer of the sexual revolution. Like, he wanted to be the one to trick women into being Playboy bunnies and think they're empowered by being Playboy bunnies, when really he had the last laugh.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, we as women deserve better, and I think deep down men want to be better. So it's like, who's going to be better first?
It's
you know?
difficult for a lot of men to become better when they are enticed in all directions by pornographic content, right? It's
Also
very
a choice.
difficult for a man. We are sexual beings, and like the male sex drive, it's freaking high, and when you're saturated from all directions with sexual content, it's hard to pull your mind out of it as a man.
And back to the whole empowering thing, OnlyFans has produced my entire income, and I do not feel empowered by it at all.
No, I don't think you
I
do.
feel completely degraded most of the
I
time
don't
when
think
I'm
you do.
speaking to these people. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I already knew that going into it.
Yeah.
I decided to make a fucking bag and get the plan for the rest of my life laid out.
And-
But I
and
knew
I
it was
respect
degrading
you.
from the
Dominique, let her
beginning.
finish.
I respect you.
Just that. I knew it was degrading from the beginning, but it's like, you know what? I'm going into this. I have a plan, and you just own it.
If you could do it over again and make money a different way, would you? If you had an opportunity to make money a different way, would you do it over again?
I think yes and no. I first started right out of high school. I was 18. I was in college for 2 weeks, and I said, absolutely not. I'm going out to LA. And so I think yes and no, because at the same time, like, I am making a lot more money now than I would at many other jobs.
How much do you make monthly? You could ballpark it.
I mean, about $70,000.
A month?
Yeah, and that's
she
not
does.
even like a lot compared to some of these girls on OnlyFans. But I feel like I'm also doing it much smarter than a lot of these girls on OnlyFans are, because I invest so much of it.
Do you know what percentile you're in on OF?
I am in
Probably
the
top.
top 0.09%.
Wait, just really quick. You do OnlyFans. You do OnlyFans. Anybody else here do OnlyFans? Just you three, correct?
No hidden OF, Justin?
Drop the link.
What do you invest in, by the
Jay
way?
Waller,
Everything.
69 OnlyFans.
You're very smart. No,
I have
I'm
an
not
OnlyFans.
judging you.
OnlyFans.com/whatever. Kiki's on there.
Can I ask them?
Just really quick on money. So you said you make $70,000 a month. How much do you make?
Between $30,000 and $100,000 a month.
Wow. Okay. And how much do you make per month?
I started like
Just started. Okay.
I
so
just started, but I average about 6,000. That's about it.
impressive. Impressive.
That's with like no following and.
So
all
to
that,
to drive the point home, we're talking about the crisis of masculinity. We're talking about the fact that there's not enough real men in the world. I've heard from literally thousands of women in the past several months that have been like, man, I wish that there were more real men out there. I think a lot of dudes are having their vril, their life force sapped from their bodies from all of this pornography out there. And we've talked throughout this conversation about this idea that, hey, I have my morality as long as it's not hurting anybody. What's the big deal, right? What I want to know is, do we think it is responsible, if we're trying to create a healthy society, to increase the amount of pornography that's available to men? If we want to see the masculinity crisis fixed, is it a good idea to continue contributing to it with more pornography?
I have a follow-up question for you. Not to like drive away from what you asked, but do you think if all the top, let's say 25, even 50 or 100 top creators took their platform off of OnlyFans, do you not think that men would still find another girl to go subscribe to and get the same content, or go on Pornhub and do the same thing? Also, to counteract that, do you think that the men that are on OF, it's primarily men? The people that go in strip clubs, primarily men. You can't be mad at a woman for making her bag when you're the reason that there is a bag there to begin with.
Here's the question. Here's the question
Fair
I
point.
have. How many married men do you guys have subscribing to you?
About 40%, probably.
40%.
Probably more.
Some of them have their wife in their profile picture with them.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Some of them
how
have
many,
fantasies about you being in the like fantasies about like their wife finding out or something. Like
Or
they're-
couples, I have couples
Yo.
who subscribe.
You
They
never
watch
know.
my content together and it brings them closer together. I love it.
But here's the thing though.
I bet that's such a small percentage. I bet a lot of husbands, their wives don't know, and if their wives did find out, they'd be fucking pissed.
I had one guy
That's
admit
true.
to me that
That's
he
true.
had to get off OnlyFans because his fiance found out and was like, either we're done or you get off OnlyFans.
I had a guy. Sorry, I'm sorry. I had a guy or a woman message me last week. She said, I just found out that my husband has spent $30,000 on an OnlyFans hoe. What should I do about this? Should I divorce him? In my opinion, in my opinion, if a woman was in that kind of situation, she should leave him. So here, I'm curious for you two. If you guys got married and you found out that your husbands were spending tens of thousands of dollars on other women's pornographic content, how would that make you feel?
That's hard to say. I feel like just because, like,
Is
obviously being in this industry, it's like me and him both do OnlyFans. We both make content, and so it's like, and obviously, I mean, they're gonna watch. You guys are gonna watch porn either way. I personally don't have.
Don't
a
put
problem
that on
with it.
me. I'm not going to.
Okay, but Jordy, 95% of men are going to be watching porn.
I don't
Not,
think
not
that's
if
true.
they're not if they're in a
I just
relationship.
You're
wanna
gonna
make
at
sure
least
that-
crave sexual
what?
Your
gratification.
boyfriend
no?
is
Wait, you're
doing
celibate,
content.
right?
As a,
Unless you're
How long have
asexual
you
or
been-
celibate.
his
you're going.
the people that subscribe to him are probably men as well. Is that
It
correct?
is about it's
That'd be a
about
high percentage.
90% gay
Yeah.
men and
Yeah.
about 10% women.
Right. Yeah. So the problem with this is this is why men should take responsibility. Men have always led the world. Let's not act like that's not the case. We invent, build, and maintain society. Yeah. The fact that despite how beautiful you are, you're stunning. The fact that you can make more money than the motherfucker that paved the road for me to get here is a joke.
Yep.
It's a fucking joke, and it's broken. Now, that's not disrespect to you, but one thing I will say about Dubai, if you want to bring Dubai back up, is that you can't do that shit in Dubai.
Yeah.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't even get on a porn site in Dubai if you wanted to. And one thing
What
I
would
think
they
that
do to you if in Dubai? Like
you just can't do
head
it.
chops? Head chops?
No. They take it away, and for that, I will say when I'm in Dubai, not only is it safer, but you see more families in Dubai. You see kids. You see things like this. It's a beautiful thing, and. You know, I'm all about people having their free rights and everything, but I do think Dubai gets that right, because if America doesn't do something to save the men so men can be good enough to get good, beautiful women like you ladies, then we are always going to have this problem regardless of religion.
This is why we should ban porn in America.
I'm about
agree.
it. I'm for it. Look,
Let's
if we
go.
agree on anything,
Let's go.
we'll ban.
I'm
We
on
ban
that.
porn. I'm all about banning porn,
It's
because
so
what's
funny.
happening.
It's so funny how the women are more upset about it than the guys right now.
Well, no, look.
'Cause we're trying to
but the
fucking save
point
our
is,
country.
but the point
We
is
care about
this.
what's happening.
The point is
But the
this.
thing is,
I
hold
am
on.
in the, go
Yeah.
ahead.
One quick thing is, perhaps the women at this table haven't been hurt by a man cheating on them, or a boyfriend or something cheating on them and looking at porn or cheating with another person. But I know people that have been hurt, and probably we know people who have been hurt.
I have been.
one of
You
them.
have been.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
So
And that's the
so
point.
what's the golden rule, right? Do unto others how you'd want them to do to you, right? And so I think that's really, you mentioned a crisis of masculinity. I think there's a crisis of femininity too, because you know, we set the standard as women, right? Like that's part of our role in society of saying, like, we're gonna have boundaries, we're gonna have standards for the men, and that they need to rise to the occasion for us.
But I would argue there's just as
And
many
the
male
reason-
feminists as there are women feminists.
Yes.
Well-
and
They're all
those
simps.
pussy motherfuckers are the ones that's messing everything up.
They're all simps and
Young,
losers.
beautiful girl would be much happier if there was a man that you could be inside of his frame and not be talking to weirdos on the internet. I know you make a lot of money, and I don't blame you for doing it. 70 grand a month, that's good money. But ideally for you, if there was a man that you could look up to, admire, want to be inside that frame, and you knew he had everything taken care of completely, you would put it down. And it's not anybody's fault but weak men that a young lady like this is having to do something like that, because there's no man around that she can identify as
Traditionally,
the
men
one.
are providers and we are the caretakers. And because of how, again, you guys were saying weak men, for that reason, I was raised where you don't rely on anybody. You get your bag by yourself, and that's for that reason. My household was very traditional, yet we were still raised because of how the world was turning, that you provide for yourself and you rely on absolutely nobody.
I just want to say, I think you're really smart for like investing and not like blowing your OnlyFans money on like flexing, like, you know, like Hermes bags and like stupid stuff. So like,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to
Wait,
say that.
One
I
question
just
for
wanna-
you.
I just
One
wanna
question
make a
for
quick
you.
comment.
Okay, so
Can I say something, Brian, really quick? Super
Sure.
quick for Kirsten. Okay, super quick. I believe that you're very smart, that you're very beautiful, you're very talented, and I think you could make a boatload of money not doing OnlyFans.
I
And
agree.
I think eventually
I
you
agree,
will.
but
Maybe
I
not
also
70K.
think
Not that kind of
yeah,
money.
I agree
bet
in
you
that,
eventually.
but also like I'm extremely business minded, where it's like I'm making all this money now that I can invest into all these businesses, and I don't have to worry about taking loans. I don't have to take money from other people. I'm able to make all this money myself and make all these businesses that I don't have to work when I'm older.
Are you doing that right now?
That's what I'm working towards. Yeah, investments, businesses, all kinds of things.
What kind of businesses you want to build?
The current one I'm working on is a women's only gym.
That is
That's so based.
Yeah.
That's super
Well,
based.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Yeah, dude. I think we
It's
should have. I think we
extremely
should have men's
difficult
only
to get
gyms and
around
women's
with all
only
the laws
gyms.
in California currently,
Yeah, I was
where
about
you
to
have
say,
the
like,
gender issues,
Yeah.
and so
You can't
it's
do
a
that.
huge legality thing, but we're able to work around it with the lawyer that I'm speaking to, which I can't really talk too much more on it
Well,
right now.
I should. I mean, there's something in California called the UNRUH. It's UNRUH. I believe the UNRUH. I don't know exactly what it's called, but California has really strong anti-discrimination laws.
Yes.
So, like for example, in California, you can't do a ladies' night at a bar.
So ridiculous.
No, well, I'm in favor of it. The feminists, look, the status quo. Feminists ask for it. You're going to get equality. You ask for equality.
That
you
wasn't
get
original
equality.
feminism, though.
No, well, feminism has always been a man-hating ideology, but that's another conversation.
That's not true either.
No, feminism's always just been like a women's supremacy, man-hating ideology,
Not
hate
all
movement.
of them.
But
Many today, for sure, though.
well, I mean, if you go back to like Seneca Falls, it was basically the OG feminists were also deeply racist too, but that's a whole nother conversation. So
I commend you on that. I personally want to see female-only gyms and men's-only gyms, and I want to see dude-only gyms where they're playing like death metal inside, and we can
Yeah,
like
but-
scream while
but
we're
that's how it
lifting.
was, and then the
Chalk
feminists.
and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh my god.
Are those death metal bands?
No, it's just throwing chalk everywhere.
Yes,
and
yes,
Eating
yes,
PB&J so
yes.
you gain weight.
Yes, dude.
That's how it used to be. There
Yeah.
used to be like gentlemen's clubs, and there used to be bars and establishments that were for men only.
Back when this was a real country.
However, the feminists came in and said this is discrimination, and so this is what you asked for. You want women-only gyms? Too bad.
Bro, I
You
don't
asked
want
for it, you
chicks.
get it.
I don't want chicks with spandex all the way inside their intestines doing squats around me while I'm working out.
Fair
man.
enough.
It's like, get that out of my face, dude.
Fair enough. So I had a question for you, kind of like, I was just curious. Can you show us your tattoo, the one right here? It says eternal.
Eternal.
But
Why is it backwards?
yeah, why is it backwards?
So I look at it in the mirror. When I look at it in the mirror, it says eternal.
What inspired you to get that?
Because obviously we do not live forever, but I want the legacy I live while I'm living to be eternal.
That's
You know
beautiful.
you can live forever?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a man named Jesus Christ who offers that to us.
Hold on.
And it's real.
I had no idea Chase was so religious.
Chase is a deeply religious.
I had no
What did
idea.
You said you had no idea what?
I had no clue you were so religious.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus is the real deal, man.
Are you? You know what? You're close with the Tates. Chase is like on a crusade
Real.
to bring Andrew
the
back to
truth.
Christianity.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, instead of Islam.
Yeah, that's what Chase told me, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
he tweets about it a bunch.
I wanna bring Tate to the truth, man.
Oh man, that's a conversation for you and Tate,
I
cowboy.
think,
Yeah.
I think the eternal thing's really beautiful because we were all made, I think, for eternity. We're like have this insuppressible desire to live forever and to have that legacy. And that is one of the reasons I became Catholic, was because I discovered that you can, like Chase was saying.
No, absolutely. I understand all of that. I was raised in a very strict Christian household, and so I understand all of that.
I was just more
Well,
curious because I know
I
it's
do
like
have to say one.
backwards. I was like, it's backwards. So I was like,
so I can see it in the mirror.
So
Do you think?
can
do
you show it
think
to the
this-
camera one more time? Just
Do you think the
Hi-
strict?
Show my new tits too.
Already do.
No, a couple months.
Do you think the strictness of the Christian home that you grew up in made you like have an aversion to it?
Honestly, no. Like I said, from the time I was born, I was raised very Christian. I started having an issue with it. My senior year of high school, I had Lyme disease, and I was
Really,
was
I currently
extremely
have
sick.
Lyme disease.
Yeah, it
That's
took
crazy.
him 9 months to diagnose me. I didn't leave my house for 9 months, all kinds of things. And
You said you got bit by a tick?
Yeah, and I didn't even know that I'd been bitten by a tick. But when I had that, it was like I was still very connected to God at that point. And it was like after praying for 9 months every single night, it's like you almost give up. And that's very hard to find your way back from when it took 3 years to get over.
You guys should talk after the show.
It deeply
sure.
resonates. I've had it for 28 years. I got it from my mother. She took her own life from it when I was in high school, and that actually made me an atheist for years.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
No, actually, I found a holistic doctor out of Indiana, a couple hours out of where I live, and she was able to get rid of it for me.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It took like 6-8 months, but I officially, like, you can test my blood and it'll come back Lyme disease free.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
We'll have to talk more about it after the show.
That's something, Chase, that you've struggled with for your whole life. So, yeah.
To be honest, my relationship with Jesus is the only reason I'm still here, because I've dealt with that hopelessness a lot.
It started all of my mental issues, whether it's depression, anxiety, everything. It was just from there. It just all went downhill. So
yeah,
I'm glad that you're healed from it.
Thank you.
By the way, there's currently
My best friend.
we got still 10,005. Oh, what the fuck? Why did I don't know. Has that been going on the entire time? Sorry, I didn't mean to send the missile there. I don't know why. Okay, there's 10,500 people watching. The chat is on fire.
That's crazy.
Thank you, everybody. Guys, drop a like on the video. Drop a like. There's 10,000 of you in here, but let's get to 4,000, 5,000 if we can.
Do you mind if I bring something up?
Yeah.
In regards to you switching Tate over, I think your best bet is to start with getting Christianity to actually stand behind the religion.
Yes.
These gay flags in front of churches, not that I'm against gays, but that's not with the religion. The things that the Christianity's allowing is making Christianity lose in a lot of ways to Islam. And I think that's the basis right now for Christianity to return, is to get back to the backbone in the actual religion and not being socially correct with people.
I totally
you and I
agree.
are 100% on the same page, bro. Absolutely. One of the phenomenons, I'm sorry, I got to say this.
Yeah.
One of the phenomenons that is driving so many people towards Islam right now
is Christianity kind of bitching
being
out.
weak. Yeah, dude. Bro, you go on Twitter, they've got trans people literally dancing inside of churches across the West. What is that? It's a huge departure from the Word of God. And it's really fascinating to watch too, because so many young dudes watch Tate and they look up to Tate and they see Tate saying, hey, Islam is more based than Christianity is, and so they're following Tate into Islam. My problem with it is because when you objectively pursue truth, you end up at Jesus. And a lot of these people, they're looking at Islam not as what is the most true religion, but what is the most based religion. I believe Christianity.
Well, it's like, what religion do they respect the most?
Yes.
And that's the problem. It's hard to respect Christianity when they're obviously selling out to agendas.
Well,
yes,
I think,
which is why we need a 21st century crusade. Let's go, Deus Vult.
But hold on, are you Catholic, Chase?
No.
Okay, so why not?
I mean, you really want to get into it?
Kind of. I mean, it's important. It's an Andrew Tate question too, because I think if what you're describing is true, it's like he has an aversion to the immoral issues that the church seems to be accepting immorality into the church. I have other challenge issues.
Well, not even that it's not immorality. I don't think I'm here to judge somebody else's life. What it is judging the fact that we know that Christianity is getting away from the baseline rules that they have, so you can't respect them because they don't keep their word.
Right, and I think one of the reasons, so in 1500, right, the church split and you had the Reformation, and then now we have 50,000 denominations alongside the Catholic Church of different churches that have different moral beliefs, and then you have the rainbow flags outside of some of them. You have the different, they're changing the rules about contraception, about sex, about marriage, and that's one of the things that made me want to become Catholic, was learning that they didn't change their moral teaching for 2,000 years. That it's been consistent and cohesive.
I disagree with the consistency, and that's why I'm not part of the Catholic Church. You've got Pope Francis bringing deities into the Vatican, worshiping Pachamama in front of inside St. Peter's Basilica, and I believe it's the second commandment that says you shall have no other gods before me. Like, bro, I see Catholicism, sorry to call you bro, I see Catholicism compromise on so many things like this, and it's just...
Well, let's talk about Pachamama for a minute, because
I don't think, to be honest, out of respect for Brian, I don't think we should do that on this podcast.
Thank you, Chase.
We'll do it another time.
Okay, let's, I need to do a couple of the chats here. Eric, can you just pull up Twitch really quick? Let's shout out people on Twitch. Guys, twitch.tv/whatever. Twitch.tv/whatever. Go over there right now. Open up another tab. Drop us a follow. Drop us a follow. Drop us a Prime sub if you have one. Oh my God, Ark! Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, man. Appreciate it. Where did the girl in the red? Is she coming back?
She's in the bathroom.
Oh, is somebody in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yo, Let me thank everybody here. Your boy Chris, thank you for the prime. Cheeks McGee, thank you for the prime. Ark, I thanked Ark. JK, thank you for the prime. KHA, thank you for the prime. FGM, thank you for the prime. And then Juan, thank you for the follow. Deardam, thank you for the follow. Jordan, thank you for the follow. Angelic Bun, thank you for the follow. Enigma Vortex, thank you for the follow. Twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a prime sub if you have one. Thank you guys. And then let's do a couple chats here. We have, let's see, Doc Venabilis, hide that. Thank you for the 100, man. Really appreciate the support. The former mother, wife, pastor turned 3 or 4 in the pink. She's not here, so maybe I'll pull this back up when she's here, so she can address it if she wants. Okay, we have. Oh wait, let me wait until that disappears. 1 sec, guys. How you doing back there, Archduke? You doing good? Sweet. Okay, Dirk Diggler, thank you for the Australian 100. Thank you, mate. 1 for the delusional marshmallow advocating. Wait.
STIs.
Is she also not here? Should I wait? Maybe I should wait. Yeah. Is she the marshmallow? Confirm or deny? Is she the marshmallow?
I guess.
Okay, I'll pull that one back.
She's
up.
the only person here advocating STIs, so.
Let's see.
Just a bunch of super chats for her. We're just gonna roast her when she gets back.
Bob Money 210, thank you for the 100. Brian with 4 million in subs. Can you not afford a bigger table and more mics? Please bring the cute Asian gal with the cute facial expressions to the front.
You want to say anything in response to that?
Do you want to say anything?
Thank you, but I'm just Kiki 2.0 for today's panel.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. I am trying to get a bigger table. It's not a question of afford. It's just.
I think what you should do is scoot that back a bit, scoot this back slightly, get a little bit bigger of a table, and then we've got.
Yeah. The other thing I want to do with the table is you see how we have the legs here in all the corners. I want like a central leg.
Yes.
That way people aren't like in the corners aren't like fucked. I think. And if I can add, I think this is like 54 by 54 inch. If I expand it to 60 by 60, it'll accommodate like 444 instead of like 333. So. And
then you can fit more than one big man on this side of the table comfortably.
Yes. And then more than one Gorlock. Okay. All right. We have Sloan Fidel. Thank you for the 100. I'm 61, fit and wealthy. Porn has ruined 2 generations. Guys. Oh
Facts.
My goodness. Okay, what's going on?
I'm 61, fit and wealthy. Porn has ruined 2 generations of men losing motivation to earn sex. Guys care more about multiple tattoos than building their lives, which is juvenile. I'm Italian, and men of my generation don't even talk to a 30-year-old USA guy as a real man. They are kids.
Did you try
Sloan Fidele, very
Sloan,
based.
dude, Sloan.
He's
thank
right.
You.
You're absolutely right. Porn ruins men's motivations to pursue and earn sex. It's one of the reasons why the West is falling. We need to ban porn in America.
Thoughts on the porn banning?
I love that he says that in front of a table where half of us make porn. So it's just like.
That's why I'm saying it.
I know, but we'll keep making it.
All right.
And I'll raise my kids to be motivated to ban it eventually.
Okay. Oh wow. On the warpath.
Yes.
Against
There are women
there's
there's a lot of women who want to ban porn too. So a lot of women have been hurt by porn.
The former mother, wife, pastor turned 3FO in the pink is a predator. She's no better than a blank priest.
The P word.
We're
not.
Yes, don't say it.
You want to respond to that?
I'm not sure what this is.
It's such an empty threat, but that's cool if you think that.
Okay. We have Dirk Diggler here. Giselle, can you read this in an Australian accent, please?
I can't do Australian.
Get it together. No excuses, play like a champion.
1 for the delusional marshmallow advocating STIs and other manipulative ideologies. Just because you interject someone's point does not make you right. It is very obvious that you live in a bubble. Advice, put on a jumper, delete your social media, and read a book.
That was more British.
Yeah, I know.
But good job.
It was good. It was good. Your response to Dirk Diggler.
Take your own advice.
Okay, Dirk Diggler, thank you for the Australian 100. Appreciate it. All right, we have D.O. Thank you for the 100, man. Really appreciate it.
To the women advocating for everyone to do what you desire and think is right for you, what do you say to the adult who desires sex with those underage? Don't use the argument of illegality because that is made possible by a deeply religious and Christian culture.
I'll come in here really quick. D.O., I'm deeply appreciative of the $100 super chat. However, this is not a topic I feel particularly inclined to engage in. on the show. Just we're on YouTube. Like we're not going to talk about.
Brian, if I may make a point, staying safe with YouTube's TOS.
Sure.
He raises a good point, because all of this like postmodernist, I can make my own morality whatever I want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody and everything's consensual, then it's fine. That is exactly where all of this is going.
It already has. I mean,
that would hurt.
We're not going to talk about it to respect what Brian wants to do, but the pornography crisis is definitely hurting children in a big, big way. Pornography usage is increasing and it's hurting kids.
Also, Chase, are you kind of also referring to like this shift to like
maps?
And Andrew Tate's talked about this. Maps.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maps. Yep.
They call them minor attracted persons. They're moving towards the legalization of that kind of stuff.
Haram! Okay, we have, hide that, Eric. We have, hold on, Dapper Dave, thank you for the 100 man for Chase. Going to your points about Christianity losing out to other religions because of giving to the woke agenda, not properly defending themselves. What is your definition of turn the other cheek? Also, Christians giving into toxic femininity. So what's your definition of turn the other cheek?
Yeah, so like if somebody's an asshole to me, I'm not going to be an asshole to them back, right? Mm-hmm. So like I've had plenty of people attack me, and I don't just like go for their jugular and try and attack them back to hurt them. That's my definition of turning the other cheek.
Yeah, because you should never lower your standards to fit somebody else's reality. Just because you should never lower your standards to fit somebody else's reality, just because they have to act that way does not mean that you have to retaliate in that way.
Right.
Yeah, but to be clear,
that's the point of not turning the other cheek.
Go ahead, Justin.
And to be clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jesus was a savage when he had to be.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a punk. He wasn't a pushover. He wasn't just like, he was slit a throat too. Yeah. And so I think that the church, particularly the Christian church, gets that part wrong. They need to bring that savage side out, and Republicans for that matter. Sitting there
I think the key is like, what are you defending, right? I mean, turn the other cheek is you're turning the other cheek and you're willing to take an insult, but
right. But when it comes to defending your children and your family and the future of society, then
there's no
turning the other cheek then.
Yeah.
So I think that, like we were talking about earlier, I think that they're missing that savage side of Jesus or Christianity 100%. As a whole.
What I would say to that, Justin, is there has been an intentional agenda to neuter and castrate Christianity, because they know if they can present Jesus as this hippie who just says, oh yeah, just be nice to everybody, I'm a socialist. That's how Jesus is presented to a lot of young people nowadays. They know that, the Christian ethos that has kept the West together for the past 2,000 years, it's going to fall apart, which is what we're seeing tonight.
We wouldn't want a toxic Jesus, would we?
No. The true Jesus is the man who's flipping tables and chasing the money changers out of the temple with whips, right? He's coming back and he's slaughtering the Antichrist and all of his armies, right? His father is Yahweh, who is, it says in Exodus, he is a God of war. And you look all throughout the Old Testament, God would frequently have his people just wreck other tribes, right? That is who God is. And it's not for the purpose of just violence for violence's sake, but oftentimes it was for the purpose of fighting evil, right? And the Catholic Church in the medieval ages, they had knights whose purpose was to defend the church, right? The true church has backbone, but it's been subverted, and that's why we're in the position we're in today.
But I think the most beautiful example of sacrificial masculinity is Jesus Christ on the cross, actually, which is kind of this contradiction, right? Jesus is literally giving his life for other people and taking every insult out of love for the saving of other people.
Not because he was a pussy, it was out of love.
Absolutely. But I think that when you're so strong that you're willing to die for somebody else, right? That is the ultimate love right there.
Yes.
And there are amazing saints in the Christian tradition that literally die for transcendentals, for moral truths, for love.
Almost all of Christ's disciples were brutally murdered because of their faith.
Yep.
But Justin, back to your point, when you really look at Jesus Christ's character, he was, in my opinion, the most masculine man who ever lived. He bore the weight of the cross out of love for other people, right? He sacrificed his own life out of love. And on top of that, this was a man who had so much courage, so much vitality and masculinity. He would stand in front of people who hated him and were plotting to kill him, and he would still speak the truth directly to their faces. And then they eventually killed him for it. What is more masculine than a man who's willing to die for his ideals and isn't so much of a pussy that he'll cower away from death, but he leans into it, right? That's so masculine.
He didn't wage war, though. He didn't go on a slaughtering rampage. He laid down his life out of love.
Yeah.
He did, but he will be waging war when he comes back.
So it's just different when you're saying, like, yeah, we're going to rate, like, that's what we need to do. And it's like, but his very definition and demonstration was sacrificing himself out of love. Not
He
winning.
sacrificed himself out of love, but he also stood up for truth.
All right, let's
and he didn't compromise
let's keep
on
things
it.
going. But Justin, one thing you said last show that was really interesting, and I think you just mentioned something about cutting throats.
Yeah.
You said, what was it, like
The definition of a man is someone that can slit a throat and hold a baby in the same day.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
I
what a
love
man
that.
is.
I don't know. I don't know that you have to slit a throat to be a man.
But I think
do
if it's
men need the
necessary,
tenderness to hold a baby.
if that polarity is necessary, then yes.
Yeah.
I think that
And that's
the
what-
core
and that's
of
what
you're
Christianity is
saying-
missing
being
right now.
capable
Yeah.
of being dangerous,
Yeah.
but also
Jesus
ultimately
didn't slit
loving.
any throats.
I guess I would just push back a little bit
Yeah.
because I think where your guys are going, I like where you're going in terms of, I think, the motivation, which is you want strong men to defend civilization, right? But I think maybe what you're popping up here with, I don't know your whole mentality on this, but you don't have to be violent, commit violence to be a masculine, right?
Yeah.
No, you
I
don't.
think
But I
that's-
think you certainly need to
that's
be
an important
capable
distinction.
when the time comes.
Yes.
And that's
Of
the
course.
point I'm making is that whether Christianity needs to be violent or not, I think is
doesn't.
it's not a
It
consideration. It
doesn't.
doesn't. But I do think
I'm
it needs
not
to get
I
up.
want to make it clear, I'm not
Yeah,
condoning
I don't
violence.
either. But it also needs to stand up for what its actual values have been and what's in the book. Because right now, I think they're drastically failing at that. And you can see the numbers in churches going down, like comparatively to the last couple of decades. It's not doing well in comparison.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, let's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Right.
No, I
Justin.
was going to say, as Islam kind of is, and I'm not even, look, I'm American. Christianity's American. I grew up around Christianity. I want to see Christianity win. if
Brian,
it
there
helps.
was
Let's go.
a super chat, I think, about the Virgin Mary. Did you see that?
If
Did
it
we miss
wasn't
that?
over the threshold, we're
Okay.
gonna have to skip
They didn't
over
pay
it.
enough money.
All right, we have Slow Joe 69. Thank you, man, for the $101.69. In the next 3 to 5 years, every single image in social media will be generated by AI. It will be impossible to tell fake from reality. I hope the 304s learn to code. Brian, you're a king. Chase, you're awesome. Madison and Giselle, hope you're invited back. Hey, thank you so much for the kind words, Slow Joe 69. Thank you for the additional 69 cents there. Much appreciated. All right, we have a couple more super chats here. Did we do this one? Yeah, we did. We have Bob Money 210. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Brian with 4 million in subs. Oh, we did this
read
one, right?
this one.
We read it. Yeah. Freefall 100. Thank you for the 100, man. Chase, Giselle, can you read this?
Chase and Brian, I am a fan. And ladies, I just want to say, as a female who is in her 20s, it's so hard, especially in Cali, to find a good guy because I get made fun of for having barely any experience and them just wanting to get off on OnlyFans. I'm always compared to ladies like you.
If they're
So-
making fun of you for that, they're not a good guy, and you shouldn't want to date them anyways.
Yeah.
So you don't want a guy on OnlyFans. You don't want to date a guy.
You
who's
get
on OnlyFans.
so you get made fun of for barely having any experience. I think most men find that a desirable trait.
She's probably getting shamed for not putting out, I would imagine. And Freefall, what I would say to that is don't compromise your standards. There's plenty of guys out there who would really value you being a chaste woman.
That's the problem with today's generation. Girls don't have role models anymore to look up to.
Into the mic.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm 23. You know, you guys are young too. I had an OnlyFans account a couple years ago. So
Try to just straight into the mic.
Sorry.
Just lock in.
I just feel like modern women today are just not as good as they were back then.
Based.
You got to make women great again.
Yeah,
Ban
I mean,
porn.
look at, no offense to the OnlyFans girls, like I said, I was one of them. We're no good role models. You know, this girl over here, I feel bad for her, you know, because she's probably, you know, just wanting to find a real guy who's not willing to spend money on other girls. And if all these men are just, you know, buying OnlyFans and he's not a real guy.
But I feel bad because our society, it's so pornified. Even before
Yeah.
OnlyFans, it was pornified. You know, like with the Kardashians are presenting out into society, and with just this idea that as women we do have to put out, or we have to dress really sexually to get attention and to get affirmation. So I think, and a lot of girls become victims of sexual assault at young ages today. So there's a lot of crap that young girls have to deal with. And so it's hard for you out there, you know. I my heart goes out to every young girl, and that's where. But my message is, listen, you have it within yourself to rise above, and you deserve better. You are better, and there's a beautiful future for every single woman, no matter what her past was. She can leave that in the past.
Get some help.
Free fall, by the way, I mean, I would assume it's mostly women that are shaming you for barely having any experience, because no dudes are going to be like...
It is guys do that.
I personally, like, with my values and my morals, I tell guys when they're interested in me, I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot have sex with you until we're in a committed relationship. And I get bashed by so many men, and so many men mistreat me after I tell them that I won't do that. They'll yell at me, they'll tell me I'm manipulative, they'll tell me that I led them on or anything like that, just because I won't put out for them earlier than them committing to me.
Well, that's them just trying to pressure you into having sex,
but
and
that
that's
is-
wrong.
And don't give into it.
No,
Don't
I
give
never
into
do.
it. And I commend you for not giving in.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Yeah, but there's tons of men out there that don't want hoes.
Of course,
So-
but there's tons of men who do want
Yeah, I
hoes.
was gonna say there's a ton
Are
of
you
men.
are you saving yourself for a committed boyfriend or for
A
marriage or?
committed relationship, yes. I want that relationship to lead to marriage, yes. But I'm not too. I've never delved into religion too much, so
That's okay.
I haven't done the whole wait till marriage thing. But yeah, I want a committed relationship that leads to marriage. Yes.
You want to become a mom?
That's something that I think depends on the partner I'm with and who am I. If he wants children, I believe I will give him children. Yes.
When he asked you that question, you got a little sparkle in your eye. I think you want to be.
Giselle wants to be a mom.
I'm very caring and I'm very loving. I definitely want to help a lot of foster children around the world. That's like one of my big dreams.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, we have Sloan Fidel. Oh, we did. I believe
we
did
read
this
that one.
Yep, Sloan, thank you, appreciate it. We have
Stop
Rodrigo.
it.
Oh, shit.
Get some help.
Rodrigo de la Rosa. Thank you
Says
for the
for
100.
Chase, the idea that the true church, the Catholic Church, must always be composed by pure angels is a human, very human idea, and at the same time an anti-biblical, very anti-biblical one.
Your response?
Yeah, I mean, I recognize that. I recognize that all churches have people that are imperfect. She just asked why I'm not part of the Catholic Church, and I have a lot of different reasons
Well,
why.
you talked about the Pope, and there have been some really bad popes, but what the popes have never done is change the church's teaching to be bad. So even Pope Francis, if he messes up or does something bad, he's not changing the church's teaching. And there have been popes that have been actually taken out. Like, they've died mysteriously, and some people theorize, well, did God, let them be taken out because they were leading the church in a bad direction? So God, the gates of hell will not prevail. That's what God promises. On St. Peter, he builds a church, and that's the papacy.
Problem is that we do have Catholic churches that are condoning LGBTQ stuff.
All right, crazy
They're violating
Yazar
magisterium.
C. Thank you for the 100. Jesus said, "Pick up your cross and follow him." Jesus Christ never started a religion.
Such cap. Bro, he literally promised eternal life if you believe in him, and like his disciples spread the religion across the world. Of course he started a religion.
Crazy. Thank you for the $100 donation, super chat. Thank you. Milky Way Moses, thank you for the 100. Giselle, go for it.
Speaking from personal stuff, I first saw porn at a very, very...
Hide it there. Hide it.
Samwise donated
Thank
$200.77. White shirt had a lot of concerns about Justin's hypothetical daughters. What does she think about a gay couple raising daughters versus a straight couple? Does she ask gay couples this many questions when she meets them? Lol, she thinks she's smart, but nah.
I think that children deserve a mother and a father.
Amen. I agree.
Same.
I think children deserve loving, caring parents or guardians.
Yeah,
long
despite
as
their
they're not
gender,
fathers.
despite
That
their
are-
gender.
Yeah.
Because
That are
I was
married to
raised
each
by a
other.
single mother, and I am honestly, I couldn't see myself as any better off. And you guys can think what you want because of my career, but just as much as Kirsten, I also like invest my money. When I started stripping, every dollar I made went into buying a fucking house and then flipping it. So
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did that at
Wait.
19.
You
Damn.
said you couldn't see yourself having
As-
been any better off had you not had a father?
I mean, I'm saying if I had two loving parents, it doesn't matter. Like you can have an amazing home life and choose the same path. And
Yeah, I fuck with that. Winners win despite childhood trauma.
Yeah,
I had a shitty childhood upbringing. I'm
Exactly.
still gonna win. It doesn't matter. Winners
yeah,
win.
Amen.
You can have the same exact trauma as somebody else and choose not to let it be a crutch to why you don't do good things
I
with your
super
life.
support that message because there's a lot of kids growing up in single family households, and I'd never want them children to believe that they couldn't go be somebody if they put their mind to it.
Yeah, like maybe I might not have jumped on a stripper pole as quickly, but
right.
like
yeah, like look, yeah.
You know, I came from a very well-off home. I came from 2 loving parents, and I picked the same career path you did. And I grew up in it. I was lucky to have a very happy home.
Exactly.
Right.
And now we have a happy home together.
Oh,
Okay.
I love.
All right, we have this one. We were in the midst of reading it. I'll just continue it. And it still affects my mind to this day. Prawn separates you from physical, S from what it truly is, soul connection. I've experienced more of the physical, but the few passionate times stay in my heart. Word Milky Way Moses.
So sad.
Thank
I mean,
you.
That's kind of
but this
simpy.
is what's happening right now. I mean,
What'd you say?
kids,
It's kind of simpy. The few passionate times stay in my heart. That's a grown man that just said that.
but he's.
I mean, he's entitled.
There's a lot of.
Grown ass man just said that.
But that first part's pretty horrible though, and it's a lot of kids are running into that because of the proliferation of porn. So.
Yeah, but
I can't believe he
mean,
saw it when he was 3.
There
dude.
was
What
new,
the
like
hell?
there was new magazines and DVDs and shit in our parents,
But it's
closet.
It's everywhere now.
I get it. I get it, but
across
like even we had internet at like 16, 17. Like the real problem with porn is that there's no motivation to go, like you said, there's no motivation to go out and get in the real world. And I think when that drug is easier than working hard enough and being scared of the rejection and having to do all the work, that's what the problem with porn is. It's stopping
Yes.
guys. It's stopping guys from being hungry enough to go seek the actual
Facts,
reward,
dude.
which
And
which
OnlyFans
it is
only
sleeping
makes-
with the beautiful girl, not jacking off to the image.
Facts.
And OnlyFans even made it to where you can text the girl
Into the mic.
and have it
Right.
be
Into the
like
mic. Into
your
But
mic
but in all
That's
fairness,
all.
a smart girl is going to have somebody else text for her. I mean, I'm sure that it's hard for you to text everybody.
Do you do that?
No, she texts all her people. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
They have like.
All 50,000
People.
of them.
yeah. But otherwise, somebody else will be doing it for her. So
Is that how many subscribers you have? 50,000
yeah, she's killing it.
for 70K a month? Are you charging them like $1.50?
No, it's a free page. I make all my money through my messages and posts.
Gotcha.
Mine's a free page as well. I learned from her to do that.
All right. Okay,
Damn,
we
bro.
have,
So a lot of these bros that are talking to models on OnlyFans are probably talking to dudes, man.
Yep.
It is over.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure like Tate when he had his campsites,
Yeah, him and his brothers were messaging
They were the ones
dudes,
messaging the guys,
telling them, "Yo, give me your life savings."
Yep. Well,
haram.
let's see here. We have Lucia Sukma Christie. Thank you for the. Oh shit!
what-
Hold on.
what
Let
is
me.
going on?
I know. Fuck. I didn't see the. I wasn't looking at the.
Country Chick said the Catholic religion is satanic. It goes all the way back to Babylon religion that Nimrod started in the Old Testament. The Catholics were torturing Bible believers in the New Testament. Fox's Book of Martyrs. P.S. Highly recommend something.
Dr. Ruckman commentary. Okay. Country Chick, thank you.
Inaccurate.
I mean, I don't understand how the Catholic Church could be torturing people in the New Testament. That doesn't make sense.
All right, we have Lucia here. Thank you for the 6. Yo, where did the girl? Is the girl in red still here? Did she leave? What the?
She's in the bathroom.
All right, I'll carry it, Brian. Q, I am not a fan of makeup since I find it creepy, especially fake eyelashes and so on. But my friends have been convincing me to wear makeup because it's appealing to men. Is it true? Because now I don't feel confident about myself. Chase, thanks for spreading God's word. You're welcome.
Lucia, be you. Like, do you be you? You're going to
Yeah.
attract a person who's attracted to you, not trying to be what anyone else thinks you should be. Be you.
I think
Hey,
it depends.
Lucia,
It
I gotta
depends on the
be on.
occasion.
Yeah, I
You
gotta.
can dress up a little more, wear more makeup for special occasions, but typically men like more natural looks.
Yeah, Lucia, I'll speak from personal experience. I don't know what Justin's opinion is. I find natural beauty extremely attractive. I think fake eyelashes look ridiculous. I don't think it's attractive at all. What do you think, Justin?
I think natural beauty is incredible.
Every guy
if you
that
have
I've
to do
been
something
with
to
has
always
maximize
said,
it.
you look so much better
Without your makeup.
Yeah.
And
Every single guy.
and this is coming from somebody that pursued the makeup industry, and I can tell you right now, I know for a fact whenever I would work at a strip club or take pictures on my OF, I would always go a more natural route because it looks like overcompensation. And for me, even going from the Midwest and like Ohio and then going to Los Angeles, California, there's a higher par. Like I could be a 10 in Ohio and be a 3 here, and that's not me degrading myself as a woman. That's just me recognizing that the value of women here is at a different standard than where I'm from, because there's more resources for that sort of thing. And I personally, and I want every woman to do whatever makes them feel the best version of themselves.
Yes.
So if you want to, get enhancements or get this is not my real hair. I'm willing to admit that. But like,
Yes to all of that. Do you be you?
yeah,
right,
do
so
you
guys,
be
sit
you,
down, sit
whatever
down,
you're
sit down.
comfortable with, It's giving me anxiety when people stand up around me. It gives me anxiety.
You going to the bathroom, Chase? Or?
No, it's just
Okay.
trying to get down to the bottom of what's going on.
Okay. Where were we? I don't know. I lost. Did we read this one from our good friend in Indonesia?
Yeah.
Thank you for the 1600 Indonesian. What is it? Rupees? I don't know. Thank you. She's not a fan of makeup. Since
We already did that one.
Yeah, I was
While you were
just because I wasn't here.
By the way,
Yeah,
you're
makeup.
beautiful, girl.
I'm not a fan of makeup.
You're
not gonna lie.
beautiful.
All right, Minnesota Liz. Did we do this one or no?
No, you want a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war. Men should have a sharp sword and be capable of violence. I agree.
Thank you, Minnesota Liz. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I think the ideal man is somebody who is prepared for the crisis.
Yes.
And who has a mission, and that mission is service of others and to make the world better and to serve God. And so they need to be prepared for
Service,
challenges
not
that
violence?
come. They need to be prepared for violence because violence is in this world, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, they're trying to bring peace into the world in the way that they love and serve and build strong communities and build strong families. So yes, you need to be prepared for violence, but not be inciting it.
Okay.
Yes, I would say every man should be capable of protecting his family and his loved ones at a moment's notice. This is very important.
I think any human should be capable of that.
Does anyone have a wait? So how long have you been gone?
Me?
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
So
Into the mic, please.
Okay.
Tell us about your bowel movements.
Okay, sir. I will tell you. So I went tinkle, which is peeing. Okay.
How long were you in there?
She was gone for what, like 40 minutes?
No.
It was an hour. I've had to pee for an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been out of your seat for an hour?
No, I have not. No, because you came tinkle when I was in there with you.
You went
Wait,
tinkle
she
while
was-
she
she
was
was-
in there?
Because I had to use the bathroom.
What was she doing in there while you were?
I
Your
had
makeup?
I had just finished doing my tinkle, so then I put on a little bit of lipstick, and then I brushed my eyebrows. And
This
then
girl is fucked up, bro.
I'm not
what
fucked
did,
up.
What did you do in
You're
there?
definitely
you
fucked
are
up.
Like,
Bro, what
your
drugs?
sobriety level is so low right now.
What drugs are you on right
Yeah.
now?
I am high on life.
No, you're high on something else.
You're
that's for
high
damn
on-
sure.
No,
Come on.
I don't do drugs.
Come on.
I don't do drugs.
As someone who doesn't do drugs, does anyone want to take a wager at what drugs she's currently on?
I've got a few ideas.
How would I have done my makeup if I was on drugs, first of all?
It's possible.
You were in the bathroom for
What's
Okay,
possible?
you want to know the truth?
Tell us the truth.
I have
Drugs and makeup at the same time. No, I had a party phase in high school. It's possible.
I have OCD. So
It doesn't always look the best, but it is
I
possible.
have OCD, so I had to reorganize the Dior bag and like put
Can
everything.
you into the mic? Scoot the mic closer
Yo.
towards you.
Okay, sir.
Scoot-
Dominique, I gotta be honest. When we started this show, your sobriety was like here. Then you went to the bathroom, and then your sobriety was like here. You came back. You went to the bathroom again. Now your sobriety is like here. Like both times you've come back from the bathroom, you've been less sober. So
No.
what's the story here?
Okay, you want to know the story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
do.
tell
Okay.
us the story.
I want to
will
know
tell
the
you
story.
So I went to the restroom. I tinkled.
Yep.
Sometimes it's like a little hard for me to like pee. Like, so I drank a little bit more water. And like,
Who do you think you're fooling right
this
now?
is embarrassing, but I drank a little sink water because I didn't want to come back out and get a cup.
You drink what water?
She said she drank sink water.
You drank sink water?
Because I didn't want to
Bro,
go.
your sink water got her
That's
fucked
fine.
up, dude.
I didn't want to go back out and get my cup and like interrupt.
I hope you don't have fentanyl on your toilet seat.
Confirm or deny, is there fentanyl on the toilet seat?
I just peed. There was not.
If I did the drug,
I wish you guys could see Justin right
if I did the drug fentanyl, I would be dead because like I would OD and die in that bathroom.
So what did you do?
What did you take? What drug did you take?
What did you take?
Oh my god. Okay, I feel so attacked right now.
Do you think
We love you.
I'm
You're
stupid?
okay. You're safe.
No, I don't. I think you're a very smart man.
Bats_X donated $200. Yo, that be on another planet. She heard Chase talk about Jesus and God and wanted to go find him.
I also was looking at my ring from my proposal, and I was admiring it also in the bathroom.
It's not on the right finger for proposal.
Yeah, it's in the...
I know. I had to change it because this one's too tiny and it was gonna fall, and I didn't want it to fall.
Maybe
Are you revoking
your hands
the
are
ring?
shaking a little bit. Maybe your blood sugar's like fucked up. You need like, you want a
I've
snack?
got some Sour
I
Patch
would
Kids.
love one.
Victoria, you want to grab
Can
one?
you, Victoria,
We
can
need
you
a little
please
Sour
grab the
Patch
Sour
Kids.
Patch Kids
She's
for
eating
her?
them.
She's either her blood sugar's low
Need a
or
little
she's on
snack.
methamphetamine.
Yo,
I don't know what it is.
Meth.
Chat, give us your best guesses. What drugs
What
do you think
drug-
Dominique
If
is
I was
right
on
now?
meth, my pupils would be dilated. First of all, my stepmom is an anesthesiologist, so I know everything about every drug. I'm low-key, like, buy through her. Like, I am a low-key, like, off-the-market, like, anesthesiologist.
I
Like,
think I'm getting a contact high. I'm like feeling it too a little bit.
okay, look at my
I would guess either heroin or OxyContin. That's what I would guess. Or Xanax.
What's
That's what
up?
I was thinking.
What, talking? It's fine. Why not? What do you mean
me,
TOS?
Me naming them?
First of all,
What's TOS, Eric?
Her being incredibly fucked up on this live stream?
I am not.
You're okay,
Eric,
honey.
what is
Don't let him
TOS?
get to you. You're okay. Don't let him get to you.
Oh, whatever. Oh, okay. That's fine.
TOS can get you banned.
I like how everybody but her is eating the Sour Patch Kids right now.
Okay, so look.
Hey,
can
Dominique,
help
you should eat some of
yourself.
these.
Help
You should eat some of these.
I think her
Dominique.
blood sugar is low.
Dominique,
I don't think she's on methamphetamine. I think her blood sugar
Dominique,
is
you
low.
should eat some of these.
If I was on a drug like meth, my pupils would be extremely dilated. If I was on a drug like fentanyl or heroin, they would be so pinpoint. My pupils are none of the above.
I don't know. You haven't blinked for the past like 30 minutes.
No, I've been watching her blink.
Oh, okay, my bad. My bad.
To be fair, her eyes do look the same as they did.
No,
Yeah.
I'm watching
And
her
if-
blink.
If you guys felt my heart rate, it's not like increased.
I will gladly feel your heart rate.
Can I see your wrist? Can I see your wrist, please?
You may.
Is it Chase is
It's
getting a pulse,
normal.
or-
I do have a pulse. If I didn't, I wouldn't
Is this
be
an
talking.
intervention? Hello.
Yeah,
We're all
like,
in a circle.
Am
Honestly,
I?
actually pretty normal.
I mean, it is 10:30
It is
at night.
normal.
It's like bedtime.
And
Maybe
if-
you're just tired.
No.
And then I was also responding to my driver.
Your driver.
Yes.
You have a chauffeur.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
she's taking the ring off. Good idea.
no.
Can you put it back in the box?
I'm putting it back in the finger that it goes on. Well, because I was okay. So like, because remember how I got like a speeding ticket? So then he switched and started driving for me.
That's really nice of him.
Yeah, it was.
Victoria, do we have any other snacks back there? Like some fruit?
Send the
Yeah,
nuke.
I don't.
Cracker.
Send.
Okay,
Hey,
can
hey,
I?
hey,
this might
You want to
actually
know
not
the
be
Hey,
truth?
Dominique, can I ask you a question?
You want to know the truth?
Wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait,
eat
wait, before you-
refined. I don't eat refined sugar.
Dominique,
Good for you.
Dominique,
Good job.
So
Dominique, before
if you have an
Kinda
orange,
bad for you anyways.
Dominique,
if you have an
before-
orange,
I
think there's
have oranges.
There's an orange on the counter, Victoria.
Victoria, there's oranges in the bag over there.
yes, is this vegan?
Aren't
Justin,
you glad
what-
Victoria stayed?
Justin,
Brian?
what did you find? Did you find any paraphernalia?
Okay, I want everybody in the chat to look at the time right now because I'm about to actually go
Give me
tinkle.
both of us. Go
You
tinkle.
gave her
Have
both
fun.
my apple and my
Wait,
orange.
no
You
orange.
got to
Let's
snipe
no
my
orange.
Have
apple
some
right
Let's
Sour
not do
Patch
an
Kids,
orange.
Brian.
Sure.
Can I have
That's
some
a
apple?
replacement.
Yes, can we
Oh my.
Yes, of course. I
No.
share. Sharing is caring.
Here, no oranges. Don't do the orange at the
I'm
table.
not gonna open the orange at the table.
Don't do the
of
orange.
course,
It's gonna
You
it
should
would,
just
like,
bite straight into it.
No, it would get everywhere and like make everything dramatic. Is there like a knife to
Dude,
cut
whatever
the apple in
podcast has
half?
officially gone off the rails.
Off the fucking rails. Okay.
Wait, is this a dating?
Yeah,
dating
well, I mean, we've
conversation?
been straying from the dating
Whoa,
conversation.
they low
Like
key are
all
trying to
holy
give me
shoes.
an
All right, here,
intervention.
let's,
that's
I
like
think, honestly,
unnecessary.
Brian, you should just send her home.
You think?
No,
I mean, what are we going to do? Just sit here focusing on how inebriated
No,
she is
well,
for the next
I
30
am
minutes?
not
move on.
inebriated, guys.
I'm so not inebriated, guys.
I'm not even slurring my speech.
You're good. You're good.
Thank you.
Can you at least confirm or deny? Was it bath salts?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a guy's face off on bath salts.
Justin's right here.
You're not nearly big enough to eat my face off.
Thank you.
You don't got hands.
I'm small.
She doesn't have hands.
I'm not. I think she's safe. I'm not worried about her.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
All right, here, fine. Let's bring it back to.
She's safe. I don't know about Lila though. Keep your face safe. Don't let her eat it.
He's fine.
All right, let me get the soup chat here.
Ish.
You kinda
Free
like
fall
my
here.
shoes. I thought we were
Hey, it's all. Don't
You hurt my
trip. Don't even
feelings.
worry,
You
babe.
lied to me
Babe,
about how
honey,
inebriated
honey,
you are.
honey. Don't worry, I got you. It's all good.
Okay, thanks, Abby.
I got you. It's all good. Okay.
Alright.
Free fall. Thank you for the 100.
Ridiculous.
Brian, it's mostly men that laugh at me. Several laughed in my face during a date because I don't know much sexual things. I feel that men nowadays want an OF style girl to get off and have no attachments. I want to get married, have my dad approve of him, have babies, be happy. I mean, yeah, there's definitely dudes that are just like looking to fuck that might laugh at you in that situation. But
Lila,
I mean,
what-
Hold on. Let me just finish. So, by the way, just point of clarification. Are you waiting until marriage or you're just not trying to fuck like first date? Can you clarify if you're waiting, like, are you waiting until you're in love? Are you waiting until 3 months? Are you virgin? Are you waiting till marriage? Can you clarify?
I just want to say too, like, even though I do adult work, I'm still very naive. And my fans still crack up when I don't know something. And it's I'm not made
Yeah,
fun
some
of. I'm not
bullshit.
made to be less than. It's like they find it endearing. So I'm sorry these men are making fun of you. And you don't have to like go have all these experiences to validate your womanness. It's just like, be you. And you'll find men who will honor that you don't know that much. That's okay.
I
I
would
want to
give
know
a little
what
different
what
advice.
Lila has to say for free fall.
So I dated all through my 20s, and I have a lot of friends who, different experiences. But the bottom line, I think, would be this: is that have boundaries about the kind and standards about the kind of guy that you'll even date. And obviously, when you're first getting to know them, you don't know. But once they start coming on to you sexually, pushing your boundaries, just say, okay, I'm done, and move on to the next. Maybe open yourself up to another opportunity for somebody that is more noble, that respects you more, respects themselves more, because that's what you're worth. That's what your dignity is. You have dignity, and you deserve a guy who's going to fight for you and is going to have high virtue, and you're going to continue to grow your own virtue. So that's
Amen.
what I would say. Don't waste too much time with those losers.
Amen.
Can I touch on that as
Hold
an
on,
OF
hold
girl?
on. Sure. Go ahead. Let me just read this really quick. Rippy, homegirl got stoned in the bathroom.
Yeah, I smoked weed in the bathroom, but it doesn't smell like weed.
Wait, did you smoke weed in the bathroom?
No, I'm being facetious because it would
Being
smell
sarcastic.
like weed.
I don't know. Maybe it was like one of those vapes that's like, I don't know.
I don't
Delta
have
vape.
a vape weed pen. I do have
Word.
a nicotine vape.
Are you like disassociating right now? Like, what's going on?
This is nicotine.
Hello?
Go ahead, Elle.
I am not.
Are you disassociating?
I'm not disassociating.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
You need a little couch for people to take a break on if they get
Go ahead
tired.
with your point.
I was just gonna say that like in the same on the opposite side of the spectrum, as a single girl that does OF, guys completely discredit me the second they find out what I do, and I
Based.
I know I'm not saying I'm not in the point in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, I need a boyfriend. I'm just saying like it can be just as difficult on the other opposite side of the spectrum. So don't put yourself down or compare yourself, because if you compare yourself to other people, then it takes the gratification out of your own success, your own happiness. It's not worth
But
it.
Love
Elle,
that.
you're very smart, I can tell. And do you want to be a role model for other people ultimately? Is that something that you'd like to be?
Of course, and I believe that I can do both, and it not be a degrading I'm not degrading myself by women are gonna
Putting
be
your body
sexual.
naked on the
give me
internet.
that
Do you think
rapper.
that- do you
Give me the
think that-
rapper.
Do you
Give me the
think
rap-
that
here,
you
give it to
we
me.
should have young girls
Give it.
looking up to?
No,
Like, do you think the
you're
dream
making
of
too
a
much
young
noise. Give it.
Do you think that the dream of a young
Give
girl
me the
should
rapper.
be?
Yep. Give me the
Hey
gun.
Brian, let me ask the
Give me the
question,
gun.
okay? Do you
Yeah,
think
but she's,
that?
bro,
All right.
she's like making noise with
All
this
right, we're done.
rapper.
We're done. Elle, do you think that the dream of a young girl should be to be an OnlyFans?
I think that a young woman should have a choice to do what she wants with her body, and that it shouldn't be frowned upon to do whatever means necessary to be independent. And that's my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it, and you don't have to agree with the way that I make my money, and you reserve that right for yourself, and I respect that opinion. I do. I think it's powerful that you're allowed to have that opinion, but I don't think that I need to agree to it or co-sign it.
But I think we all just had this conversation. Chase was talking about it, asking questions. I think we were kind of all mostly agreeing, maybe not every single person, but most of us were agreeing that, you know, porn has really hurt society at large, and we wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a man who looked at porn. A lot of men on OnlyFans are married men who are looking at the porn, and their wife is, you know, they're being cheated on, basically. So, I mean, that role model that you want to be.
Then it's men's job to step up and take the market away. It's back to what I said earlier. Men have always led the world. Why are we going to act like it's women's faults now? If there was no platform for her to make this kind of money on, she wouldn't be doing it. If men were better, she would be with a different man. It is men's job to take this responsibility and stop subscribing to it. Not the girl's fault, because the girl has no man to get under and get behind and believe in, no man to marry, no man to be submissive to. And so the only thing that's out there is for her to make money with this easy way, because these weak ass fucking dudes.
One thing one quick thing. One thing I really appreciate about what you're saying, Justin, is that you're saying men need to take responsibility.
Men should take responsibility for it, which is not a new thing. It's always been this way. So for us to flip it on the chicks now, I think is dumb.
Agree, but I would just argue that women are strong. We have agency. We can make decisions. I agree with some of the language coming out of this side of the table, that we make decisions, we make choices, and we should use that power for what end, right? It's not like men have all the power, women have no power of choice. Women have the power to decide the standards that we hold ourselves to and that we hold men to, and the kind of women we want to be, and the kind of role models we want to be for the next generation, right? And so
I agree. So here's my question, Justin. Do you think a woman?
I want to hear what Elle has to say about that.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Let Chase speak.
Justin, do you think a woman is being a good role model by doing OnlyFans for the younger generations?
No, I think she's doing what she has to do. Like I'm
Does
not.
she
I'm not
have
her.
to do OnlyFans?
No,
though?
she doesn't. No, she doesn't. But when she has the option of being look, and I'm not taking up for OnlyFans girls is not on my agenda. But when you look at it, she's either going to go do a job where she makes no money, or she makes $70,000 a month.
Or I make less money than a man does doing the same job.
I mean,
I disagree with that. I don't think there's
wage gap is BS. But she makes $6,000 a month. She could find a job where she makes $6,000 a month. It's not like it's.
And I have other jobs that I've done before where I make way more than $6,000 a month, but that doesn't mean that I can't.
So why would you stop doing
this
and do this?
I guess
I'm not
basically
saying I stopped. I'm just saying.
What my point is that not so much to defend the OnlyFans girl, but to empower young men to be stronger, more capable. So a lot of these girls can find a man that they want to get behind instead of getting behind a screen and selling porn. That's basically.
And Justin, hold on, Lila. I agree with that point.
Yeah.
That like men need to become stronger so that, you know, women can get behind them, and so they don't have to feel like they have to resort to doing OnlyFans. But like, it's going to take a while for us to change a generation of men into becoming strong.
Some of us do it because we want to do it.
Hold on, into becoming
becoming
strong to the point where women don't have to resort to doing OnlyFans, right? It's going to take a while to get to that point.
Yeah, and the truth is that if we took porn away from young men, they would be incentivized to go become that strong man. I'm all for getting rid of porn.
So let's do
I'm
it,
all
bro.
for that.
I'm scared of it.
I am about that
Let's
completely.
do it.
I love that. And everybody in this space, or a lot of people in this space, would naturally, easy decision, almost 100 out of 100 say get rid of porn. I'm all
so
about
how
it.
could we do that? Like, how could
That's
we
a
go
great
about
question.
doing that?
Well, that gets to like a governmental level. Now,
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to legislate it.
legislative.
Well,
yeah.
I think I think there's legislation that can be done to ban porn, because I think it is.
But
shouldn't be
that
on the
would go
market.
back to making the United States of America have its Christian backgrounds come and stand up to the point where people would go vote for it in that way.
But I think the other thing
Deus
too
Vult.
is it kind of takes a leap of faith as women, because if culture is demanding from us, right? I mean, that's what you guys we're dealing with. Culture is. We're swimming in is sexually objectifying women, rewarding women for
love to
sexual
be objectified.
objectification, right? And
Haram.
so, but I do think there's a role of personal responsibility that women, we're not doomed to anything. We can make any choice we want, and we can start over. We can walk a different path, and we can be the women that we dream to be. That isn't just making money on the internet one way.
I am the woman I dream to be. I've arrived, and I'm so happy with her.
Younger me would look at me in a grocery store now and be like, oh my God, she's so hot. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. I wouldn't even question it. But I also just want to say, like, out of the women here, who's been catcalled before in public? Who?
Everyone has.
Right?
Shit, I've been catcalled in public.
Hell, I bet Justin has. But
And
anyway,
you're a man.
I'm just saying, like, if a woman is going to get sexualized, she might as well do it in a controlled environment where she can make profit. And I'm sorry, that's the way I feel.
I love it.
I mean, if there's a difference between being catcalled though and like actually like putting your fucking tits on the internet.
Facts.
Like, you are completely
true.
putting yourself.
You're asking.
Well, I'll tell you another thing you're doing.
You're doing it in a controlled environment.
You're inflating your vagina and your titties, because if it's out there for the world to see, it's kind of like you're taking yourself off the gold standard of like the secrecy of like sex and relationships. Like, a man that's going to marry you probably wouldn't want your titties on the internet for every other man in the world to see.
So I think,
like when you said you got married, you're going to take it down. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's probably ideal for the marriage.
I would probably do the same, but it's on the same count. Her shit's probably leaked all over the internet.
Yeah, no, it'll always be there. It'll always be there, but
So
like,
mine.
I think one of the biggest problems in society is that we've cheapened sex. That sex is just
I
something
agree.
that's thrown around. It's just like this commodity. It's literally sold. And I think sex is supposed to be something sacred and beautiful and amazing, and it's designed for two people who are just passionately in love and committed to each other publicly for life. And also sex can bring human beings into the world, and it does. And so that's the other thing that is not even really talked about a lot at this table, but sex can bring human beings into the world. So we should be having sex in relationships that are prepared to be
Can I say something?
Amen.
Yes. And that'll make a society so much
say
healthier
something.
and happier.
Okay,
Please.
sex. Okay, sex is like an exchange of energy between.
Excuse me?
It's an exchange of energy between two people. So
Or
like, when you have sex with someone, like you're really like.
Into the mic.
When you have sex with someone, you're like exchanging energy with that person. You know?
No, you exchange some energy with whatever drugs you're on right now. That's why.
What about it though? What about the exchange of energy?
I feel
Was
like
it
it's
Perk?
really important.
Percocet?
I'm gonna cut you off really quick because I have to go.
Oh,
but
you-
I do have to say something for the men and women.
you gotta
I
go.
have to go because it's a long drive home.
For sure. What you got for us? Oh,
Girls, we need to be better role models for the younger generation. And guys, if you have a
Yes.
girlfriend at home and you're looking at OnlyFans, you're a sad boy.
Yes.
You're a sad boy.
Give me some.
Oh wow.
I
Boom.
love that ecstasy.
Okay. You love ecstasy?
Bree,
What?
drop
No,
in the
I love
mic
that
before she
exit
goes.
Let's
statement
go.
that she
Did
made.
anybody else hear ecstasy?
I said exit statement because she's leaving.
Listen,
so I
if
love
you're into the
exit.
MDMA, it's all good. Okay.
Oh my god.
Question before you leave, because I
Yeah.
wanted to get everyone's on this. Trying to maybe we'll come back to what we're talking about. Let's talk a little bit about body count here, because it's dating podcast. Hello, body count. Should body count matter? Just should body count matter?
Yes.
Matter in what way?
Yes.
I guess is my
Should
question.
it matter?
It's very important.
For what?
Well, for example, typically you hear men preferring women who have a low body count.
I would much rather.
Do you object to men caring about body count?
You can care about whatever you want, but
Word.
doesn't mean I care about it.
Fair enough.
Yes and no. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've always been just like, if you sleep around with people, like you're going to be looked down upon, and I feel like just for that reason, it's like that's just been like instilled into me. It's like I don't sleep around because it's like that's always been instilled that's frowned upon.
You think it's frowned upon for good reason or no?
I agree.
Yeah. you
J
do.
Dog, what you got for us?
Scientifically, I understand why it does matter.
Scientifically.
But you think it shouldn't matter?
I mean, no, purely just based on science alone, it does, and it should.
Okay.
That's
Based.
just my.
Very based.
Very based.
It matters. I wouldn't want to date a pig.
Into the mic.
It matters.
You wouldn't want to date a pig?
Yeah, if you're sleeping around.
What do you have against pigs?
Everything, man. Just oink, oink, oink. You know, guys.
She's so
some
cute,
guys-
man. I
some
just want to
guys
hug her
can
every
be-
time she talks.
Some guys are just very pigs, you know. So
okay.
I would not want to sleep with someone or be with someone who has a very high body count.
Okay.
And you say that like you wouldn't want to sleep with a man that has a high body count, because most men commend each other whenever they get laid, you know.
Yeah, I've asked my boyfriend about his body count. It's very low, so.
Your thoughts?
You know.
Should body count matter? Do you object to men caring about body count? All right. Okay. What about
I
you?
don't give a fuck about body count. When I date women, I don't care if they have a high body count.
Bro, I'm gonna null this fucking marriage. Okay, what do you?
Okay. I think body count matters a lot.
Why?
Profound.
Because, like I said, sex is very important. Like, who you have sex with is really important. And your body count should not be high, because if you're exchanging energy with like a lot of different people, you don't know who you're like.
You're spreading it
you
thin.
you don't know who it is, and so it's like.
Question for you.
As a woman,
wait, just real quick question. You said your body count shouldn't be high?
No, it should be low.
Shouldn't be high?
What?
Huh?
He's saying he's saying
body count shouldn't be high?
Shouldn't be on Percocet.
It shouldn't be high. Your body count should be low.
All right.
As low as possible.
All right. Okay. What about you? What thoughts? Should body count
What do you
matter?
guys think I'm going to say? I think body count should be one person if you get married, and that's the person that you marry.
Preferably.
And I don't really like the term body count because it sounds like dead bodies after sex, when sex is supposed to be beautiful and life-giving and amazing between two people in a marriage. So anyways.
Yeah. I suppose we
Chase,
could change
what
it
do
to
you
like how many people you've had sexual intercourse
But
with.
I'll say one more thing.
doesn't roll
I
off
think
the
no matter
tongue.
how high anybody's body count is, there can be a start over point where you decide, I'm not going to keep living that way. I'm going to live a different way, and that change is possible. No, it's
I'm
true.
sorry, but once you've
And
slept with like 100 dudes, I don't care if you're a born again virgin.
Mary
it's
Magdalene
done.
is one of the greatest saints of all time, and she
she was
actually
a
was the
hoe? Was she a hoe?
first person. She was a hoe.
She was a hoe?
She was.
Has
and
not
she was
been
the
proven.
first.
I'm not
she was
familiar
the
with the
first
scripture.
person to
Jezebel?
see Jesus
I looked
after
into this
he was resurrected.
like a week and a half ago. Has it actually been proven that she was like a prostitute?
Tradition says that there is a tradition that says yes, she was involved in prostitution.
That's fine, but I'd prefer a virgin over a born again virgin.
Are we talking about?
Especially
Just
if she
saying.
was a prostitute. Before
Especially if she was a prostitute.
I
That's
thought
understandable,
Jezebel was the prostitute.
Can we take the
But I think
fruits
one
off
other
the
thing
table?
I
we-
just want to know. I freaking brought this apple and orange, and you guys have just been groping it all night. And
Can we
I
just
thought
take
you
it
guys
off,
were gonna eat
off
it.
the table?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
give it to
I
her to
wanted
eat.
it.
Give it to her to
No,
eat.
no, you've already.
They said I
already-
couldn't bite. They said I couldn't bite it.
I don't want
like,
any
into it.
juice.
Because of the mic.
They didn't want me to
exploding
get all over. You guys
on
are
the
the ones
fucking-
trying to force feed me food, saying that I was on drugs and I wasn't.
Listen, just
Cap,
admit it.
Cap,
It was.
do you still want that apple?
Just put the apple on the ground.
Yes, can we just like?
No, actually, wait.
Waste
wait,
of my
hold on,
fruit,
hold on,
bro.
hold on.
I was
Dude,
gonna
I
eat
was
that
biting
after the
my
show.
own.
Dominique.
I just can't bite into
Dominique,
it.
wife.
So
Listen,
mad
listen
about
to me,
this.
wife.
This is
Hold on,
ridiculous.
guys. One sec. Before you leave, one sec. Really important. Dominique, right? That's your name, right?
I'm not letting you
It's-
marry her,
it's-
Brian.
Hold on.
It's Dominique. It's French.
Oh, c'est bien ça. Bonjour.
My name is Dominique Noah
oh, c'est très
Robert.
bien.
So I'm French and Cuban.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
That's beautiful.
I do not speak French.
Can you sit? You don't need to stand up to put that. They can't
I
even
can
sit down,
balance it on my
lady.
head. Watch, look.
No, but just sit
Hello,
and balance
everyone.
it on. Oh my God, what am I doing? Here, sit in the chair and
Okay. Watch. And you think I could do the orange on top?
Oh gosh.
What is this?
just never mind. Okay.
I did it.
We were talking about body count. What's your body count?
I don't know. I'd have to sit and count through because it's not important for me to keep track of.
Range over 20,
More
less
than
than
your
20.
fingers?
Oh, more than my fingers, for
Okay.
sure.
Your 20s? Or a little above that?
Probably above.
100?
I
wish.
know Kirsten's.
You want to get to 100?
Oh, I'd love to get as many people in my lifetime as possible.
Haram!
That's my favorite compliment. Thank you.
What's your body count?
6.
Oh, I'm the same. 6.
Out of respect for my boyfriend, I will not be saying that.
Do it! Just do it!
So what's your body count?
I've only been in like 3 serious relationships. So
be in
maybe
your
Bro,
like
they-
4.
So just
Do it!
Wait, 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about you?
Out of respect for my boyfriends, I won't say it.
Hey.
Just do it! Yes, you can!
So what's your body count?
Girl, just own it.
Just own it. Own it.
Just own it.
Own
We
it.
both know what it is.
6 million.
I was really bored in Ohio, you guys, and
wasn't just Ohio.
I also don't have gender ruling me out. Okay,
Yes.
it's just
Is
a
it,
lot.
is it triple digit?
I don't know.
Yes.
Quadruple digit?
I don't know. What? No. I'm only 21. Holy. How am I supposed to
Give her a few
get
more
to?
years.
What are we?
Yeah, give me like one more. But I mean, no, I'm joking. But like, I do sleep with men and women, so like, and in between, so like.
What's the number?
I don't know the number, like dead ass. Like I would tell you the number if I
Good.
knew. I'm not one of you the
100
weirdos that
range.
fucking writes it in their notes.
150?
Range.
Maybe.
Si-
You lost
Okay.
count around 120?
Is it triple digits? Your friend is saying yes, so I mean, triple digits? Triple digits?
I love you.
What is going on tonight?
Did you
Christ.
Nick, did you share your body count?
I said I don't have a number because I don't keep track because it's not important to me.
Would you say it's under
No, I said
100?
I'm like, that sounds amazing, but no, it's not 100.
It's under 100 or above.
What if it's 66?
What if it's
What if it's
69?
600? What if it's 666?
Would you say it's above 50?
666.
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. It's like I just connect
She was
with
married
work.
for 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
but she's going
deprived
through her slut phase.
many years.
Yeah, like if she had as many years being a hoe as I did, she'd probably be way over me.
That is
How old were you?
Way over me.
Okay. Rule 76, no excuses, play like a champion. What's your body count?
It's literally like over 100, but it's not like
Literally?
literally. I've been in LA for too long, and I'm starting to talk like a valley bitch.
Do you think it's over 200?
No.
So between 100 and 200?
I mean, I genuinely like don't know. Like I don't just keep tabs on all of that. Like I don't.
Okay, but you know for
like
sure
I'm not
that
trying to like be like mysterious. Like I'm pretty open. I dead ass do not know. Like
But-
I do not
okay.
count. I don't have a notes list like some guys do. Like fucking weirdos.
But you know for sure that it's triple digit. It's at least triple digit.
I mean, yeah.
So
probably.
like 193?
I mean, yeah, probably.
193?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Because a lot of it's girls though.
What percentage would you say is girls? Half? Is it more girls or more guys if you had to?
I'd say it's probably
More dudes?
More guys.
More dudes?
More
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Because they're easier to sleep with.
Do you
It'd be a
like
more-
girls or boys
Uh-huh.
more?
What?
Me?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I really have to go. My right is probably outside already.
Justin, I was curious. If you're looking at a girl, what's your limit? Like, I don't know if you care about body count, but if you're looking at having a relationship with a girl, what's your limit?
I mean, ideally, it's a single digit number, man. And anything past that is probably just a different bucket for the girl. That's all.
Yep.
You know, I'm not super insecure with my ability not to alpha widow or myself. So,
Bro, I want to know. I want to know Justin's body count.
bro, I don't even know. I don't even know. Judge me.
So you don't judge women on their body count?
He just said that they would go into a different.
They just go into a different bucket in my mind.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rex donated $200.
I understand.
Yoda to be on another planet. She heard Chase talk about Jesus and God and wanted to go find him.
I think that one there came through. All right, let me do some super chats. Here, let's do the Twitch. Let me shout out Twitch really quick. Yo, guys, twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a Prime sub if you have one. Drop us a follow if you have one. Mortimer McFly, thank for the tier 1. Dark Knight, thank for the Prime. ZDM Con, thank for the Prime. Almighty Titan, thank for the follow. Taki, thank for the follow. Tuna Melt, thank for the follow. He Cooper, thank for the follow. Rob, thank for the Prime. Appreciate it, guys. Okay, let me do some super chats here.
Brian, can I ask, while we have Justin here, I have a question for him because his time and his insight is valuable. Justin, you've talked tonight about the fact that we need to create more strong men who can effectively lead and provide for women. This is something that I personally agree with 1,000%. I think that we need to make men great again. it's something I often think about too, in terms of like, how can we change this generation of men and the future generations of men? Like, what do you think is the best way societally to make men great again? Like, how do we get ourselves out of this mess that we're in? Obviously, banning porn. You and I are on the same page about that.
Yeah, I think you could ban porn. I think you stop placating to people's feelings so much and let them get out there and actually compete. You know, we're coming off a generation that everybody gets a trophy, and I know that's a real popular answer, but letting them live with the harsh realities that if they don't perform, they won't actually have a wife or a family. It'll end up going to guys at the top, and that's actually, in a lot of ways, kind of playing out some historical issues that we might have had. I believe that the reason Christianity was good and the reason religion is good is that you follow it around. It's like every man's got a shot at a wife and a family. If we keep going down the path of weak men, guys like me or guys like Tate or guys like whomever will have all the pick of all the women, and social media is doing nothing but amplifying that. So I think it's going to take men going through a lot of pain to realize that they're going to have to compete if they want to have a real woman in the real world. Otherwise, OnlyFans will continue to excel. Porn will continue to excel. Sex dolls will continue to excel. And I think that would be a shame for society, because it is going to leave a lot of angry young men, a lot of people shooting up schools, a lot of pain in the world that's not necessary.
I agree. Have you guys seen, I know you're part of the war room, correct?
Yep.
Have you guys seen a lot of young men turn their lives around as a part of that?
Every day that somebody joins the real world, where we're teaching guys directly how to make real money in real time by people that are doing an actual business, the business that they're teaching, or guys that join the war room and start to learn how to get their frame correct, how to get in shape, how to defend themselves, how to dress, how to make money. It's changing lives every day. There's nothing more that I could be more excited about being a part of. Nothing that's more fulfilling to me than helping those young men, because you don't build strong men in spite of women, you build them for women. And the two go together. Men and women are equal, just in different ways. And so if we can build men to be strong, then maybe women will allow a man to be the masculine and find their lane in the feminine and actually be happy with it. But it's got to start with the guys.
They desperately want it.
I believe it 1,000%.
Want it.
Women don't want to be men as much as they might say.
Yeah. They do surveys and they find that women who consider abortion, so I see abortion as the greatest human rights abuse of our day, and that women who consider abortion, it's typically the number one person they turn to is the man. Like, will he fight for her? Will he fight for that baby?
Yeah.
And 86% of women who have abortions today are unmarried.
Wow. Well, one thing
men are MIA in the vast majority of those cases.
Right. Well, I would say another thing too is, like, let's stop patronizing women that want to be in the masculine frame. You know, that want to be a homekeeper, that want to be a mother. Being a mother is the hardest job on the fucking planet. Dude, it is a hard, physically, emotionally, mentally demanding job that is very, very necessary for children to grow up in the right frame of mind, to feel loved, to feel safe, to be able to develop and grow. Being a mother is one of the most important jobs on the planet, right up there with veterans and school teachers and the cops. People overlook these jobs, but without these types of jobs, and mother being one of them, society does not work as a whole. And if we don't get that right, we'll fail.
I agree.
How many?
Well said.
Yeah, it is. How many of the guys in the war room, by the way, how many would you say are looking for like a wife and to start a family with? How many of them want to live that Playboy lifestyle? What's the split?
I think there's a strong population of guys in the war room that would just like to find a good woman, and that would be the war room is way more about family than you would think, just outwardly looking at it.
Do you guys have dudes in there building successful families?
And you guys think?
Yes, we do.
You guys think that if a woman has like experience sexually, that just makes her not a good enough woman to marry?
No, nobody said that. I think ideally men in general would want that to be low.
Well, we get to ask our body count, but you guys don't have to reveal yours. So I just wonder why that.
400. I don't know. I have no idea. Right.
Okay, but I'm gonna get in the chat like, oh, she's this,
yeah,
this,
but
and
remember
the third,
the very
but you're
beginning.
Gonna be like,
okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
No,
so
I don't. I think that men that clap for men that are having sex with a bunch of women, that's a lame ass thing to count for.
Yeah, I think it's a lame ass thing to criticize.
Well, hold
on.
I'm not criticizing.
Do you understand why the criticism?
Let me be very fair.
I don't care why they do it.
Let me be really clear with you. I told you at the beginning of the conversation, life is not fair.
No, I get that.
And I was not patronizing your body count, so I'm not over here rolling my eyes. If you want to fuck a million dudes, do it. I didn't put you in a box. I said ideally a bucket, box, whatever. You particularly, your number, I might put you in the cornfield again. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is that yes, there are guys in the war room that do want to build families and do want to have children, and we even have rooms specifically talking about parenting. The war room is the best group in the world, bar none, hands down. It's not even close. You would be lucky to find a man in the war room.
I
Maybe we
genuinely
want a
am not
woman.
trying to be insensitive. I just don't know what that. I'm not.
No, yeah, I know, but at the same time, like, I wasn't over here talking about your number.
No, I know. I'm just hearing you say that men and women should be like equal, and or whatever the way that you phrased it.
Of equal value.
Of equal value.
Men and women are of equal value in different ways. I mean, men do rule the world. They build and maintain society. I'm not confused about that. But I would never, ever discredit how important a woman is in the relationship between the two.
Yeah,
men
rule the world.
Well,
yeah,
that's
I
not
think,
true.
I mean, I want to echo what you said about motherhood, because that's underappreciated in society, and we look down on mothers.
Yeah, women.
Who
Yeah,
raise
other
their
women.
Kids. They're just like, go out in the career, like accomplish all these things
that's
as a
dumb.
woman. And yes, women can accomplish tons of things, but I think we should be celebrating motherhood a lot more as a society and helping mothers be mothers.
Also, think
that's
waiting.
one of the challenges. A lot of women aren't even able to be with their kids. They have to be out working, or they're not able to make a living.
1,000%.
Can I say
support for them is
something?
important.
I am very pro-life, and I just think that it's really important to be a mother. It's so important, and I think that if you are having sex unprotected, it's on you. And
All
like,
right, I hold on. I have another question. I have another question for Justin while we have you here.
Sure.
Because we've been caught up in a lot of bullshit for the past hour and a half. What do you think the men of this generation need to do? So you're a father, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the men of this generation need to do? Like, I speak with a lot of aspiring fathers. What do you think the men of this generation need to do to prepare to become the best fathers that they possibly can?
Take full responsibility of the situation that you're in completely. And don't forget that you get to take care of a family. You get to be the hero in the life of your wife or your kids or anybody that's around you that leans on you. You get to get out of bed every morning and do those things. That is the beautiful thing about love. I don't want to be around or take care of anybody that doesn't need me in that way, because that's the most beautiful part.
Mental health therapist and a Christian. This whole podcast is painful to listen to, knowing what I know. Brian, let me know when you need another conservative girl on. Chase, let me know when you're ready for a wife. Layla, hire me. I'm so inspired to fight for life. P.S. Help Red.
I love you, Lissa.
Lissa,
check us out, liveaction.org, and I'd love to work with you.
Yo, Lissa, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. You can DM, or whatever is not working. You can DM BD_Atlas if you're interested in being on the show. If I can speak on Chase's behalf on this, he's not looking for a dog. You got Chase, blonde. Is she blonde? She got to be blonde and a virgin, right?
Are
oh my
you a
God,
virgin,
we'd be
Chase?
perfect together.
He doesn't need to be a virgin to desire a virgin.
I'm just asking because you asked our body counts. What's your body count, Chase?
7.
What about you?
As a man of God, I do not reveal my body count.
Is it 7 like the pin on your shirt?
I can neither confirm nor deny my body count. But
Chase, may I ask how long you've been celibate?
3 years.
And what prompted you to do that?
I wanted God's favor over my life. I also realized that continuing to fornicate was a sin against God, against my own body, and also against the woman that I was having sex with. I also look at the times that we're living in. I see fulfillment of biblical prophecy happening around us. And like I said, I wanted God's favor over my life. So I repented of that
that's
sin.
Beautiful.
And do you, yeah, I love that. And do you feel better? Me too. Do you feel better since you've been celibate?
Like physically or like spiritually or emotionally, or what are you asking?
All of the above. The whole plethora of it all.
It brings me greater peace knowing that I am honoring God with my body.
And so since you don't watch like porn either, you're just like completely like you don't, you know.
I'm not saying that I don't experience temptation, but I
Okay.
just do my best to keep it under control.
Okay.
all right, we have Free
That's
Fall
dope.
here. Free Fall, thank you for the subsequent $100 super chat. Really appreciate all your support tonight. Girl in Pink and Jean Jacket Girl, or actually Madison, can you read this please, if you can see?
Girl in Pink and Jean Jacket Girl, thank you for being so empathetic. Chase, would you be with a girl whose family's backgrounds is Muslim, but she isn't? Also, Brian, I learned what outies are because of you. LOL, educational podcast. LOL, if I ever meet you all in person, I want a hug.
To answer your question, one of the marital values that's important for me is making sure that I'm aligned in terms of values with my future wife's family. That's very important. I want to have my wife's parents' support in the things that I'm doing in my life. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of our values, the way that we approach religion. There's a low likelihood that I would be with a girl whose family is Muslim, even if she isn't.
So wait, I'm assuming here then, is she saying that she's a Muslim? I mean, that would seem to be the implication.
Yeah, like she's Muslim. She wants to.
The most important value is that she is a Christian. But if her family is Muslim, that'd be a tough sell for me personally.
That does whittle down the dating pool, because there's a lot of losers out there. I know we were talking about that earlier, and like weird guys, and they want to, you were talking about they're coming on to you and it's so horrible. And I found when I dated guys that matched my values and they were proud about it, and they were like saying, yes, I'm Catholic, yes, I believe in what the church teaches, it automatically, now that doesn't mean there aren't Catholic guys who are messed up, but what it does mean is it kind of creates a dating pool that's stronger, so you're less likely to meet weirdos, basically.
Thank you, Victor. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
In wondering about you guys' take on the age when you should have kids as a man. I've achieved what I would call professional success at a young age, and my first kid at 30, my second at 33. A lot of my friends are waiting to be more successful. We're already 35.
Is there a question here on the age when you should have kids as a man? What? Did you just jack the apple, bro?
I didn't think you'd notice. I was seeing if I could get it without you noticing.
Of course I would notice.
I think you should have kids when
you're ready.
You are in a position to be able to financially support them.
Retire the mother. If you can retire the mother, do it.
What was the question?
What age men should have kids?
Yeah, I think he nailed it, though. I mean, in your 30s is a great time. And then if you want to do it before that, I'd be sure that I could at least retire the mom so she could raise them.
You know, I'll tell you guys what the Word of God says about this, because I love it. Psalm chapter 127, verse 4 says the children...
You need to leave.
Okay.
You gotta go. See ya.
Okay.
Not just... Oh, I should have done that way fucking sooner. That was my fault.
That's what I wanted to do when I was standing up earlier, man. I watched her walk out of that bathroom, and I could tell she was extremely intoxicated. And I wanted to send her packing.
Oh my God, bro. All right.
Anyways, moving on.
It's about the whole Tate ideology. So it sounds like it's basically Islam.
It's an ideology, not an ideology.
It's Islam.
If you want to know what the Tates...
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask the boys directly.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could watch any of the content that they've put out about them.
Well, it just sounds like Justin's got a front row seat, so to understanding them.
I mean, to be honest, like it's not hard to understand. Like the Tates have put out a ton of content about their perspective on women, right? And like people, they only hear like the quote unquote misogynistic clips that come out where they say like super over the top stuff about women. But like, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, their general message is like, love your woman, take care of your woman. They believe in, being a quote unquote like unchained man, like seeing as many women as you want. That's obviously part of the ideology in Islam, but like, they're not advocating that men like abuse women or take advantage of women or anything like that. They say over the top stuff so that it goes viral, but like generally speaking, from what I've seen, Andrew Tate he's told men like become the strongest man that you can to take care of your woman and protect your woman. Like that's what your woman wants from you. Become a good leader for your woman, and like she will love you for it, right?
So do you basically agree with Andrew Tate up until polygamy?
That's like Andrew Tate's made a million different statements.
Well, largely speaking,
I agree with some of the stuff that he says, and I disagree with other things that he says. Obviously, I disagree with the polygamy part.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you as a person that spent serious time with Andrew and Tristan that I've never, ever, ever not only see them not be rude to a woman, but not be rude or unkind to any person that's come in their path, ever. Not one time, ever. Not even a slip.
That's great.
So any woman that is in either one of those men's lives is very well taken care of. And very much respected in the presence of Andrew and Tristan and treated quite well.
I'll tell you something I disagree with that they've done historically. Obviously, Andrew and Tristan have talked about how they would, basically make women fall in love with them, and then they would entice them into doing OnlyFans, and they would, basically have the women make money for them. Like, that's something I disagree with, obviously.
What do you think about that, Justin?
I think that Andrew and Tristan's decisions with their girls are up to them, number one. And I don't think that any girl was ever kept ever against her will. And I think that any woman that they've worked with, including staff and otherwise, would tell you nothing but good things about Andrew and Tristan. So much so that many of these girls have come online and said that they loved Tristan and Andrew and were never working against their will. And it's unfortunate that all of a sudden, once these girls have a thought for themselves, that the Romanian government wants to say that they've been brainwashed when they're actively doing it on their own. It's a joke. Andrew and Tristan have never abused a woman. It's certainly not around me, and certainly not anything that I've heard of. So take it as you want. That's been my experience, and that's clearly been the experience of many women that they've been with.
Yeah, and there's also been no credible evidence, from what I understand, that's been put forth of any abuse.
Yeah. And they're still under house arrest with no charges. So, they also have footage in that house that if they wanted to, they could just go watch all the footage. When you walk into Andrew's house, one of the first things you see is a 70-inch TV with all the camera angles. So if they wanted the truth, they would get it.
All right. Somebody said, "Can I?"
I got to end the stream here. Chat? I got to end the stream here pretty soon. Let's just get the super chats, and we got to end the stream. Okay. So let's see. Philip Call, $100 super chat. Where do women get off and downplay the equality of a man and a woman? Unity. I served in the military for 17 years and agree that I am a man that can cut a throat and hold my child in my arms with love, care, and grace. Philip, thank you for the $100 super chat. Much appreciated. Okay, we have Indematic Nomad. Thank you for the 100 to all the military homies out there. Marine 10 years, oorah. Bro.
Quite a super chat.
I don't know what the fuck happened tonight. It's very unfortunate too because we have our esteemed guest here, Justin. Justin, in our defense, we've never had this amount of chaos ever on a fucking show. We've done 70 plus of these, so I apologize frankly to the whole panel.
I have a question to end on a positive note. How many live viewers do we have right now?
9,500.
That's a lot. Justin, if there was any piece of advice that you could give all the people out there so that we can fix this screwed up dating world and have healthier relationships out there in the world, what would you say?
I would just say, as a young man, take full accountability. And for the young ladies, don't ever let anybody shame you if you find a man worth getting behind and decide to do that. It'd be an absolute shame to see that happen. That's it.
All right, cool.
Right on, bro.
All right. So guys, hit that like button, please, on your way out. Thank you for tuning in tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who super chats and supports the show. Thank you to the panel for coming. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you to our chat mods. Any women who want to be on the show, DM at BD_Atlas. We will be live again Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Be sure to tune in for that. Got some good guests on the way. Anyways, guys, that's it for tonight. Absolute fucking shit show of a stream. If you're going to come be on the show, don't come fucking intoxicated or on drugs, or I don't know what the fuck was her deal. But okay, guys, we'll be live again Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you next time. Good night, guys.